framework by providing a crop insurance program and a direct typhoon recovery assistance program for small farmers, mandating government subsidies for premiums, ensuring transparent disbursement, and for other purposes, Senator Tulfo R.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, Government Corporations, and Public Enterprises, and Finance.
715, declaring Mindanao as the food basket of the Philippines, providing for sustainable agricultural development, for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, and Finance.
716, creating an agricultural pension program to provide social security and pension benefits to farmers and fisher folk, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development, and Finance.
717, modernizing the warehouse receipts law in order to provide a legal framework that shall facilitate trade and commerce, creating the Warehouse Accreditation Council, appropriating funds and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Trade, Commerce and Entrepreneurship, and Finance.
718, providing for a rural employment assistance program, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development, Labor, Employment and Human Resource Development, and Finance.
719, providing for the Magna Carta of Young Farmers, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, Youth, Ways and Means, and Finance.
720, implementing the people's right to information and the constitutional policies of full public disclosure and honesty in public service, and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Public Information and Mass Media, Civil Service, Government Reorganization and Professional Regulation, and Finance.
721, establishing a ban on the importation of solid waste, providing penalties, and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Environment and Natural Resources and Climate Change, Trade, Commerce and Entrepreneurship, and Finance.
722, anak integrating voter education in the junior and senior high school curricula, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Basic Education, Electoral Reforms, and People's Participation.
723, anak integrating education on the 1987 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines in the grade 12 senior high school curricula of all public and private educational institutions, Senator
To
Pangilinan.
the Committee on Basic Education.
724, requiring mandatory autopsy on bodies of crime victims, death under mysterious and suspicious circumstances, and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Justice and Human Rights and Public Order and Dangerous Drugs.
725, establishing job placement offices in public high schools to provide career services to the youth, appropriating funds, and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Labor, Employment and Human Resources Development, Basic Education, and Finance.
726, creating a system of partnership between local governments and civil society organizations to the establishment of a People's Council in every local government unit, prescribing its powers and functions. Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Local Government, Electoral Reforms and People's Participation, and Finance.
727, increasing the service incentive leave of employees, amending Article 95 of PD 442 as amended, the Labor Code of the Philippines, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committee on Labor, Employment and Human Resources Development.
728, granting civil service eligibility to casual or contractual employees of the government who have rendered at least 5 years of continuous efficient service, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committee on Civil Service, Government Organization and Professional Regulation.
729, enacts to expand the benefits of barangay officials to include barangay health workers, amending RA 7160, the Local Government Code of 1991, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Health and Demography, Local Government and Finance.
730, creating the Department of Disaster and Emergency Management, defining its powers and functions, appropriating funds and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on National Defense and Security, Peace, Unification and Reconciliation, Civil Service, Government Reorganization and Professional Regulation, and Finance.
731, anak instituting a National Dam Safety Program, establishing the National Dam Safety Authority, penalizing violations therefore and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Public Works, Civil Service, Government Reorganization and Professional Regulation, and Finance.
732, anak granting benefits and incentives to overseas Filipino workers investing in business in the Philippines, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Migrant Workers, Trade, Commerce and Entrepreneurship, and Ways and Means.
733, granting hazard pay to all public prosecutors exposed to hazardous situations and performing hazardous duties related to assigned cases, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Justice and Human Rights, Ways and Means, and Finance.
734, ordaining the promotion of social enterprises to alleviate poverty, established for the purpose the poverty reduction through social entrepreneurship program and providing support, benefits, and appropriations therefore, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Trade, Commerce and Entrepreneurship, Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development, Ways and Means, and Finance.
735, an act strengthening the Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation, repealing PD 1467, creating the Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation, prescribing its powers and activities, providing for its capitalization and for the required government premium subsidy and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Government Corporations and Public Enterprises, Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, Ways and Means, and Finance.
736, an act regulating cremation to preserve biological evidence for deliverance of justice, providing penalties therefore and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Justice and Human Rights and Health and Demography.
737, establishing an on-site in-city or near-city resettlement program for informal settler families in accordance with the People's Plan, and mandating relocating local government units to provide other basic services, livelihood components in favor of the recipient LGU, amending RA 7279 as amended, the Urban Development and Housing Act of 1992, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Urban Planning, Housing and Resettlement, Local Government, and Finance.
738, amending certain provisions of RA 7305, the Magna Carta for Public Health Workers and for other purposes, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Health and Demography, Civil Service, Government Organization and Professional Regulation, and Finance.
739, mandating the provision of comprehensive renal replacement therapy to patients with end-stage renal disease in the national, regional, and provincial government hospitals, increasing the PhilHealth package rate for members and appropriate funds therefore, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Health and Demography and Finance.
740, an act modernizing the regulation of health facilities and services and appropriating funds therefore, repealing RA 4226, the Hospital Licensure Act, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Health and Demography and Finance.
741, an act institutionalizing the National Task Force for Tourist Safety, Protection, and Assistance, defining its powers and functions, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Tourism and Finance.
742, providing measures to protect individuals engaged in food, grocery, and pharmacy delivery services, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committee on Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship.
743, mandating the Department of Agriculture to establish a national agricultural crop program, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Food, Agrarian Reform, and Finance.
744, promoting youth participation in agriculture and agribusiness, establishing young farmers and agripreneurs support program, and providing funds therefore, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Food, and Agrarian Reform, Youth, and Finance.
745, mandating the use of surveillance cameras for the safety and security of commercial establishments, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship, Public Order, and Dangerous Drugs.
746, creating the National Resiliency and Disaster Management Authority, prescribing its powers and functions, appropriating funds, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on National Defense and Security, Peace, Unification, and Reconciliation, Civil Service, Government Organization, and Professional Regulation, Ways and Means, and Finance.
747, providing for a comprehensive nursing law towards a quality healthcare system, appropriating funds, repealing RA 9173, the Philippine Nursing Act of 2020, for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Civil Service, Government Organization, and Professional Regulation, Health and Demography, and Finance.
748, an act creating a sustainable framework for the pension system of the AFP, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on National Defense and Security, Peace, Unification, and Reconciliation, Government Corporations and Public Enterprises, Ways and Means, and Finance.
749, establishing the Citizen Service Program, amending RA 9163, the National Service Training Program Act of 2001, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committee on Basic Education, National Defense, Security, Peace, Unification, and Reconciliation, and Finance.
750, strengthening the national preparedness and response to pandemic, epidemic, and other public health emergencies, creating a medical reserve corps, therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Health and Demography and Finance. Majority Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, at this juncture, the distinguished gentleman from the great province of Cavite, Senator Panfilo Lacson, is seeking the floor to deliver his privileged speech. I move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
The gentleman from Cavite, the Honorable Panfilo Lacson, is recognized to deliver his privileged speech. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, I rise on a matter of personal and collective privilege to uncover schemes surrounding a systemic problem in our country, one that submerges our nation not just in floodwaters, but in depths of corruption. In the course of our research and investigation, we encountered several words. Their meanings we could not find in the dictionary. So, we looked somewhere else. Alas, we found them in the corruptionary. We have a saying, a leaky roof today is a ruined home tomorrow. Thankfully, President Bongbong Marcos himself has taken decisive steps to plug the leaky roof as a determined follow-through on his striking rebuke and appeal to conscience with his resounding admonition, mahiya naman kayo. Wasting no time after his stern warning during the last SONA against those who misuse public funds, Malacanang established and launched the Sumbong sa Pangulo website last week. I commend and sincerely thank the President for this open source website. Not only does it open the public a direct line to the President to report anomalous flood control projects in their midst, but in my case, including that of my staff, the website makes our investigative work a lot easier. For one, the coordinates that the website provides showed us a faster way to find shady, even ghost projects. Last week, the President took aim. Today, I am pulling the trigger. Para sa ating mga kababayan, nakatutok ang aking presentasyon sa araw na ito sa mga flood control projects pa lamang. Hindi pa rito kasama ang iba pang mga infrastructure projects na punong-puno rin ng anomalya. Isa-isahin natin ang mga impormasyong aming nakalap sa mga nakalipas na linggo mula sa aming sariling pag-aaral at pagsasaliksik, na suportado ng mga impormasyon mula mismo sa mga DPWH officials at insiders, pati ilang contractors, kasama na rin ang open sources. Una, ang kalakaran ng ilang mga kontratista at mga kasabwat nila sa gobyerno na sa paghahati-hatian ng pondo, kasama na rin ang mga termino o codes patungkol sa kanilang modus. Pangalawa, ang mga palpak na proyekto dahil sa paggamit ng substandard na materyales, kasama na ang mga kontratistang nasa likod nito. Pangatlo, ang mga proyektong lantarang inaangkin bilang congressional insertions. Pangapat, ang patuloy na pagbaha sa iba't ibang lugar na narating namin kahit taon-taon ay paulit-ulit na binubuhusan ng bilyon-bilyong pondo. At ang pinakahuli, ang mga tinatawag ng Pangulo na guni-guni o ghost projects na aming nahukay. For over 15 years, from 2011 to 2025, we appropriated more than 1.9 trillion pesos for flood control management program under the budget of the Department of Public Works and Highways alone. Sa loob lamang ng 3 taon, mula 2023 hanggang 2025, higit 1 trillion pesos ang ating inilaan sa ilalim ng 3 naipasang budget measures para sa flood control. Halos 53% ng kabuuang pondo sa loob ng 15 taon. When we are speaking in trillions of pesos, we should expect our streets and low-lying communities to be flood-free when the rains pour. Gayunpaman, sa paghagupit ng magkakasunod na habagat at mga bagyong Krising, Dante at Emo, ilang linggo pa lamang ang nakalipas, kasamang winasak at inanod ng baha ang bilyon-bilyong pisong halaga ng mga flood control projects na halos bago at kakukumpleto pa lamang na dapat sana ay nagbigay proteksyon sa ating mga kabahayan at komunidad. Corruption has been so pervasive and systemic that doing so is like a piece of cake. And when I say piece of cake, I mean that funds for a specific project are divided, shares vary depending on greed, big parts swallowed by corrupt operators, both from the public and private sectors, leaving only crumbs for actual project implementation. May ilan pa ngang proyekto, hindi man lang nagtira para sa taong bayan. Ang tawag ng Pangulong Marcos dito, guni-guni o ghost projects. Mr. President, let me illustrate an example of the pie sharing in a severely corrupted project. Nais kong bigyan diin na hindi ito representasyon ng lahat ng kalakaran sa flood control projects sa buong Pilipinas. While the pillaging pattern is relatively the same, the pie sharing varies depending on the level of greed. Ihiwalay muna natin ang mga regular o legal na buwis at insurances na automatic na binabawas sa mga proyekto. 5% value-added tax, 2% withholding tax, 1% para sa bonds and insurances, at 1% materials testing. Ibawas na rin natin ang allowable contractors profit na 8 to 10%. Halimbawa, sa 100 million piso na pondo para sa flood control project, kung ibabawas ang maximum allowable deductions, nasa 82 million ang matitira para sa proyekto. Pero hindi pa rito nagtatapos, Mr. President. Kakatayin pa ang budget para sa mga lagay, commissions, SOPs, at iba-iba pang terminong binubuo para sa shares ng mga korap. Sa mga halos magkakaparehong impormasyon na aming nakalap, ganito kagarapal ang sistema sa hatian ng isang maanumalyang proyekto. 8 to 10% para sa mga opisyal ng DPWH. Swerte na daw kung pumayag ang district engineer na 6% lamang ang parte niya. May ekstrang 2 to 3% pa na parte ang district engineering office kung may sosobra sa contractor's profit. Na-compute na rin kasi ng district engineering office ang tutubuin ng contractor mula sa project at sinisiguro na nila na sosobra ito sa allowable profit para mayroon pa silang kukubrahin. Ang tawag nila rito, reseta. Reseta dahil ang presyo na itinakda ng District Engineering Office ay nakasulat at napagdesisyonan na. Parang gamot, Mr. President, lulunukin na lang ng contractor. 5 to 6% para sa mga miyembro ng Beach and Awards Committee or BAC. 0.5 to 1% para sa COA. Mr. President, meron pa ngayong tinatawag na passing through or parking fee na aabot sa katumbas na 5 to 6% ng pondo. Ito ang itinuturing na royalty, ang tawag sa lagay na ibinibigay sa politikong may kontrol sa distrito kung saan i-implementa o itatayo ang proyekto. Lo and behold, Mr. President, 20 to 25% ang karaniwang napupunta sa funder o project proponent na politiko. Mr. President, ang matitirang pondo para sa pagpapatayo ng proyekto ay napakaswerte ng umabot sa 40% o 40 million pesos alisunod sa ating halimbawang 100 million pisong pondo para sa proyekto. Mr. President, there is an evident pattern of this nasty distribution of public funds among crooks. Ito ay base sa mga case studies na aming pinuntahan at mususing inimbestigahan sa iba't ibang dako ng bansa, partikular sa issue ng flood control. Hindi na namin sinama sa aking presentasyon ang mga naikutan at ibinunyag na ng Pangulo. Ang malinaw na malinaw. Halos pare-pareho ang pattern kung paano minamasaker ng mga kawatan ang pondo ng bayan. Nauna na po itong iniulat ng ating Pangulo noong nakarang linggo. Nang banggitin niya ang mga items na pare-pareho ang contract cost sa kabila ng pagkakaiba-iba ng specs, disenyo at haba ng proyekto. Panoorin po natin ang video.
Pag sinabi, may 50 project, pare-pareho, 150 million lahat. Pare-pareho lahat. Imposible yan. It is impossible for one barangay, even if they are the next barangay, to have the exact same project to the exact same amount with the exact same contractor. Imposible yan.
Sa parlance po na ang nakakaalam lamang ay ang mga kasali sa gulangan sa pondo. Ito po ang tinatawag na distinct. Distinct ang mga budget items na makikita sa General Appropriations Act at awarded contracts na may pare-parehong halaga para sa magkakalapit man o magkakalayo na proyekto. Distinct dahil ayon sa aming mga informants sa loob ng DPWH at kinumpirma ng ilang contractors, coded na budget ito para mayroong pagkakakilanlan ang mga quote-unquote may-ari ng proyekto. Para sa mga nakakaunawa, ang ibig sabihin po ay akin yan. Sa Bulacan First Engineering District na pinamumunuan ng magkasunod na tinanggal sa pwesto na sina dating District Engineer Henry Alcantara at ang pumalit sa kanya na si Bryce Hernandez. Napag-alaman naming talamak ang ganitong kalakaran. Bakit? Sapagkat ayon sa mga contractors at DPWH officials na nakipag-usap mismo sa akin at aking staff, ang dalawang ito ay halos pareho lang ang pagmamahal sa pera. Napabalita pa nga kamakailan na ang isa sa kanila ay nakakapagpatalo ng daang milyon sa isang kasino dito sa Metro Manila. Mr. President, sa District Engineering Office na ito, sa ilalim ng pamumuno ng dalawang nabanggit na opisyal, para sa taong 2024, 28 proyekto ang pare-pareho ang pondo kahit magkakaiba ang specs, disenyo at haba. Distinct. Babalikan po natin, Mr. President, mamaya ang lalawigan ng Bulacan na aming maituturing na pinaka-notorious pagdating sa anomalya ng flood control projects base sa aming mga findings. Unahin muna natin ang kaso ng questionabling flood control project sa lalawigan ng Pampanga. 4 years now, the riverbank mitigation project in Candating, Arayat, has been the face of a failed flood control project. Tuwing umuulan, panay ang aray ng mga taga-Arayat sa pag-apaw ng ilog na hindi mapigilan ng flood control. Mr. President, binisita ng aking mga staff ang Arayat nitong nakaraang 2 linggo lamang na tinamaan din ng hagupit ni Emo at nagdulot na naman ng pagguho ng ilang bahagi nito. Take note, Mr. President, katatapos lang ng panibagong repair nito noon lang Hunyo ng kasalukuyang taon, 2025. Sa itsura ng structure, tila baga hindi binibigyan pansin ng gobyerno ang Candating. Pero kung babalikan natin isang taon pa lamang ang nakakaraan o noong Agosto 2024, may gumuho ng flood control matapos mahagupit ng monsoon. Mr. President, a review of the budget books shows that we started funding the construction, rehabilitation of slope protection along Pampanga River, Candating, Arayat, Pampanga, way back in 2018. Let me give a rundown. In 2018, we already spent 20 million pesos on a project for the construction, rehabilitation of slope protection along Pampanga River, Candating section, Arayat. Kalaunan, nasira. Since then, it has become a cycle, Mr. President. We used the people's tax money to repair it in 2023 for a contract price of 91.6 million pesos. It was repaired again by another year's tax money in 2024. This time, not once, but twice, 91.8 million for phase 1 and 91.4 million for phase 2. Take note, 20 million pesos lang ito sa una at original construction. If the original construction cost was only 20 million pesos in 2018, why did the repair cost balloon to 350% or 91 million in 2023 and another 183 million pesos in 2024 or an overall increase of 815%? Aba, at nawili na ang funder ng Edmari Construction na siyang palaging nananalong contractor sa Candating, Arayat, Pampanga noong 2023 at 2024. Naglagay pa ulit ng 100 million pesos ngayong taon. Buti na lang, pinigil ng Malacanang ang pag-release ng pondo. Distinct din, but in a very distinct way. As I mentioned earlier, all of these were awarded to the same mighty contractor, Edmari Construction and Trading. In total, Edmarie bagged 274.8 billion pesos in taxpayers' money for the rehabilitation and repair of kandating na tila hindi nagsasawa sa kare-repair. Hindi lang po yan ang issue ng Edmarie. How can this contractor, with an unusual share of controversies, including being delisted as DHSUD builder in 2023, be trusted to rebuild its own consistently collapsing project, which has evidently come with great cost and loss to the government? Paulit-ulit ang pag-repair, ngunit ganito pa rin ang kalagayan sa kandating Arayat. Arayat ko po. Mr. President, magtungo naman tayo sa Hilagang Luzon, partikular sa probinsya ng La Union, kung saan matatagpuan ang Bawang River Basin, na kung saan matindi ang congressional insertions. Sa tulong ng mga concerned groups and individuals, napansin namin ang bilang ng flood control projects na bagamat wala sa National Expenditure Program noong 2024, ay biglang tumubong parang kabute sa General Appropriations Act ng nakaraang taon. Halimbawa, ang construction of flood control structure along Bawang River Basin. Dalawang items lamang na may tig 50 million pesos ang nakalaan sa bahagi ng Nagilian. Samantalang, ang bayan ng Bawang ay wala pong proyekto sa National Expenditure Program. Abracadabra, sa naipasang 2024 General Appropriations Act, nagkaroon ng 10 items na nahahati mula Package 1 hanggang Package 10 na may tig 98 million pesos ang biglang umusbong para sa Nagilian. Sa kabuuan, ang 10 packages na ito ay umabot sa 967.4 million pesos. Halos 1 bilyong piso kumpara sa dalawang tig 50 million lamang sa 2024 NEP. Sa Bawang naman, 7 packages ang lumitaw na may magkakaparehong halaga, 89 million pesos each. Sa kabuuan, ito ay nagkakahalaga ng 623 million pesos mula zero budget sa NEP ng 2024. Sa aming masinsing pagkalkal, ay natuklasan naming iisang kontraktor ang naawardan ng lahat ng packages na ito, ang Silver Wolves Construction Corporation. Distinct pa rin, distinguished colleagues. Ito ang nabanggit kong pork barrel insertions kanina, Mr. President. Meron pang mas matinding congressional insertions, ipapakita ko sa inyo. Baco at Nauhan, Oriental Mindoro. Aguila congressional insertions. Mr. President, when flood control projects fail to stand against the tides, we are compelled to question the feasibility of the project and the technical capacity of the contractor. But what if an elected congressman or a political group claims ownership of the project? Is it not both proper and necessary to scrutinize their motivations and examine the extent of their involvement, and perhaps to hold them responsible? This explains the logic why I am insisting to make transparent the identities of the proponents of the insertions, from the House GAB, Senate version, and all the way to the BICAM. If they claim something as theirs, should they not also be accountable for its failures? Mr. President, I raise the question because of the evident congressional banners we observe alongside many projects in Nauhan and Baco, both in Oriental Mindoro. Bilang halimbawa, in Barangay Burbuli, Baco, Oriental Mindoro, one banner reads, Congressional Project, Construction of Flood Control Structure along Barangay Burbuli, Alag River, Baco, Oriental Mindoro, Aguila, aksyon, gobyerno at inisyatibo sa larangang lehislatura. This project, awarded to Silver Wolves Construction Corporation again, is worth 95 million pesos. It is an ongoing project to be completed in December 2025. This project is so important that it can turn stones and get funding approval under the unprogrammed appropriations of the 2024 national budget. This prompts us to dig deeper into the web. And as they say, social media is a great resource of evidence, which lawyers fondly call testimony against self-interest. In one Facebook post, we discovered a congressional representative showcasing his midterm accomplishment report covering the period from June 30, 2022 to December 31, 2023. He openly lists projects, hold your breath, funded by his office. I repeat, funded by his office, including flood control and river protection initiatives. From Aguilas Baco, let us travel to Aguilas Nauhan, also in Oriental Mindoro. Mr. President, Nauhan is among the beneficiaries of 3.6 billion pesos worth of projects, while Baco proudly lists 807 million, all of which is attributed to and owned up by the office of the congressman. Hindi lamang po ito ang maswerteng napondohan. Isa pa sa pinagmamalaki ng mga pag-angking congressman ay ang flood control structure sa Butas River upstream, Barangay San Jose, Nauhan, Oriental, Mindoro. We took time to visit the project, Mr. President, which he referred to as a national project through congressional allocation. The project was awarded to Raymond Builders for 231 million pesos at hinugot pa rin ito sa unprogrammed funds. Dalawang projects na po ito ng Aguila na natuklasan naming mula sa unprogrammed funds, isa sa Barangay Burbuli at isa sa Barangay San Jose. Sa tagal ko na rin pong nagbubusisi ng pambasang budget, ang pagkakaalam ko po, masalimuot ang proseso ng paggamit ng unprogrammed appropriations under the Special Purpose Fund para mag-augment sa ilang items under the regular budget. Hindi po madaling ma-access ito. Dapat A, may excess revenue collections, or B, new revenue collections, or C, those arising from new tax or non-tax sources, or D, approved loans para sa foreign assisted projects. Mahaba din ang requirements dito, Mr. President. So, ano kaya ang taglay na agimat ni Congressman? What gives, Mr. President? Kung saan may multimillion projects, dumadapo ang Agila. Pero lubog pa rin sa baha ang nadadapuan ng Agila. Isa lamang po ito sa napakaraming banners at social media posts ng congressional insertions ng mga politiko na naglipana sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa. Mr. President, ituloy na po natin ang diskusyon tungkol sa aming mga obserbasyon sa lalawigan ng Oriental Mindoro. Without taking anything away from the good but suffering people of this province on the legitimacy of their needs due to its high flood susceptibility, I want to speak of the billions of appropriations for flood control projects poured into this province in Luzon's eastern flank. Mr. President, when someone gets the largest share of the pie, we naturally ask why, especially if such a price comes from the taxpayers' tab. In Oriental Mindoro, for example, we wonder why among its 14 municipalities, one town tops the bill. Sa pagsalo ng buhos ng pondo, nauna ang Nauhan. Nauhan, Oriental Mindoro received a sweeping 55% of the province's 2025 flood control budget. Katumbas ito ng 10 bilyong piso para sa flood control projects ng bayan ng Nauhan pa lamang. Fair enough, given the coastal topography of the municipality, which includes its lowland plains and extensive river systems such as Mag-asawang Tubig, Nauhan, and its people badly need flood control interventions. However, the magnitude of its budget allocation in the last 3 years alone, amounting to approximately 19 billion pesos and nearly doubling each year, raises concerns regarding Nauhan's curious case. Even before the provincial governor of Oriental Mindoro blew the whistle, so to speak, on what he alleged as anomalous flood control projects, we had already dug deep in our study, literally sifting through years after years of appropriations for these projects. True to form and with due diligence, I immediately dispatched my staff to Oriental Mindoro to verify the data we gathered about Nauhan and to validate the governor's claims. Mindful of political bumps we may encounter, my directives are clear. We must see no political color and remain impartial in our findings. My staff traversed Oriental Mindoro across 10 barangays to randomly check flood control projects based on the list of awarded contracts from 2023 to 2025 that we obtained from the DPWH website. The field validation came in the aftermath of the widespread flooding in the province of Oriental Mindoro during the Habagat. Una sa aming listahan ang barangay Mulawin. Sa 70 barangay ng Nauhan, Oriental Mindoro, ang barangay Mulawin ay nakakuha naman ng 1.9 billion pesos. Sino kaya ang makapangyarihang funder sa barangay Mulawin? We scoured the budget books from the National Expenditure Program, the House GAB, Senate version, and GAA, as well as the DPWH awarded contracts in Barangay Mulawin. Of the 1.9 billion pesos fund for 8 flood control projects, only 810 million pesos for 3 projects was included in the President's budget or NEP. The remaining 1.1 billion was inserted, I repeat, was inserted in the House version, Mr. President. Rightly so. Most of these congressional insertions were tagged for issuance of SARO or withheld by Malacanang, save for the curious case of 2 projects worth about 300 million pesos already awarded and ongoing construction with target completion in December 2025. Mr. President, sa buhos ng budget sa barangay na ito, inaasahan natin na may proteksyon na ang mga residente ng Mulawin mula sa baha dulot ng bagyo. Sa kasamaang palad, habagat pa lang at hindi pa man naitalang bagyo ang tumama sa probinsya. Gumuhuna ang ilang parte ng mga diking pinaggastusan ng daang milyong piso. Inagos na rin ng tubig, baha, ang bilyong pisong danyos ng nasirang flood control. Ito mismo ang parehong barangay na gustong inspeksyonin sana ni Governor Dolor noong nakaraang Sabado lamang, kung saan napabalita ang pagharang sa kanya ng security personnel sapagkat ayon daw sa kontraktor ng proyekto, kinakailangan ng written approval mula sa DPWH bago makapasok ang sinuman sa construction area. Mabuti na lamang, napuntahan na rin po ng aking team ang di umano'y restricted area na ito noong unang linggo pa lamang ng Agosto. Actually pinagbawalan din ang aking staff na lumapit sa proyekto. Pero sapat na ang kuha ng aming drone upang makita ang mga depekto ng construction dito. Nahalatang gusto ng naturang kontraktor na isikreto dahil sa ginagawang paghahabol upang kumpunuhin at remedyohan ang palpak na proyekto at mapagtakpan ang kanilang kapalpakan. We are willing to submit our drone shots and other pieces of evidence to assist in the investigation and prosecution of those involved in these anomalous projects. Mula sa aming sariling footage, kitang-kita ang mga bahagi ng road dike na ginawa noong 2024 na gumuho. Ang nakikita niyong flood control project ay nagkakahalaga ng 204.8 million pesos na base sa official record ng DPWH ay completed project na nito lamang Pebrero 2025. Halos 3 buwan pa lamang ang lumipas, Mr. President. Gayunpaman, kabago-bagong proyekto, gumuho na agad ang dike dahil sa nakaraang bagyong Krising, Dante at Emo. Kasama ang lagpas 200 milyong pondo na inalaan dito. Sa kahabaan pa rin ng Bukayaw River, natagpuan naman namin ang isa sa mga congressional insertion na nagkakahalaga ng 137 million at inaasahang matatapos ngayong Disyembre. Kasabay ng hagupit ng habagat, inanod na rin ang malaking bahagi ng binubuong dike. We heard grim stories about why these structures fall easily. From the improper embankment mix of gravel, sand, and stones, sheet piles cut in half, and lower-grade reinforcement steel bars. Tinipid, sinadyang minali, at shortcut ang pagkagawa. Sad reality, Mr. President, is mayroon na rin silang standard para sa substandard. We go to another top-billing barangay, Barangay Tagumpay. Barangay Tagumpay, still in Auhan, is another case of flood control. Sa taong 2023 at 2024, halos abot kamay na ng mga taga-barangay Tagumpay ang Tagumpay na layunin nitong maging ligtas sa mga pagbaha dahil sa halos 2.55 billion piso na pondong nilaan dito. Binubuo ito ng 10 proyekto sa paggawa ng road dike sa mag-asawang Tubig at Bukayaw River. Sa ulat ng gobernador na bineripika ng aking mga staff, ang mga bahagi ng bilyones na proyektong ito, 2 beses na pong nasira ngayong taon. Ang pinakamalala nitong nakaraang bagyong Emong. Sa mga larawan o video nakuha ng aming team, kapansin-pansin nga naman na imbes na graba, buhangin at simento, buhangin ang laman ng structure na ito. Kaya naman, ayon din sa mga residente, sa sandaling magkabutas, mabilis na pumapasok ang tubig at kinakain ang ilalim. Sa aming pag-iimbestiga, hindi rin daw di umano masusunod o nasusunod ang dapat na lalim ng pagbabaon ng mga sheet piles na magiging suporta ng buong road dike. Isa pa sa nakita namin, ang Barangay Inarawan na dumanas rin ng pagguho ng bahagi ng river dike. Sa aming pagsisiyasat, isa ang barangay na ito sa pinakamaraming buhos ng proyekto noong 2023 at 2024. Tumabo po ito ng 1.764 billion piso para sa construction ng road dike sa kahabaan ng mag-asawang Tubig. Sa lahat ng proyektong nilaan sa Barangay Inarawan, tanging ang SunWest Incorporated ang nakakopo ng mga proyekto. Ito ang kontraktor na una na nating narinig sa ulat ng Pangulo bilang pang-8 sa mga kontratistang nakakuha ng pinakamarami at pinakamalaking kontrata sa flood control. Mr. President, sinuyod din namin ang ilang pang-barangay na binuhusan ng pondo, ngunit hindi pa rin nakaligtas sa daluyong ng pagbaha dahil sa karamihan ay substandard, gumuho at hindi napanindigan ang pagiging flood control structure. Ilan sa mga ito ang mga sumusunod na ipapakita natin. Sa Barangay Pinagsabangan 2, higit 228 milyong piso ang pondong nilaan, pero ang reklamo ng mga residente, putol-putol ang pagkagawa ng river control. Malaking bahagi rin ito ang gumuho ng nagdaang habagat. Sa Barangay Melgar, nirereklamo ng mga residente ang mababaw na pagkakabaon ng mga bakal sa ginagawang dike. Sa taong ito, 3 coastal road shore protection ang itinatayo na ang sumatotal ipapalo sa halos 693 milyong piso. Sa Barangay Arangin, mayroon ding ongoing projects na nagkakahalaga ng 109 million. Ngunit hindi pa man tapos, ay nasira na ulit dahil sa habagat. Mr. President, for 3 years, 19 billion na pondo ang ibinuhos para sa flood control sa Nauhan. Umaapaw ang pondo pero lubog pa rin sa baha ang mga Nauhenyo. Ano nangyari, Mr. President? Kaninong mga bulsa inanod ang buwis ng taong bayan? Kung sa Oriental Mindoro gumuguho ang mga proyekto, mamaya po, Mr. President, ipapakita namin ang mga lugar naman na walang makikitang gumuguho. Hindi dahil sa matitibay ang paggagawa, kundi dahil hindi talaga maaaring gumuho ang guni-guni o ghost projects. Mr. President, sa Kalapit Barangay, sa Barangay Apitong, isa sa mga proyektong matyagang hinanap ng aking team ay ang construction of road dike along Mag-asawang Tubig River, Sitio Dique, Barangay Apitong, Section, Nauhan, Oriental, Mindoro, na na-award sa Elite General Contractor and Development Corporation. Ang halaga ng kontrata, 192.99 million pesos. Ayon sa dokumentong ito, mula sa DPWH website, completed na po ito. Ngunit, nang puntahan ng ating team,
Apologize for
wala
my
po
tardiness
silang
today. Thanks for
nakitang
being here.
proyekto
Another
sa
packed room.
Sitio
It's good to
Dique.
see.
Ayon
We'll
din po
begin
sa
with a
pahayag
scheduling
ng mga
update
residente,
today. President Trump will commemorate the
wala po
24th
flood
anniversary
control
of
na ginawa
9/11
nung
on
nakaraang
Thursday,
taon
with
sa
a visit to the
kanilang
Pentagon
sitio.
Memorial in the morning,
Ang alam lang
followed
nila,
by an appearance at the
mayroong
New York
gagawin
Yankees
pa
game
lamang
at Yankee
ngayong
Stadium in the Bronx
2025.
on Thursday evening.
Nasaan
Next
ang
week, as
halos
you all know, the President and the
193
First Lady will
million
depart for their
na pondo
historic state
sa
visit
Sitio
to
Dique
the United
noong
Kingdom
2024.
on Tuesday, and they
Eksaktong
return to
lokasyon na
Washington
aming
on
pinuntahan
Thursday.
sapagkat consistent
Today, I would
ito
like to address
sa
the
coordinate
tragedy
na
that has not
nakalathala
received
sa
nearly enough
DPWH
media attention,
at sa
the
sumbong sa
brutal
Pangulo
murder of
website.
Irina Zarutska.
Guni-guni
Here are the facts that many outlets have
guni-guni.
shamefully and intentionally
Mr. President,
failed to report
distinguished
until
colleagues,
President Trump
tuloy-tuloy
drew
na po
attention
tayo
to it.
sa usapang
On
guni-guni
August 22nd,
sa mga
Irina
proyekto sa
Zarutska was
lalawigan
stabbed to
ng
death
Bulacan.
on the rail system in
Nasabi ko nga
Charlotte,
kanina,
North Carolina
ay ang
by a savage
pinaka-notorious
career
sa aming
criminal.
mga case studies
This is a public
na sa
transportation
ulat na rin
system that many
ng
in
mga
the area
taga-
use every single day to go to
DPWH
school
officials at
and work.
insiders at ilang
Irina was on the train that
contractors ay
night
minumulto
traveling home
ng
from
humigit
her job
kumulang
at a pizzeria
30
still in uniform
guni-guning
from her
proyekto.
shift. This beautiful, innocent
Una sa aming
23-year-old
pinuntahan,
young woman
ang
was a
siyudad ng
Ukrainian
Malolos,
refugee
kung saan
who had recently fled her
kitang-kita ang
country for a
labis na
chance at a
pagbaha
safer
sa kabila
life
ng
and a
una
promising
ng
new beginning
napaulat
here
na
in the
buhos ng
United
pondo
States of
sa
America.
probinsya.
But tragically,
Isa
a
sa aming
public
binisitang
transportation
proyekto
system in a
ng
major
aking
American city
team
was more dangerous
sa
than
Barangay
the
Calero
active war
ay ang
zone that she
construction of
left.
riverbank
The
protection
President and the
na may
entire White House are
kontratang
praying for her
nagkakahalaga
family and friends
ng
during this
77
unimaginably difficult
million
time.
pesos.
But while we
Ang
extend our
kontrakto
thoughts and
nito,
prayers, we
base
must
sa
also
record,
seek justice
ay
for this
Wawaw
crime and call
Builders
attention to this
at
heinous
tag as
incident.
completed
Surveillance
as of
video of the killing was
October
finally released to the public this
2024.
past Friday. It shows the
Gamit ang
alleged killer,
coordinates sa
DeCarlos
sumbong sa
Brown
Pangulo
Jr.,
website.
pull out a knife,
Madali namin
get up from his
napunton
seat
ang
behind
lokasyon
Irina,
ng proyekto.
and prepare to thrust a blade into her
Inabutan
neck
po namin ang
before
flood
the
control
released
structure
footage
na
gets
ayon sa mga
cut.
residente
This is pure
ay sinimulang
evil on
gawin
full
ngayong
display.
taon,
The most
2025,
enraging and unacceptable part of this
lamang.
story is that her death
Ibig
was
sabihin po,
entirely
ang
preventable.
pondo nito
DeCarlos
ay
Brown
nasa
never
taong
should have been on that train
2025,
that night.
hindi
In fact, he should have
2024.
been behind bars.
Sigurado kami
DeCarlos Brown has been
sapagkat
charged with
iba ang
crimes no
contract
fewer
ID
than
nito
14 times,
base sa
dating back to
DPWH billboard na
2011,
inyong nakikita
including for
sa
armed
screen.
robbery, felony
Kinumpirma
larceny,
din po
breaking and
ng mga
entering,
residente
and
na
shoplifting.
walang
Brown
flood
had
control project
previously
na ginawa
served 5
sa
years in
lugar
prison for a
noong
robbery with a deadly weapon
2024.
charge. And he had
Ang
also
malaking tanong,
forfeited bonds 3
ano
different
ang
times,
riverbank
twice
protection
in
structure na
2014
pinondohan
and
at
once in
sinasabing
2023.
completed dito?
Despite all of this past
Ito po bang
documented
nakikita
criminal
nating
history,
puting
when
pader
Brown was
sa
arrested
screen?
yet again in January
Pader
of this
nga po
past
yan,
year,
Mr. President.
a Democrat
Perimeter
judge,
fence ng
who I
subdivision.
will add was a supporter,
Mr.
a strong
President,
supporter of
sari-saring
former Vice
gimmick,
President Kamala Harris,
makapandaya
released
lang
this
ng
insane
milyones
criminal
sa
once
kaban
again
ng bayan.
without requiring him to pay
Magtungo tayo sa
any
susunod na
bail.
barangay, Mr.
He
President.
simply had to
Luna
sign
ng
a
bangka
written promise promise to
Binagtas ng
return
aking mga
for his
staff
court
ang
hearing.
barangay Babatnin
Think about how
upang
crazy it
hanapin
is to
ang
ask a
riverbank
career criminal,
protective
someone who by
structure
definition
na pinondohan
repeatedly
noong
breaks the law,
2024.
to just
Ito
sign a written
ay
promise and come back
nagkakahalaga
again another
ng
day. This is
77
madness.
million
This monster should have been locked
pesos
up. An arena
na
should
nakuha
still be
naman
alive.
ng
But
Darcy
Democrat
and
politicians,
Ana
liberal judges, and
builders.
weak prosecutors would
Mayroong
rather
flood control
virtue
project
signal than lock
na
up criminals
kumpirmado rin
and
sa
protect
mga
their
online
communities.
videos na
And perhaps
nahanap
most
namin.
shamefully of all,
Ang
the
siste,
majority of the media,
hindi po ito ginawa
many outlets
noong
in this room
2024.
decided that her murder was not worth reporting on
2018
originally
pa po,
because it
Mr.
does not
President.
fit a preferred
Pinondohan din ito
narrative. Many
noong
of the journalists
2021,
in this room spilled
2023,
plenty of ink
at
trying to smear
2024.
Daniel Penny
Ayon
for
sa mga
defending a
residente,
subway car
ang
from a
huling
deranged
pagsasaayos
lunatic
dito
in New York
ay
City,
nangyari noong
but none of those
2023
same reporters
na
lift a
substandard
finger
din
to
ang
write
pagkakagawa.
stories about an actual murderer.
So, kanino
Here's the truth
napunta
that every
ang
American
nilagat
must
na
know.
pondo
Too many
sa
innocent
ilalim
people
ng
across the
2024
country
national
continue
budget
to pay the
para
price
sa
of the
proyekto na
failed
ito.
experiment known as cashless
Paulit-ulit ang
bail
pagpopondo
that has been championed by the
kahit
Democrat
gawa na.
Party for years.
Bagong style ito,
All the
Mr.
way back in
President.
2020,
Ilan pa
North
kayang
Carolina's
flood control
then
projects
Democrat
ang
Governor
ganito?
Roy Cooper established a
Ang kontraktor
so-called
nito
task force
na
for
Darcy
racial
and
equity
Ana
and criminal
builders.
justice. Sounds nice,
Naglilinis
but
kulang
it's
multo
not.
rin.
That task
Bakit
force was
kanyo?
co-authored by then
Base sa
Attorney
mga
General and
dokumento ng
current
kampanya
Democrat
nito.
Governor Josh Stein.
Ito ay
It
isang
recommended,
negosyo
quote,
na
reimagining
rehistrado sa
public
ilalim ng
safety
sole
to, quote, promote
proprietorship
diversion and
at
other
may
alternatives
address
to
sa Cardona,
arrest. It
Rizal.
also advised to
Sa pamamagitan ng
de-emphasize some
simpleng
felony
pag-search
crimes,
sa Google Map,
prioritize,
ay
quote,
madaling
restorative
makita
justice,
ang
and
gusali kung
eliminate
nasaan
cash
ang
bail.
nasabing negosyo.
Democrats in North Carolina
Subalit,
and nationwide are
nang puntahan
consumed
ng
with
aking
pushing a
team
woke,
ang
soft-on-crime
address.
agenda,
Ang kanilang
no matter
inabutan
how many
ay
innocent
gym
Americans suffer
at
as a
e-payment
result.
store
Instead of
sa halip na
aggressively
construction
prosecuting and
company.
locking up violent
Wala na rin ang
criminals, the
signage
Democrat-backed
ng Darcy
cashless
and Ana
bail approach
builders sa
lets these
dating-
criminals
na dating
roam free in
nakakabit
our
sa
country
building.
to offend again and again.
Maya-maya,
These reckless
ipapakita
policies
pa
have
namin
turned too many
ang mga
of
napapasa
American
naming
cities
proyekto
into
na
hunting
gawa
grounds
o
for career
dapat
criminals
ginawa
who mock our
ng
justice
nawawalang
system,
Darcy
drain law
and
enforcement
Ana
resources,
builders.
and wreak havoc on
Sinunod
law-abiding
din po natin
citizens.
ang ilang
Enough
barangay
is
sa
enough,
Agonoy,
and that is
Bulacan,
why President
na
Trump is
hanggang
doing
ngayon
everything in
ay
his
lubog pa
power by
rin
taking
sa
action to
tubig
undo
baha, Mr.
these
President.
absurd policies.
Gamit ulit
The president
ang sumbong
recently
sa
signed a
Pangulo website.
powerful executive
Hinugot
order
namin
directing the AG
ang exact
to submit a list
grade
of states
coordinates
and local
ng proyektong
jurisdictions
aming
with
nakita
cashless bail
para
policies
tiyakin na
so that the
sakto
Trump
ang
administration
lokasyon
may
kung saan
identify
tayo
federal funds that are being provided to
President,
these states and
the
can
first
potentially be
subject project
suspended
was in
or
Barangay
terminated.
Carillo,
President
Hagonoy,
Trump firmly
Bulacan.
believes that to maintain
Supposedly
order in public
completed
safety,
on
we must
April 19,
incarcerate
2024.
individuals whose pending
It was
criminal
awarded
charges
to
or criminal
Darcy
history
and
demonstrate
Ana
a clear,
builders and
ongoing
trading
risk to
for a
civil
sweeping
society.
price tag
This is a
of
common sense and sensible approach that the vast
77.199
majority of
million
Americans
pesos na
agree with,
naman.
and it's time for the Democrat
Mr.
Party
President,
to get on board
gusto
with what is
po ba
right.
ninyo makita
When these
ang
criminals are
itsura ng
caught, they
isang
must be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and be
77.199
sent to
million
prison,
pesos
where they
worth
can
na
no
riverbank
longer
protection
terrorize our
structure.
streets. This is the mandate
po
the
natin.
American people delivered to President Trump, and it's a
Nasaan na
mandate
nga
he
ba?
intends to fulfill. Staying on the
Ewan
topic
po,
of
Mr.
public
President,
safety,
dahil wala
new
tayong makita.
preliminary data
Kahit
released
ano pang
today
sunyot
by
ang
Customs
gawin
and Border
namin,
Protection
hindi namin
in
makita
August
o
shows that
mahagilap
President Trump
ang
has
flood
delivered
control
the most
project
secure
ng
border
Darcy
in American
and
history.
Ana
For the
builders.
fourth straight month,
Hello,
0
Darcy.
illegal aliens were released
Ana
into the United States
and
by
Ana, nasaan ang
CBP.
flood
Nationwide
control?
encounters are down 93%
Tumawid
below
naman
the
tayo
peak
sa
of the
Barangay
Biden
Abulalas,
administration.
sa bayan pa rin
Border
ng
Patrol
Hagonoy.
apprehensions on the
Silipin
southwest
natin
border in the
ang
entire
tatak
month of
Darcy
August were
and Ana
less
builders
than what was
flood
apprehended in
control
4 days
project.
in August
Sinuong
2024
ng aking team
under the
ang
Biden
baha
administration.
sa Barangay Abulalas,
President Trump
Hagonoy,
has ended
para
disastrous
hanapin ang
Biden
proyektong
illegal alien invasion, and he
construction
sealed our
of
border in
riverbank
record time,
protection
keeping this
structure
essential promise he
mula
made
sa
to
Darcy
the American
and
public.
Ana
With that,
na
I will take your
nagkakahalaga
questions.
ng
Here in our new media seat today, we have Michael Schellenberger, who is the founder of Public
77.199
News with nearly 2 million readers
na naman.
and subscribers. Michael, thank you
Ito
for
po
being here today.
ito
And
po
why
ang
don't you kick us
tumambad sa
off?
amin, Mr.
Sure.
President. Nakikita niyo po ba ang pagkakatayo ng flood control structure?
Whether the president is considering additional measures against Europe and Brazil,
Hindi
not
niyo
just for
po talaga
censorship, but
makikita,
also
my
for
dear colleague.
preventing political
Guli-guli lang
candidates from
kasi
actually
ang flood
competing in
control
elections.
infrastructure or
We've now
riverbank
seen
protection
in
kung
Romania,
saan dapat
France, and
nakatayo
now Germany
ang
with
Darcy
Joachim
and
Paul,
Anna
efforts to basically
project.
just prevent candidates from being able to compete in
Iba rin ang
elections.
kaso
The president
sa
has
Barangay
shown
Iba.
some concern around President
Tinungo namin
Bolsonaro, who's
ang
being prevented
proyekto
from running.
Riverbank
All of this
Protection
is coming in the
Structure
context
sa
of
Barangay
increased
Iba
censorship
ng
of online
Wawaw
platforms, of
builders
American
na natapos
platforms,
na
and
dapat
efforts to censor
noong
Americans I'm personally being investigated under criminal investigation with my Brazilian colleagues for publishing the Twitter files Brazil. We're very grateful that the President has imposed magnificent sanctions on the judge. Is the President considering additional actions given that it appears that they're going to end up with a conviction against President Bolsonaro, preventing him from running? Is he considering doing anything about this crackdown in Europe? I mean, it's shocking to see Joachim Paul, this mayoral candidate in Germany, the criminal indictment against him cites him, quote, saying that he loves the Lord of the Rings as reason why he's an extremist and shouldn't be able to run. So I just wonder if you could speak to that. And again, I'm grateful to be here. Nice to meet you all. And I'm grateful for what the Trump administration has done to push for free speech abroad.
Well, thanks for being here, Michael. We appreciate it. Freedom of speech is arguably the most important issue of our time. It is enshrined in our Constitution, and the President believes in it strongly. He himself faced censorship in his road back to this beautiful Oval Office here in Washington, D.C., so he takes this very seriously, as does, I know, the Vice President of the United States and the entire Trump administration, which is why we have taken significant action with regards to Brazil in the form of both sanctions and also leveraging the use of tariffs to ensure that countries around the world are not punishing their citizens in this way. And at the same time, the President is, while he's leveraging the United States to safeguard our interests abroad, he's also making sure that freedom of speech remains here in the United States of America. So I don't have any additional actions to preview for you today, but I can tell you this is a priority for the administration, and the President is unafraid to use the economic might, the military might of the United States of America to protect free speech around the world. Sure.
There was a Reuters story saying that the Trump administration was looking at this Europe-U.S. trade deal as one of the sticking points, this issue of the censorship, not just of U.S. platforms of Americans. Do you have any updates on how those trade talks are going? And I also wonder if the President is concerned about NATO membership. NATO membership requires that you be a democracy and have free speech. Is it possible that some of these actions that we've seen in Romania, France, and Germany would disqualify those countries from being in NATO after this?
I have not heard the President discuss NATO membership in regards to this issue in particular, but I have heard him discuss the issue of free speech and the importance of free speech with foreign leaders around the world, including the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom when we were in Scotland. The President brought this up and how important it is for the Prime Minister to protect free speech in the UK and in various conversations with other world leaders. So he brings it up, and I think the entire world knows that this is a priority for the President of the United States.
Na mga proyektong guni-guni ng Darcy and Ana at Wawa Builders sa Barangay Carrillo, Abulalas, Iba, San Nicolas, First Engineering
Sure. Well, I
District
have a
ng
statement
Bulacan.
to read for all of you with respect to the Israeli strike in Doha. And here it is. This morning, the Trump administration was notified by the United States military that as Israel was attacking Hamas, which very unfortunately was located in a section of Doha, the capital of Qatar. Unilaterally bombing inside Qatar, a sovereign nation and close ally of the United States that is working very hard and bravely taking risks with us to broker peace, does not advance Israel or America's goals. However, eliminating Hamas, who have profited off the misery of those living in Gaza, is a worthy goal. President Trump immediately directed Special Envoy Witkoff to inform the Qataris of the impending attack, which he did. The President views Qatar as a strong ally and friend of the United States and feels very badly about the location of this attack. President Trump wants all of the hostages in Gaza and the bodies of the dead released, and this war to end now. President Trump also spoke to Prime Minister Netanyahu after the attack. The Prime Minister told President Trump that he wants to make peace, and quickly. President Trump believes this unfortunate incident could serve as an opportunity for peace. The President also spoke to the Emir and Prime Minister of Qatar and thanked them for their support and friendship to our country. He assured them that such a thing will not happen again on their soil.
Will open a formal investigation into this morally wicked.
The President just confirmed that in the statement that I just read to you, which I spoke with him about before coming out here.
For the information of the body.
Thank you, Caroline. So is the President upset now?
The President made his thoughts and concerns about this very clear, and he spoke again both to Prime Minister Netanyahu and also the Emir and the Prime Minister of Qatar after this attack. And the President has always made it very clear that he wants peace in the Middle East, just like he sought that and accomplished that in his first term. He expects all of our
Marcos
allies and
Jr.
friends in the
in
region,
his rare,
that includes both Qatar and
exasperated,
Israel, to seek
confrontational
peace as
tone
well. And he wants to
during
see
his
that
fourth
happen, and he's
SONA
working with
last July
all of our
28.
allies in the region to get that done.
Pinalakpakan natin siya ng malakas nang sabihin niya sa ating harap-harapan sa plenaryo ng bata sa pambansa. Mahiya naman kayo. And rightly so, since
Is there going to be
he also
any
said in the same
directive
SONA
from the President
that he
Netanyahu
witnessed
in terms
firsthand
of what's allowed in the
how
future?
the
And also,
floodgates of corruption
is there any concern
have
this could
swung
jeopardize the
wide
Abraham
open
Accords?
in many areas.
Look, that's a
he
decision only the
personally
president can
inspected.
make. With respect to
He
your first
saw
question, to
defective
answer
flood
your
control
second question,
projects,
as you heard
obviously
from the
built
president,
with
he said he
substandard
believes that this
materials,
can serve as an
or not
opportunity
built
for
at
peace, and
all,
he's still actively
wasting
and aggressively
hundreds
pursuing
of
it with all of our
billions
allies
of
and
pesos
partners in the
in
region.
taxpayers'
Jennifer.
money.
Just to follow up on that,
drifted
Caroline,
away
are you able to
and
say
down
how often the
drain.
president spoke to the
And
Prime
all this,
Minister of
Mr.
Israel
President,
before
went
this?
straight
Because
to the pockets
that's one
of
question.
the
And then what did he
insatiably
mean on
greedy,
Sunday when
so
he posted,
vile,
I've given
so
my
greedy,
last warning
and
to
corrupt
Hamas,
record
etc.? He
politician.
wasn't talking about this strike on
DPWH
Doha?
officials
No, he
and
was not.
contractors,
As I told you, the Trump
colliding among
administration
themselves,
was notified by the United
unmindful of
States
the lives
military
lost
that
and the
Israel was
properties
attacking
destroyed,
Hamas, and the president
all
spoke
for
to the
their
prime
lust
minister after
for
the
money.
attack, as well as,
This
again,
humble
the Amir and the
representation
prime minister of
just
Qatar,
confirmed with
and I know
sordid
Secretary
details what
Rubio and
President
Special
Marcos
Envoy
announced
Witkoff
in
were
the
present
launching
for
of
those
the
that
Sumbong
call
sa
with the
Pangulo
Qataris as well.
website,
Reagan.
which greatly helped us in tracking and monitoring the status of the non-existing but fully paid flood control project. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, we can do our part in leading the way under your leadership and the cooperation that
So
each
first of all, I
and
want to get to the
every one
premise of your
us
question,
in this
Reagan,
august
which is
hall
being pushed by
to set the
Democrats,
example
that there is
in
crime
good
in red states. Of
governance.
course, there is crime
We can
in
start
all states,
with
but
an
the
honest to
crime in
goodness
these cities
and
is
fully
all
transparent
in cities that are run
deliberation
by
of the
Democrats. If you look at the
2026
list of the top
national
20
budget
high crime
measure
cities in the United
that
States,
will truly
every
represent the
single
hopes
one, with the
and
exception of one in
aspirations of our
Louisiana,
people
is
for a
run
better
by a
Philippines.
Democrat. And these
Sa
Democrats
isang
have
taon,
supported the same
wag naman
policies that I
sana
spoke
natin
about at the
marinig
beginning of this
na
briefing, like
mapagsabihan
cashless
tayo
bail.
na
If you look at
mga
a red
walang
state,
hiya kayo.
Mississippi, but a Democrat-run
Sa
city
haba
in that
at
state,
lawak
Jackson,
ng aming
in 2019,
pagsisiyasat.
Jackson,
May mga
Mississippi
gustong
eliminated
magsalita
cash
at
bail
tumulong.
for virtually
District
all
engineers
misdemeanor
na
cases. And
napipilitang
while Jackson is not
ipa-implement
formally a
ang mga
sanctuary city, the
binagsak na
state of
project sa kanilang
Mississippi
distrito
formally
na
banned
hindi
sanctuary
naman
cities,
sila
and this
ang
city has
nagplano,
acted as a
kaya
de
hindi
facto
naisama
sanctuary
sa
city for
National
criminals and
Expenditure
illegal
Program.
aliens since
Subalit,
2017.
dahil
Same thing,
nagmula
Birmingham,
sa mga
Alabama, a
insertions
Democrat-run
ng mga
city in a
tinaguriang
red
funders
state.
sa
In
Kongreso.
2017, the
Mga
Birmingham City
contractors
Council
na kapit sa
unanimously
patalim
passed a resolution,
dahil sa
quote,
bulok na
committing to
sistema
establish
ng talamak na
sanctuary
lagayan.
policies.
Tali
So if you
ang mga
actually look at the
kamay
facts
dahil
from
sa
these
kanilang
Democrat-run
pakikisaman
cities, these are
nakasalalay
cities that are
ang
run by
kanilang
Democrats and by
hanapbuhay.
blue,
At higit sa lahat,
by members
mga
of the Democrat
taumbayan
Party. These are blue
na nais
cities,
ipaabot
and they
ang
have
kanilang
all
hinaing.
supported these disastrous
Madami
policies
din-
which
madami
allow
din sa mga
repeated
nakausap namin
career
ang
criminals
handang pangalanan
back onto the streets
ang
to
mga
further
tiwaling
commit
opisyal ng
acts of
gobyerno
violence. And
na
so to
tunay
answer
na
your
nasa
question,
likod
yes, the
ng
president
mga
wants to work
milagro
with
sa flood
anyone
control.
across this
Ang
country
halos
who wants to
nagkakaisang
end these
tanong nila
horrible policies
na mahirap
and
kung
to bring
sagutin
law and
mag-isa.
order to our streets. And I
Sagot ba
think that
ninyo
is proven
ang
by
kaligtasan
his
namin?
tremendous
At
cooperation
sigurado
with the
bang
mayor of
tuloy-tuloy ang
Washington,
laban
D.C. and
hanggang
our
sa
nation's
dulo?
capital. And just look at the
Habang
results of that.
mainit
And I do
laban
have some
ang
updates for
issue
you on the
na ito.
D.C. crime crackdown if
When
anyone is
few good
interested.
officials
There
or
have been a
regretful
total
men
of
are willing to speak
2,177
truth
arrests
to power,
made since the
they
start
must
of the
be
operation
heard.
on August 7th.
They must
Just
be
last
seen.
night, there were
They
57
must
arrests
be
made in
protected.
Washington, D.C.
The depth
Of
of
the
corruption
57
has
arrests, there were
become so
14 illegal
overwhelming
aliens who
that
were
it
arrested,
drowns
many
us
of whom
in our sad
had prior criminal
reality.
histories. And other
More
arrests
than
just last
blood
night in our
control,
nation's capital, so
what
you all can
the
be very
Filipino
grateful for
people
this.
badly need
Our great men
to
and
see
women of law enforcement, both
greed
federal and local,
control.
working together
Thank
as
you,
they
Mr.
should,
President.
made an arrest on a warrant for assault
Thank
with
you,
the
Senator
intent to
Lacson.
kill. The subject shot two adult males after an altercation. They made an arrest on a warrant for an armed carjacking. The subject assaulted an adult male in the face with a firearm and then took his keys. We also made an arrest on a warrant for simple assault and the destruction of property and subsequently charged with second-degree theft. Last night in D.C., there was an arrest for possession of a controlled substance substance with
short.
second-degree
I
theft.
just wanted to
There was an
put on
arrest for
record,
possession
Mr.
of a controlled
President,
substance
na
with the intent to distribute.
nakapanlulumo,
That subject, the person is also a subject of interest in a homicide and a carjacking. Last night in D.C., we also arrested a felon in possession of a firearm who was carrying that firearm without a license. So these are the career criminals. These are the bad guys that we are picking up in Washington, D.C. every day. The president would love to do this in every Democrat-run
sabi
city
nga ho ni
across the
Senator
country,
Lacson,
and he hopes
guni-guni,
that more
hindi na
Democrats will call the
makita.
White House to allow us to
Siguro
help
ito po
them.
yung dahilan kung bakit for the past 3 years, siguro naiintindihan na ako ni Senator Bato, ni Senator JV, the past 3 years, bakit ako nang gagalaite. Eh, 3 taon ko na po itong sinasabi, itong mga kalokohan sa flood control program. Mr. President, ginahasa po ng flood control program ng gobyerno.
We are
ang
very
aming
grateful for
lalawigan
the mayor's
sa
cooperation
Bulacan.
in this effort, and we look
Nakakalungkot
forward
po,
to
Mr.
continuing to
President,
work with her
sapagkat
and the
pag
Metropolitan
tinignan nyo rin po
Police
itong 2025 flood control budget. Mr. President, yung binabanggit po ni Senator Ping na pare-pareho po yung amount, ganito pa rin po.
I don't have any phone
Total
calls
of
to read
14
out
billion
to the President and the
lalawigan
other
ng
foreign
Bulacan.
leaders. Ed.
Mr. President, nandito po yung ilang mga mayors natin. Nandito po si Mayor Bong, si Mayor ng
between March of
Balagtas, Mayor ng San
2024 and
Miguel,
March of
Bulacan.
2025,
Nandito
you
po
do a
sila
little
para
math, it
suportahan ang
averages out
Senado
to
para
73,000 jobs roughly per month added to
magkaroon
the economy,
ng,
less than
no
what was thought.
nonsense,
When can we
no
expect
secret
the
cows,
Trump
Mr.
administration
President,
out
na
their policies
investigasyon
are
at
rolling out
masiguro
for that
na
increase,
magkaroon
that
ng
average
hustisya
increase?
ang aming
Well,
minamahal na
let me just say something
lalawigan.
about the
Mr.
revisions that
President,
came out
gusto ko
this
lang
morning.
pong
This was
put
one of
into
the
the
biggest
record
revisions
that we
in
thank the
absolute
gentleman
terms
from Cavite,
in
Mr.
decades.
President.
And the
We have been,
benchmark year, March
looking
2024 to
forward
2025,
to
shows
seeing
that
him
the
here
job
in the
growth
Senate
was
dahil alam
vastly
natin, Mr.
weaker
President, may
during the
mangyayari
Biden
na dito
administration
sa
than
ating
ever
ginagawang
previously
investigasyon at
reported.
mapapanagot
Between
ang
this
dapat
revision
mapanagot.
and last
again, I
year's
appeal
job growth was
to the
actually
members of
overstated
this
by
August
approximately
chamber to
2
help not only
million
our great
jobs. And the
province of
Biden
Bulacan,
administration
but also
stood
all
up here and
provinces
vouched
in the
for that
Philippines.
data and
Maraming
told you
salamat,
that data
Ginoong
was
Pangulo.
real.
May I give
And
the
when
floor to
President
our
Trump calls
minority
into
leader who is
question the
seeking,
veracity of
the
that
floor,
data,
Mr.
like he did before he took the oath of office and even now as President of the United States, he was ridiculed for that. And turns out this revision proves two things. Number one, the President was right, and this is why we need new leadership at the Fed. And this makes it very clear that President Trump inherited a much worse economy by the Biden administration than ever reported. And it also proves that the Federal Reserve is holding our monetary policy far too restrictive. Interest rates are too high. The Fed needs to cut the rates because of the mess that we inherited from the Biden administration.
Timeframe. The president has said a year. Secretary Besson said maybe the fourth quarter. When can we expect these numbers to increase?
Well, first, we need accurate numbers. We need truthful and honest data, which is why the president took the monumental step to try and appoint and confirm new leadership at the BLS so we can have data that we can actually rely on. And that's what the president is doing, and we hope that his nominee will soon be confirmed.
Never
Charlie.
been known
You
to
addressed
evade
the
any
crime of
interpellations,
Brandon's
but because of
And the
health
president's done a lot
reasons,
to
I would
deliver
like to move
justice
that
for
all the
victims of crimes like
interpellations
that horrific stuff.
forthcoming
And the
on
Epstein
this
files are
privileged
back in
speech
the
be
news
done in
because
our
a lot of
next regular
Americans feel
session.
that that Jeffrey
President.
Epstein's victims never got justice.
Yes, Mr.
Does the
President,
president care about these
we
victims?
are,
Do you think he can
in,
does he
full
want to deliver
understanding,
more
Mr.
justice
President,
for them?
of,
And is he willing to meet with them?
our
The
good
president
colleague
cares about
who is
victims
more
of
than
all
willing
crimes,
to
and that's
entertain
why
questions, Mr. President. We all
Republicans
know
in the
that.
Trump Department
And
of
he's
Justice
more than
have
willing
done
to
more in
entertain
terms of
questions, Mr. President, by
transparency when it
Tuesday,
comes to
Mr.
the Epstein
President, when
case
we
than any
resume,
prior
session.
administration.
Mr. President, there
And
are a
why are
number
the
of
Democrats
senators who
all
would
of a
like
sudden
to
caring about this?
make
It's because they are
a short
desperately trying to
manifestation.
concoct a hoax
May I
to smear the
move that we
president of the
recognize
United
the
States. We
gentleman
have
from
seen
Tarlac,
this time
Senator
and time again.
Bang Aquino, Mr.
Ro
President.
Khanna and all of these
The
other
gentleman from
Democrats,
Tarlac,
they
Senator
could have
Bang
cared
Aquino
about
is
those
recognized.
victims
Thank
4
you, Mr.
years ago
President.
when Joe Biden
Una-una
was
po
in
sa
office.
lahat,
They
nais
could have
kong
pushed for
magpasalamat
transparency
kay
then.
Senator Lacson sa
Unfortunately, the
kanyang
Democrats are using victims as
presentation.
political
At alam ho
pawns
natin
to
na
try to
napakahalaga
smear
ng
and to push a
issue na
hoax
ito,
against the President of
na
the United
malaman ho
States.
natin
And
kung
I will
saan
get you
napupunta yung pondo
numbers
sa
on
flood
the amount of
control.
child
At
predators that
nakikita
this
naman po natin
administration
na
and this FBI and this
bilyong-bilyong
Department of
piso na
Justice
nawawala
have
na dapat
locked up
napupunta sa
under
taong
President
bayan.
Trump's
So, Mr.
leadership. We have
President,
done more
upon
than
the
any president to
suggestion of
protect
the Minority Floor
victims
Leader,
of
I will
crime,
hold off
especially
my
disgusting, heinous sexual
interpellations
crimes,
for
and that
the next
includes the
session,
deportation
and instead just
of illegal
manifest
aliens
my
who are
support
perpetrating
and
these crimes
congratulations
against
to the
innocent
good gentleman
victims
from
in
Cavite.
our
Thank you very
country
much, Mr.
right now
President.
today, and that remains a top priority
Thank you,
for
Mr.
this
President.
administration.
Next to make a short manifestation is the gentleman from Palawan, Senator Erwin Tulfo. I move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
Senator Erwin Tulfo, the gentleman from Palawan.
Again, I read you a
President,
statement. The
this
Trump administration was
representation fully
notified by the
supports
United
Senator
States
Ping Lacson's
military
call
that Israel was
to
attacking
demand full
Hamas.
accountability
The
for the
president
disturbing
directed
anomalies in our
his
flood
special
control
envoy
projects.
Witkoff to immediately call the
Kahapon lamang po
Qataris.
sa Senate
And
Ribbon
after the
Committee
attack, he spoke to Prime
na
Minister
pinangunahan ni
Netanyahu.
Senator
Behind you.
Marcoleta na si
About
Walat
the
at
Epstein
Santa
case, would
Macma
the White House
na
report
Coast Flood
professional
projects.
handwriting
Kawalan ng
expert
master
review
plan
of
at
the document
pagpabor sa
released
ilang mga
yesterday
probinsya,
to prove that
gayong
it's
hindi
not the
naman po
president's
kasama
signature.
sa
Sure, he
listahan ng
would
mga
support that.
flood-prone
And in
areas.
fact, I have already seen many
Nakakapanlumo
forensic
dahil sa kabila ng
analysts
bilyon-bilyong
of
pondo
signatures
inilaan sa
coming out. I
flood
believe it
control
was the Daily
projects na
Signal
ito,
that published a
ay
piece
marami
with
pa rin
3
sa ating
separate
kababayan
signature
ang
analysts who
nalulubog
said that this
sa baha.
absolutely
Sa
was not the
DPWH pa
president's
lang po
authentic
ay meron na
signature.
tayong
And we have
inilaang
maintained that
halos
position all along. The president did not
996.5
write this
billion
letter.
pesos
He did
o
not
halos
sign this
1
letter.
trilyon,
And that's why the
Mr.
president's
President.
external legal
Ito ay
team is
mula sa
aggressively pursuing
sa ilalim
litigation
ng
against the Wall
flood
Street Journal, and they will
management
continue to.
Hindi pa po kasama
Thanks,
rito ang
Caroline.
budget
Following up
inilaan
on
sa
Ed,
DNR,
now that we have these
MMDA,
revised job
at iba pa
numbers,
mga
is the
ahensya
president
para rin sa
concerned at all
pagkontrol ng
that
baha.
price spikes,
Ulitin ko po,
stemming from
this
these tariffs
is
through the end of the
nothing
year
less than
might
a grand
actually be driving
robbery
the country
of
towards
our
a
nation.
depression or
It is for
recession.
this
What I'm
reason,
asking
Mr.
is
President,
he
that I
committed
also
to
filed the
these
Senate Resolution
policies
number
now that we
31,
know how
which
faulty
seeks
the
to
jobs
investigate
data was?
reported
The
abuse
president is
of
committed
flood
to his
control
policies
programs
because his
and
policies
related
are working,
projects.
Christian.
Senate
And there
Resolution
have
number
been a lot of
70,
people
which seeks to investigate
fear-mongering
illegal
about
construction
inflation in
of
this room,
structures
but it
and
just has
waterways in
not come to
Palawan.
fruition. On
And
a
Senate
monthly
Bill number
basis, CPI
769,
inflation has now
which
come in
seeks to
at or below the market's
institutionalize
expectation
Metro
for
Manila
6
Drainage Master Plan
consecutive
as
months
a long-term
every month that
strategy
President Trump has
for
been in
drainage
office.
infrastructure
Overall,
development.
inflation has run at a
Mr.
1.9% average pace
harap-harapan na pong
in the
niya
president's
nakawan
first 6
ang
months in
taong
office.
bayan dahil sa
I would have told
kakulangan
all of
ng
you that in
pananagutan.
January, you would not have believed me,
Our
but those are the
people
facts and those are the
deserve
numbers. And
no
we also
less
see
than
many
truth,
other positive signs
transparency,
in
and
economic
justice.
indicators like
Wag
real
na po natin hintayin na
GDP. In the
lumubog
second
ulit ang
quarter, it was
bayan
revised up
bago
to
tayo
3.3%.
Let's build
That
the
beat the
Philippines.
market's
It doesn't just
expectation.
survive the
We know
floods,
there's a
but
capital
rises
spending
above
boom
it.
right now, which we
Maraming
know is
salamat,
one of
Mr.
the
President.
greatest economic
Thank you,
indicators
Senator
of job
Tulfo.
growth.
Majority
We know
Leader.
Next
wages
to
are
make a
increasing at a
short
far faster
manifestation
pace
is our
than they
Deputy
were under the
Minority
previous
Leader, Senator
administration.
Lisa on
We
Diversion.
see
Move that
productivity
she
in the
recognizes
second
the
quarter was
President.
also revised up to a strong 3.3%. In total, industrial production,
Salamat po, Mr.
factory output
President.
also surged. All of this
President,
means
I
the
applaud
economy is
the
moving,
sponsors'
people are working,
courage
people are
in
spending
bringing
money.
to
You
light
look at
these
consumer
harrowing
spending,
and
that is
urgent
also
issues,
ticking up and in the right
large-scale
direction.
corruption.
And a large part is
Kaisa niyo
because
po
of the
ako sa
incredible
laban
work
nito,
the president has
Senator
done
Ping.
in terms of energy and
Nabasa po ako sa
unlocking our
Facebook,
energy
Mr.
dominance in this
President.
country. Again,
The
these
Philippines
jobs,
is not poor.
the numbers from the
We are
BLS today
plundered.
prove that the
Could not
economy was an
agree more.
absolute mess, and we are
Ang
working every
Pilipinas
single
po ay
day to fix
hindi
it. And
isang
all of those
mahirap na bansa.
indicators I just read for you
Biktima
are
lang
positive
tayo
sign
ng
of what
kalat
is to come.
at sistematikong
Sure, Danny.
pagnanakaw.
Just wanted to,
Dahil
get a
sa
bit of clarity on
korupsyon
the sequence of events
ng
from the
kaunti,
Dover attack and the notification.
patuloy na
You said that the
naghihirap
US
ang
military,
karamihan.
notified.
Sa estimasyon mismo ng gobyerno, nasa 20% o 1/5 ng kabuuang budget ng bansa ang nawawala taon-taon sa korupsyon. Katumbas po yan
The
ang
US military
tinatansyang
notified the White House and the
1.6
President of the
trillion
United States. That's all I have
pesos
to share for you
na
on that,
ninanakaw
Dan.
mula sa mga Pilipino kada taon. 1.6
1.6
trillion. Kahit ako po ay nahirapang maintindihan kung gaano kalaking pera yan. Chinek ko po.
The
At sa
President told
1.6
that to the
trillion
Emir and the
pesos,
Prime Minister of Qatar,
pwede
and the
na
President
tayong
also
mamigay
overstressed
ng
the importance of peace
tig-1
in the
milyong
region
piso
in his
sa
conversation with Prime Minister
1.6
Netanyahu
milyon
as
na
well.
tao.
And Prime Minister Netanyahu told
Nakakalula
President
po.
Trump he wants peace and he
Lahat
wants
na
it
yan
quickly. That's what the
habang
President expects to
nalulunod
happen.
na
The
ang
President
mga karaniwang
is very
Pilipino
clear in the statement that he just had me read, and you will all see
na
it out
lulunod
on
sa
True Social
taas
very
ng
shortly.
na
I am
presyo
sure
ng
the whole world
bilihin,
will see it.
sa
He wants
trabahong hindi
all of the
sapat ang
hostages
kita,
released out of Gaza,
sa kalamidad,
and he wants this war to
at
end.
sa
Those are very
kawalan
two
ng
clear
tugon
directives
at
that
serbisyo
the President is
publiko.
making very clear for
Mayorya
the
po
entire
ng
world
mga
to understand.
Pilipino
Mary.
ay kumakayod ng tapat at nakikipagsapalaran ng patas. Insulto po na ang buwis na kinakaltas at dapat ginagamit
I
para
think the
sa
President
kanila
addressed that in the statement.
ay
I can read the whole thing
inaanod
for you
lang
again. I
sa
think it's
baha
very thorough
ng
because the President
korupsyon.
wanted to address all of your
Hirap
questions.
na nga ang
We
Pilipino,
wrote, unilaterally bombing
nanakawan
inside
pa.
Qatar, a sovereign nation and
Kung
close
ang
ally of the
karaniwang
United States
Pilipino po
that is working very
ang
hard and bravely
magnakaw,
taking risks
kulong
with us to
agad
broker peace
at
does not
pwedeng
advance
masira na
Israel
ang
or America's
buhay.
goals. However,
Pero,
eliminating Hamas,
ang
who have profited
pagnanakaw
off the misery
ng mga
of those
opisyal
living in Gaza,
sa
is a worthy
pamamagitan
goal.
ng
So he answered
korupsyon.
that question himself.
You can't say that Israel
Party lang
informed
po.
the U.S.
Parang parte na po.
What I can tell you is the
Buhay,
United States military
tanggap ng
informed the
lahat.
Trump administration. We just.
Hindi ko po yan matatanggap. Nakakaasa po si Senator Lacson sa pag-usisa sa isyung ito. Salamat po, Senator Ping. Mabuhay po kayo at
This
magaling
morning,
po
just
kayo ng
before the
lubos.
attack,
Salamat
as I
po,
said
Mr.
earlier.
President.
Maraming salamat, Senadora.
Yes,
Mr. President, Senator Pia Cayetano is also seeking the floor.
and talked about how there was
May I move that she be recognized, Mr.
none.
President.
And then he expressed frustration about
Mr.
things that
President.
take place
Just a
in the
short
home.
manifestation,
They call crime. He said, you know,
sa
they'll do
Tuesday pala
anything
magpapatuloy
they can
ang
to find
ating,
something.
debates
If a
na
man has a little
mag-interrelate
fight
tayo.
with
I just want
the
to join our
wife, they say
colleagues
this
in
is crime.
expressing my
See, now I
disgust.
can't claim 100%.
And,
Exactly
I'm
what
at a loss for
crimes
words
was the
sa
president referring to?
napakasamang sitwasyon
He wasn't
na
referring to
binunyag ni
crimes.
Senator
That's exactly the
Ping
point he was
Lacson.
making, Ouija. The president is saying
Papasalamat tayo
that,
sa
is that
kanya
these
na
crimes will be
pinakita
made
niya to
up and reported
in
as a crime to
very
undermine
detailed ang
the
kanyang
great work
presentation.
that the
Ako po ay
federal task force is
taga-Tubong Bulacan
doing
din,
to
kaya
reduce crime
si Senator
in
Joel,
Washington, D.C. And I think the
attest to
president
the
has
fact
every
na
reason to believe that,
bagyo-bagyo
given
na lang,
the
hindi ko
efforts of
sasabihin
many reporters
taon-taon
in
kasi
this
kung
room
ilang
who
beses tayo
actively
daanan
seek to
ng bagyo,
undermine
ilang
the
beses din
president
siya
and what he's doing in our
tatayo
nation's
at
capital. We all know
mag-express ng
that deep inside you all agree with this
lungkot,
because you all live here,
galit
and
sa
I'm sure you are
walang
very grateful
katapusan
for
na
the
bagyo,
administration's
tapos
efforts to
panay
make the
ho ang
city
punta
which
niya
we all
dyan,
reside
walang
in
katapusang
much safer
pagre-relief
for ourselves
efforts.
and our families.
Samantalang
Michael.
pala itong mga relief efforts natin, hindi na pala kailangan gawin kung nagawa lang ito ng maayos. I personally am shocked that pwedeng mangyari yung gano'n na paulit-ulit lang na pinupondohan ang Ghost Project o di naman
It's not
kaya
something I've heard the president
paulit-ulit
discuss.
na
You can ask him yourself next
binabalikan
time you have
lang
the
ang
opportunity to.
proyektong
How's that?
sobrang substandard. Tapos yung pala yung sabi nga ni Senator Ping, may standard na ang substandard. We owe the Filipino people better. Lahat po tayo, we have, now that napakita ito, siguro tuloy-tuloy
I again
na
have not heard the
ang
president discuss
paglalabas
that.
ng
You're
mga
welcome to ask him
contractors
yourself, but I do know he very much looks forward to going to
sangkot
both the
dyan.
Pentagon
Hindi
and the
ako
Yankees game in New
involved
York
sa
City on Thursday to
hindi
commemorate
ako
the 24th
familiar din sa
anniversary.
budget
As you
ng
know, the
DPWH, pero
president is a New Yorker at heart. He
I am
loves the city
familiar
very
with the
much. It is
project sa
his home,
education
and
at
you'll
saka
hear
sa
more about
health.
that on
At
Thursday
kahit
when the
doon po,
president speaks on this
paulit-ulit
himself.
naming sinasabi
Kelly.
sa mga
Caroline, thank you.
state
I wanted to ask you a question
universities,
about the
pati sa
president,
mga
speaking yesterday before the
DOH
Religious Liberty
officials na
Commission.
pagka yung contractor
As you
hindi
know,
na
he's created
nakadeliver, huwag
the
nyo nang
White House
ulitin,
Faith
huwag nyo nang
Office, the
i-delist nyo na yan.
Task
Kaya
Force
yung
on
pinakita
Anti-Christian
kanina na,
Bias. And yesterday he
na
talked
yung
about the
pangalan ng
importance of
contractor,
the Bible
delisted
in
na siya,
America
pero
and the
nabigyan pa rin ng
importance of
project.
prayer
Paano
in
ba
America.
nangyayari yung mga ganon?
Some people have
Definitely, ibig
criticized
sabihin,
him
may
for that and
kasangkot
stating that
na
he's
government
espousing Christian
official,
nationalism.
whether sa
Yet the
level
president is
ng
calling
lokal
on the American
or sa level
people
ng national.
to
Kaya
band
sa
together
darating na
and
mga
pray for
araw
this
na
nation for
iimbestigahan
people of all
pa rin
faiths.
ito at
How
magkakaroon pa
important is
tayo ng
that to
debate,
the Trump
sana
administration?
mas mabigyan ng
And
liwanag
are
because the
there
Filipino
guidelines for
people
implementing
do not deserve
Well, last time I
this
checked, it's
kind
not just
of
Christians who pray,
public
it's
service
people
from
of
their
all faiths who
officials.
pray,
Thank
and
you very
that's what
much,
the president
Senator Ping
wants
Lacson,
to
for bringing
protect,
this to our
the
attention.
religious freedom for
Senator Pia.
Americans of all
Majority
faith.
Leader.
And
Yes,
he
Mr.
spoke about that
President, the
yesterday,
gentleman
and that's
from
why he was
Pampanga
very
who's
proud
also
and
affected
excited
by
to
flooding,
announce this new
Senator,
initiative,
Kiko
Pray
Pangilinan is
America,
also seeking the
encouraging
floor.
all
I move
Americans
that
to
he be
pray for
recognized,
our
Mr.
country,
President.
Senator
in
Kiko
the goodness of our country, leading up to America's
Maraming salamat sa
250th
ating
birthday
karatig
next year.
lalawigan.
Why don't we take some from the sides? Elizabeth, go ahead.
Thank you, Caroline. I have two questions.
Sure.
First, on prayer again. Is the Trump administration looking for the forthcoming
Pampanga, totoo
prayer
po yun.
guidelines
Kung
to
nakaraang
challenge
bagyo,
existing court precedent
matapos
on the
yung
right to pray in
pagbabaha,
public schools?
16
Well, the president
sa
spoke about that
18
yesterday, and some of the changes we are making to
mga
ensure that
barangay
the religious
sa
liberties of
hometown
America's
ng
students
aming,
and our
ng
youth are
ating
respected in
tatang,
public schools. In
my
fact, he
father,
had a young student
lubog.
and invited him on stage to share his
pati ang
story
mga bayan,
about how when this young boy
ng
spoke about
Pampanga,
biological
lubog din.
and biblical truth in his classroom, he faced
galit na
consequences for that, and
itong,
how
naging,
Americans of faith should
expose
not be
ni,
facing consequences for
Senator,
expressing
Ping
their
Lacson, we
religious
laud him
freedom and their
for
religious
his
views.
consistency
Not in
in,
any public school in America should that be
in,
happening. You heard the president talk about that yesterday.
with a fine-tooth
Senator
comb,
Caroline, thank you so much. Regarding the
binubusisi
Israel attack in
yung
Doha,
ating
decided phone call. What was
budget,
President Trump
yung general
involvement in the attack
appropriations
this
measure.
time?
Look,
Mr.
I don't have
President,
anything more to read out for
actually,
you on this other than the very
baka maaring
lengthy and thorough
sagutin
statement that I have shared
next
repeatedly
week.
now. Sure.
Magaling na po si Senator
Go ahead.
Lacson
After
dito
the
sa
Supreme
aking
Court ruling
simpleng
yesterday
katanungan.
on the ICE raids in
Sa
Los
ganitong
Angeles, some particularly
katinding
non-white U.S. citizens are saying that they're going to be
trilyong
carrying their
pisong
U.S.
halaga
passports with them at all times.
ng
What is the White House's
pagnanakaw sa
response
gobyerno
to Americans who are
sa
concerned
ilalim
about
ng
being swept up
Public
as
Works.
others have been
Magiging
already
tanong
in
ko
these
sa
enforcement actions?
Martes
They should not be
sa
concerned because this
privilege
administration
speech ni
is
Senator
focused
Lacson
on
ay
the detention and
bakit hindi pa
deportation
nagre-resign
of
yung
illegal
Secretary
alien
ng
criminals
Public
who
Works?
broke our nation's immigration laws. And the Supreme
Yun lang
Court
po.
upheld the Trump
at naway
administration's right
maisagot
to
sana
stop individuals in
ng
Los
maayos.
Angeles to briefly
Kung hindi man ni
question
Senator
them
Lacson,
regarding
baka
their legal
dapat yung
status because
Secretary
the
of
law
Public Works
allows
sumunod.
this, and this has
Maraming
been the
salamat.
practice
Thank you,
of the
Senator
federal
Pangilinan.
government for
Mr. President,
decades.
next to
And the
give
Immigration
her
and Nationality Act
manifestation
states
is
that
the
immigration
distinguished lady
officers
from
can
Antique,
briefly stop an
Senator
individual
Lauren
to
Legarda.
question
I
them
move that
about
she
their
be
immigration
recognized,
status if the
The,
officer has
gentle lady
reasonable
from
suspicion
Antique is
that the
recognized, Senator
individual
Legarda.
is illegally present
Thank
in
you,
the
Mr.
United
President.
States.
I
And
rise
reasonable
today in
suspicion
support
is
of
not
the
just based on
privileged
race,
speech
it's
of our
based on a
esteemed colleague,
totality
Senator
of the
Ping
circumstances
Lacson,
to review.
and I
And I will
echo
tell
his
you, I
outrage
spoke
at
to
the
our borders
corruption
are
that
about this
continues
morning.
to stain
When
our flood
ICE goes
control
out to
programs
conduct a
and
targeted
many other
operation
public
to
projects.
deport illegal criminals
Billions
from
and
our community,
possibly
they are doing
trillions
so
of
with
pesos are
intelligence,
lost.
they are doing so
Substandard
with
works
law
are
enforcement
delivered,
sources, they
and
are
yet
doing
year
so
after year, the
in
floods
most
still
cases
come washing
with the
away
backing
homes,
of local
dreams,
law enforcement
and
who know
lives.
exactly where these illegal alien criminals and drug traffickers
why
and drug
we,
dealers are
support
hiding in plain
this
sight in
long-term
American communities.
approaches,
And the
and
men and
there is
women
a
of ICE
proposed
are doing
tapat
everything
na
they can to
paglilingkod
not only
pending
follow the law,
measure,
but to
which
enforce
does
the
not
law. And it's
only
about
punish
time that has
wrongdoing,
happened, because we had
but
4 years of
seeks
an
to
administration
prevent it
who
by
completely
embedding
ignored
strategies
and
that
evaded
promote
our nation's
integrity in planning,
very clear administration
budgeting, and service
immigration
delivery by
laws, and the Supreme
protecting
Court has reaffirmed that.
whistleblowers by making agencies map their own
One of
corruption
the other
risks and
documents
by
released by the
teaching
House Oversight Committee
integrity as
contained a
early as
photo
per schools.
of Jeffrey
This is a
Epstein
long
holding an oversized
manifestation,
check
Mr. President.
that
May I
was made out
request
to him
that
in
the
the
whole
check
manifestation
from the president
of 6
for
pages be inserted into the
$22,000 for a
record.
fully
I would like to
depreciated
commend our
woman. I wondered if
esteemed
the
colleague,
president has
despite
any
he is
recollection
being under
of
the
that,
weather.
or what you guys
And yes,
make
we
of
must
that
investigate,
photo,
we must
that's
prosecute,
included in
but
the document.
Did you see
alongside
the
we must
signature on that
also
check?
nurture
It is not Donald
a
Trump's
culture of
signature.
tapat
It
na
is absolutely
paglilingkod
not the president
so
did
that
not
the
sign
next
that check.
generation will not even think
Recognize
twice
all
about
of
it.
On the New York City election,
We congratulate
Well, I'll
Senator
take both of you. Go ahead.
so first, is the president considering offering
Mr. President,
Mayor Eric
next to
Adams
give
a job?
his
If so, why?
manifestations,
Does he
the
think Curtis
gentleman
Lee was
from
a serious
Bukidnon,
candidate for New York
our
City mayor?
former Senate
Look, the president has made it quite clear he wants this race to move forward in New York City. He does not want a communist
Thank you very much,
to be
Mr.
running
President.
New York
Thank you to
City, but
Majority
as for
Leader.
weighing in on other
Mr.
individual
President,
candidates, I'll
nakakalula
leave that
talaga
to the
yung-
president to do himself.
Yung speech ng ating
following up on Reagan's question, you know, many
samahan na
of
si
these
Senator Lacson, I'd like to
high-crime
congratulate him
cities in
for
America, they're led
his
by
very
black
thorough
mayors, including the three that you
investigation of
mentioned,
the case.
Jackson, Memphis,
Biro mo,
Birmingham.
may isang bayan,
So,
Mr.
given that,
President,
what's
na
your
nakatanggap
response
ng
from the
3.2
two
billion
criticisms
worth
from
of
the left
projects,
that Trump is
particularly
targeting
flood
black
control
mayors?
in
Isn't he
Oriental
just trying to
Mindoro.
protect black people?
Kinumpute
The
ko po yan,
president
Mr.
is trying to
President, at
protect
3
all
million lang
Americans
per classroom.
from crime.
That
And
is
he wants to
1,000
make all of our cities in
66
America safe.
classrooms.
And the fact
Baka
is,
yung
the most
backlog ng
dangerous
buong
cities in
Mindoro
America are run
na
by Democrats
fund na po
overwhelmingly. And
sa
according
DepEd
to
kung
the
ibibigay po
FBI
natin
crime
itong pondo
statistics,
para sa
19
classroom
of the top
building
20
program
cities with
at
the
wala na
highest
pong
murder rate
backlog
are run
ang
by
Mindoro,
Democrats. And these
Oriental
high crime
Mindoro. Kung dyan na lang
Democrat-run
po
cities
natin
are driving
nailagay
up the crime
kaysa
states
sa mga
crime
flood control
stats and
projects na
otherwise safe
nakikita
red
naman
states.
po
So, of
natin
course, he wants to
substandard,
address this problem. He's
nagko-collapse
made
at
that quite
mukhang
clear.
money-making
You
racket
know, Mike
lamang po,
Johnson
Mr.
came out and
President.
said that.
Mr. President,
the president
I
was
laud
an
our
FBI
distinguished
informant.
colleague,
Do you know
Senator
what
Lacson,
meant
for
by
this
that?
speech,
If
but
it's
I'm
not
hoping
true.
that he can give a part
I
2.
can affirm that is
Kasi
not true.
po,
I think the
kulang
speaker
pa po
was
yun.
referring to the fact
For example,
that
kung
President
saan
Trump
po
kicked
humidyo
Jeffrey
ng aking
Epstein
nanay
out of his
sa
Mar-a-Lago
Bicol.
property.
Marami
for
din
reasons
pong
the
ghost
president
projects
has
sa
already
Bicol,
discussed.
maraming palpak na
John.
projects sa Bicol.
Thank you, Carol.
Lalo na sa home
First of all, as a
province of my
Washington,
mother
D.C.
in
resident with my
Albay.
family, I just want to thank
I
you
was
for
there
the
last year distributing rice
revitalizing
to
safety
my
in the last few
kababayans in
weeks.
Libon, where my mom
Well,
is
I wanna
from.
go to Virginia.
And we
All
also
of a
delivered to
sudden,
the
out of the
provincial
blue,
capital.
Winston Sears
At that
has
time, yung
closed the
tanong
gap
po
on
ng mga
Abigail
reporters sa
Spanberger.
akin, anong
Now,
may
4
tutulong
issues.
nyo
Coerced,
sa mga problema naming baha dito
in
sa
Fairfax County without
Bicol. At
telling
alam ko na po
mom or
nung
dad,
panahon
no
pa na yun na
na napakalaki na ang natatanggap nila pero wala pa rin nangyayari. So sana may part 2 po niyan at may labas din po natin yung mga kapalpakan nito mga contractors also in the Bicol region and other parts of the Philippines where we can see these discrepancies. So once again, maraming salamat kay Senator Lacson, but we're still hoping that the Blue Ribbon Committee can go down even further in naming the proponents of these projects. Kailangan natin malaman.
And maybe
Mahirap
come
po
and
kasi,
campaign in South.
hindi ko po alam sa House kung may lalabas pa nila
as you
yung
know, I'm very limited
proponents
in what I
dito
can
sa
talk about
Senado.
when it comes
Labas
to
natin ang
political
proponents
endorsements and future
ng mga
elections
projects na
from
to.
this
Pati doon sa
government
House, sana
podium.
mailabas din nila.
But all
And
of
I
the
laud
issues that you just mentioned, I know are
Congressman
very
Toby
important to the
Chanco for
President.
trying
And
to
it's
come out
quite common
with
sense.
that list
The
of
foundation
proponents
of
in
the
the
Republican
House.
Party, and
I
it's what
congratulate
sent
him
this
as well, and I wish
back
him
to
luck.
the Oval Office.
Maraming
We want
salamat,
to keep
Mr.
men out of
Thank you,
women's sports and
Senator Speedy,
bathrooms.
Majority
We want
Leader.
criminals
Yes,
to be
Mr.
locked
President,
up.
I
The
would
president
just like
wants
to
to see
join
law
the
and order in
statements
every
made
state
by
across the
our
country, but
former
as
Senate
for
President,
political endorsements,
Senator
I'll leave that to
Nick
him and
Subiri.
his political
Mr.
advisors to make
President,
those. Sure.
ilalagay ko
Haley.
uli sa talaan ng bulwagang ito noong 2023, 1.079 billion pesos a day ang budget ng DPWH alone. 2024, 1.342 billion
Again, I
pesos
have
a day
answered
ang
questions
budget ng
repeatedly on this. I have a very
DPWH
lengthy
alone.
statement which we
Ngayong
will
taon
release
po
after
na
this
ito,
briefing for all of you to read
2025,
and to report on once again.
1.37 billion a day ang budget ng DPWH. Ngayon po, doon sa National Expenditure Program na inirepresenta sa atin ngayon ng 2026, 1.08 billion pesos a day ang budget ng, again, Mr. President, DPWH alone. Mr. President, bago ko po isuspend ang konsiderasyon ng privilege speech ni Senator Ping Lacson, muli pinapasalamatan po natin siya at yung pong binabanggit niya na pare-parehong amount na sa ibang probinsya, ganun din po yung nakita namin doon sa probinsya ng Bulacan for this year. And maikling ikwento ko lang, Mr. President, alam nyo yung pinakikita doon sa Hagunoy, yun po yung taon-taon na pinupuntahan natin halos every time na merong bagyo at nakikita po natin doon, Ginoong Pangulo, yung mga kababayan ko po doon sa Hagunoy at Senate President Pro Tem, I'm sure you're very much aware of Hagunoy dahil marami po kayong kaibigan doon. Tinatali po nila, Mr. President, yung kanilang sasakyan, Fortuner man yan o pick-up, itatali po nila, Mr. President, doon po sa poste at matutulog sila, yung sasakyan po nila. Umaalon-alon, Mr. President. Gigising po sila ng umaga at ito, natural na buhay ng mga kababayan ko doon. Gigising po sila ng umaga, lulusong sa baha, magkakape, pagkatapos magkape, maliligo, tapos pupunta ho ng Maynila para magtrabaho, alas 3, alas 4 ng umaga, babalik ho galing sa trabaho, ganun na naman, Mr. President. Tapos mababalitaan po nila itong mga nangyayaring guni-guni projects at mga palpak na proyekto. Mr. President, I think nasa atin po na may magagawa po tayo bilang Senado ng Republika ng Pilipinas. I pray, Mr. President, huwag nating biguin yung ating mga kababayan dahil sa totoo lang, Mr. President, 3 years ago, binanggit ko na po dito sa pulwagan na ito na yung mga kababayan po namin, wala nang inaasahan eh. In fact, kahit kausapin niyo po, sasabihin sa inyo, wala na. Hindi nyo naman magagawa yan. So sana po malaking challenge po sa atin, lalo na dito sa Senado, itong problema ito. Mr. President, may pahabol po ang ating mga kasamahan. We recognize Senator Bongo and then afterwards Senator Robin Hood Padilla who wanted to make a manifestation as well, Mr.
Especially when they're creating
Please.
very niche
Senator
products
Bongo is
like
recognized.
chips or in this point,
Thank
in
you,
this
Mr.
case,
President.
in
I join
Georgia,
Senator
like
Ping
batteries.
Lacson in
But the president
condemning
also expects these
the
foreign companies to
irregularities
hire
and
American
in
workers
the
and for these
allocation and
foreign workers
implementation
and
of
American
flood
workers to
control
work
projects.
together to
Mr.
train
President,
and to
as
teach one another. And
manifested
so he expects these foreign companies
yesterday
to
in the
hire
Blue
American
Ribbon
labor.
hearing, hindi
We
po
want Americans to
katanggap-tanggap
have these jobs.
na
We want
habang
Americans need
tumataas
these
ang
jobs.
budget para
But
sa
he also
flood control,
understands the need
pataas
for
rin
these
ang
companies
pataas
to
ang
bring over
pagbaha.
their
Sabi
workers
ko
who
nga
already have
kahapon,
these skills. So I think
bakit
it's a very
hindi nyo lang po ilaan ang budget
I think
para
it's
sa
a very
health katulad sa
nuanced
pag-upgrade
and
ng mga
responsible
hospital
and
ng
sensible
PGH
approach for
na
the president to take.
madalas rin
And I know
pong
that the Department
binabaha.
of Homeland Security and the
Nakita
Department
natin
of
sa
Commerce are
video
working on this
kahapon
matter
o sa
together. I would
picture
defer you
na
to them
binabaha.
for
Dapat
any further action
doon
on
na
this
lang po
front.
paglaanan ng pondo at sa DPWH na meron po silang 880 billion kumpara po sa health budget. More than one-third lang po ang pondo ng health kumpara sa DPWH. Bakit hindi na lang po ilaan ng pondo para sa ating mga healthcare workers na marami pa pong hindi nababayaran ang health emergency allowances? Ano bang mas importante sa inyo? Serbisyo na pinaghirapan, services rendered,
Epstein
o
right
mga
now that is
proyektong
absorbing many
ginagawang
of the liberal
gatasan.
cable
Natanong ko nga
channels
to kanina
on
sa
television is
health
a
hearing
hoax that is being perpetuated by
sa mga
opportunistic
unprogrammed
Democrats like
appropriations. Baka
Rokana and
pwede
the
nyo
others
naman
whom
pong
you saw
unahin
on
na
that
lang.
press conference outside of
Pondohan
Capitol
itong
Hill
mga
who are
hiya
trying
na
to push this hoax against the President of the
obligasyon po
United
ng
States.
ating gobyerno. In light of recent events, President Marcos
The
Jr.
hoax
has
is the
launched an
Democrats pretending to
investigation
care about
on
victims
the
of crime
implementation
when
of
they
flood
do not
control
care about
projects
victims
in
of
the
crime,
past
when they
years.
have done
Sa mga
nothing
inireport ng
to solve
Pangulo,
crimes, when
malinaw
they
na
have
may
done
anomalya
nothing to
dito
lock up
malinaw
child
na may
pedophiles and child
systematic
rapists across the
na ang
country.
modus
And
dito
when they are
mula sa
now using
pag-identify
victims as
ng mga
political
proyekto hanggang
props
sa
to
pagpondo ng
try
mga
and,
ito
again,
at
smear the
pag-implementa ng
President of
mga
the United
proyekto.
States and
Mr.
drag on
President,
this bad story
sa
about
totoo
him.
lang
It is
po,
a
noon pa lang,
distraction. The Democrats view this story as nothing more than an attempt to distract from the accomplishments and the achievements of this administration.
master
And
plan
that is
at
what we mean when we
strategic
call it a hoax.
prioritization sa kanilang mga flood control projects. During the hearing, tinanong ko mismo kay Secretary Bonoan na bakit may mga flood control na
The President has one of the most
ng
famous
proyekto
signatures in the world.
wala
And
namang
has for many,
tao,
many years.
wala
You know that,
namang
Maggie, you've covered
kinokontrol
him
o
for a long
pinoprotektahang
time,
tao,
long before he
wala
assumed
namang
this office when he
kinokontrol
was a
na baha.
businessman in New
Pero
York.
doon po
The
nakalagay
President
sa
did
mga
not
liblib
write
na
that
lugar.
letter. He
That
did not
was
sign those
August of
documents. He maintains that
2023.
position, and that position will be argued in court by his lawyers.
Mr.
The President
President,
is
allow
very
me
confident
also
he
to
is going
take
win
this
case.
opportunity to clarify and answer malicious reports, no? Kasi ako po, wala pa ako sa mundong ito. Yung aking pamilya may
I
negosyo
am
na
not
po.
tracking any
And
meeting
the
with
insinuation
Mayor
that I was
Adams at this
personally
time.
involved and had
But if that happens,
benefited
I'm
in
sure
some
the New York
projects,
Post
Mr.
will be one
President,
of the first
these
people
are
to know
all
about it.
recycled and malicious
I'll take a couple
accusations
more
from
questions. Let me go to the back.
2018 pa po ito. Balik na naman ng 2021.
News Nation, all the
Papunta po
way
sa
in the
eleksyon.
back.
Ulitin ko po,
Regarding the US
for the
military,
record, wala po
growing US
ako sa
military
mundong
presence
ito.
in the Caribbean,
Meron na po negosyo ang aking
when asked
pamilya.
directly about
Pero
possible
ni
future
minsan po ni
military
Piso,
action,
hindi
President
nakinabang
Trump
ang
was
aking
clearly
pamilya
gonna
sa
find out.
pagiging taong
What could the
gobyerno
US
ko. In
public
fact,
expect
hindi
of that
po
situation moving
nakakalapit
forward? What sort of
ang aking
ongoing
mga
threat is
kamag-anak
President
kahit na nasa
I think it would
Malacanang
be
kami
very
noon.
unwise of
Di po
me
sila
to
nakakalapit. At
preview
isang
what the
naging
President
condition
meant
ko
from this
noon,
podium.
Mayor pa
But
po
I think
si
with the heart of what the
former
President was saying, I know what the
Mayor
heart of what the
Duterte,
President was saying in this
na
administration
kung lalapit
believes
po ang aking
is
kamag-anak,
that the regime in
ay ako po ang
Venezuela is
magre-resign
illegitimate. And
sa
it is
kanya.
unacceptable to this
I
President
observed
and this
delikadesa
administration
at yun
to
lang po ang
traffic
puhunan ko sa
illegal,
mundong
deadly
ito, ang
drugs
aking
into the United
pangalan.
States of
At
America.
alam nyo naman
And
po,
that's why
uso
the
po yung
President and the
name
administration
dropping.
took very strong
Yung ibang
action
mga kamag-anak
against
natin,
about and
yun pa ang
11 narco
nagpapa-VIP,
terrorists
yun pa
in
nagpapa-importante.
international waters, as you all
At
saw.
sa
I think that sends a
tinatagal-tagal
very
ko na
strong
pong
message
paninilbihan
to
sa
drug
gobyerno,
traffickers
isa lang
around
po
the
ang may
world. The President
pagmamalaki ko.
will
I
not
observe
tolerate it,
delikadesa.
and the amount of drugs on
Yan
that
po ang
boat
ginagawa namin
represents the
noon pa
lives of
hanggang
thousands
ngayon.
of
I am a
Americans that could have
senator,
been killed by that deadly
legislator.
poison, and we're
Wala
not
po
going to allow
kinalaman
that
sa
deadly poison to
implementasyon
come
ng
into
kahit
our
na anong
country.
proyekto,
The
lalong-lalo na
President
po
will be signing
sa
a proclamation in the
pag-identify
Oval
at
Office later this
na
afternoon,
makikinabang po ang
and we will
aking
see you all later.
pamilya.
Thank you.
At ngayon, I also co-authored Senate Bill number 783. Ang panukalang ito ay layong ipagbawal ang pumasok sa anumang kontrata ng gobyerno mula sa national level hanggang sa LGU level. Ang mga kamag-anak ng government officials hanggang sa 4th civil degree of consanguinity and affinity ay dapat po bawal po. Mr. President, sa laki po ng mundong pinag-usapan dito, hindi po sapat ang audit reporting sa mga ginagawang project. Hindi sapat ang explanation mula sa mga contractors sa DPWH. Dapat po ay merong managot dito at dapat po ay accountable po sila.
West exec. No, I wish I had that problem with women. Hey, what's up, Mike? Welcome back, buddy. Didn't matter.
Welcome to the Daily Show. I'm Michael Costa. We've got so much to talk about tonight, including the big developments in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, a.k.a. the longest episode of To Catch a Predator ever. So, let's get into it with our continuing coverage of the very normal and not shady handling of the Epstein files.
It's pretty boring stuff.
You might remember back in July, the Wall Street Journal released a bombshell report that Trump had given Jeffrey Epstein a creepy birthday card that suggested the two of them had a dark sexual secret. Although obviously any sexual secret is a dark sexual secret. No one's ever been like, don't tell anyone, but I like missionaries. Now, of course, Trump completely denied this card even existed, and just to be sure, they even asked the woman who compiled all of Jeffrey Epstein's birthday cards, and luckily, she had 20 years of free time.
The messages compiled by Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, currently serving a 20-year federal prison sentence for sex trafficking. In a recent interview, she told Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, the president's former lawyer, that she could not remember if Trump contributed a message to the book.
Well, that sure is lucky for Trump. You know, he sent his Deputy Attorney General to privately talk with Ghislaine Maxwell while she's in a federal prison system he controls, and she doesn't remember anything incriminating about him? Surprising. What a nice thing for her to say about the president without receiving anything in return, right?
Maxwell recently receiving a highly unusual transfer to a minimum security prison just days after her interview with the DOJ.
Come on, did you have to do the quid pro quo that fast? You could have at least waited a week before you sent her to the prison with the fence you can just slide under. Look at this sign. What the kind of prison has a sign like that? Is this prison run by Texas Roadhouse? This looks like the sign for a church where the pastor plays an electric guitar. Also, Camp Brian? I think my parents took me there for vacation once when I was 8. That's the prison with the big water slide, right? I'm joking. It looks nice, but that place is brutal. Room service stops at 10 p.m. So there you have it. The media says there's a letter. Trump people say there's not. So I guess we'll never know who's telling the truth.
Breaking news. For the first time, we are seeing an image of a letter signed by Donald Trump for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday.
Okay, so we know who's telling the truth. But this says huge. Epstein's estate finally released the actual birthday card, and it's as creepy as you'd expect.
The drawing shows the outline of a woman's torso, breasts, and hips with a message that reads, in part, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey, and later, enigmas never age. Before the closing words, happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret.
The future president's signature is a squiggly Donald
Senate number
below her
760,
waist,
amending RA
mimicking
11337, the Innovative Startup Act, by expanding the definition of startups, strengthening interagency coordination, establishing a startup program secretariat, providing additional measures to promote innovation-driven enterprises.
I think Donald Trump might have a wonderful future as an artist. Look, now obviously that's a crappy drawing, but as a student of history, one thing I've learned is when a certain type of person dreams of being a great artist, we should encourage that instead.
The Magna Carta for micro, small, and medium enterprises, Trade, commerce, entrepreneurship, economic affairs, and commerce. Senate number 762, establishing a program to formalize micro, small enterprises to simplify registration, transitional support, and access to government assistance.
Enigmas never age. There's a wonderful secret. Although to be fair, it could be totally innocent. We have certain things in common. Could mean anything. What are the things that we know about Epstein? He was a human trafficker. He was a pedophile. It could be any of those things.
And providing incentives to anchor firms.
And I see why Trump people denied that this card even existed. But now that we've all seen it, there's nothing left for them to do except continue to deny.
The White House this morning flatly denied the president drew or signed the message.
The president did not write this letter. He did not sign this letter.
from what I see, it's not a signature. I've seen Donald Trump sign a million things.
Ordaining the promotion of
Look like
social
his signature to
enterprises to alleviate poverty, establishing for the purpose of poverty reduction through social entrepreneurship program, and providing support benefits and
I'll give Eric Trump a pass. He has no way of knowing what a birthday card from his father would look like.
766, institutionalizing sustainable livelihood program of the Department of
But
Social
they're saying it's not Trump's signature. If only we had 1 to, I don't know, 1 million examples of his signature that we could compare it
Article
to.
99
The far
of
left
Act
is
number
the birthday
3815, the revised penal code,
The
and for
one in the
other
middle
purposes set forth
is a
Rule
Trump
4E.
signature from a 1999 letter
768,
to
penalizing
Larry
the generation
King.
and the
And on the
dissemination
right
of fake news,
is
amending
from a
Art
signed
The Committees
letter
on
to
Sports and
Rudy
Finance.
Giuliani in 2001.
714,
Or these from 1984 in a letter to the New York Times, 1995 to a Palm Beach official, 2014 in a note to Keith Olbermann.
There's even an inscription in a Trump book that Epstein owned from 1997.
You'll see all the basic shapes are
Committees on
exactly
Agriculture,
the
Food
same.
and Agrarian Reform, Government
Yes,
Corporations,
I
and Public
see. So
Enterprises, and
if you look at the angle of the downward arc on the capital D, you can see that you don't have to do any of this shit. It's his signature. Wow, it's his signature.
716, creating an agricultural pension
It's here.
program to provide social security and pension benefits to farmers and teachers.
It is funny how they're fact-checking one piece of evidence with another pieces of evidence. Like, these guys are like, if you look closely, Trump's signature on a birthday card to his pedophile best friend matches his signature on a note he wrote to his pedophile best friend. So we have his signature on this letter. It matches the signature on all of these other letters. Can you please just admit he signed the letter? Please,
to the
just
Committees
admit
on
it.
Social
Do what's
Justice,
right.
Welfare and
I'm
Rural
begging
Development,
you.
Labor, Employment,
About
and
the
Human
Epstein
Resource
case,
Development,
would the
and
White
Finance.
House report a professional, handwriting expert review of the document released yesterday to prove that it's not the president's signature?
Sure, we would support that. And in fact, I have already seen many forensic analysts of signatures coming out. I believe it was the Daily Signal that published a piece with 3 separate signature analysts who said that this absolutely was not the president's authentic signature.
Yes, no. Yes, I think we have a photo of the signature analyst who said this wasn't Donald Trump's.
Education and the junior and senior high school curriculum center
To the Committees on
It's
Basic
a credible
Education,
source.
Electoral Reforms, and People's
It's a credible source.
723, an act integrating education on the 1987 Constitution.
This is actually embarrassing for you guys. Just denying it at this point is not enough. Does anyone in the GOP want to help Trump out here? Congressman Burchett?
I mean, anybody can do a signature. We've seen the auto pen's been used quite a bit with the Biden administration.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Go from the signature to the auto pen to Joe Biden. But I bet you can get there quicker, though. Sure, these girls were underage, but you know who was overage? Joe Biden. Boom, did it.
726, creating a system of partnership between
So they can't come up with a credible excuse. But the truth is, Trump can probably still wiggle out of this thing as long as new information stops coming out.
The second entry in the Epstein birthday book released yesterday appears to mention Donald Trump as well. The page was reportedly compiled by a member at Mar-a-Lago who included a photo of Epstein and others holding up a giant fake check purportedly from Trump to Epstein for $22,500. The attached letter jokes that the check was payment for a deal in which Epstein sold Trump a, quote, fully depreciated woman in 2003.
Government organization and professional regulation.
Wow. I am shocked and frankly disgusted that Joe Biden's auto pen did this also. That is. But this is why.
To the Committees on Health and Democracy, Local Government, and Finance.
This is why.
730, creating the Department of
Trump was such a notorious creep that other people were mentioning it in their birthday cards. I've never gotten a birthday card that was like, "Happy birthday, Michael." Remember our high school gym coach who always let the girls have lunch in his office? That was crazy. Anyways, here's to the 40 more years, pal. Look, I'm not going to pretend that I completely understand whatever this gross inside joke is supposed to mean. All I know is it's very disrespectful to refer to someone as a fully depreciated woman. The correct term is a refurbished woman Pro Max 13. But this whole Epstein birthday book has made me realize 2 things. One, this convicted sex predator got way nicer birthday cards than I've ever received in my entire life. I'm not a fan of the content, but you can't deny his friends put some real effort into it. On the way to my birthday dinner, my wife makes me stop at Walgreens so she can buy me a card. Sometimes it's not even a birthday card. Oh, thank you. I will have a great first communion. The second thing I realized is Trump is playing this thing all wrong. If he just admits that he wrote this card, everyone could move on. And then he could do one of his favorite things of all time, find a way to make some money out of it.
You've seen stories about Donald Trump's perfect birthday card to Jeffrey Epstein. And thanks to the new Trump greeting card collection, you can send an equally perfect card for all of life's milestones. Congratulate the graduate in your life with the message, your future is bright, unlike our dark and hideous past. Complete with a woman's body with pubic hair. And get ready for Mother's Day with a card that tells her, here's to a mom who did it all, including things that God can never know. And don't forget the pubic hair. And for the somber moments, we have comforting messages like, I'm so sorry for the death of your pedophile father. And for added respect, these cards have twice the pubic hair. So no matter the occasion, pick a card from the Trump collection and make America great again. Donald Trump denies the existence of these cards. He's suing you for $10 billion.
To the Committees on Health and Demography, Civil Service, Government Organization, and Professional Regulation, and Finance.
739, mandating the provision of comprehensive renal replacement therapy for patients with end-stage renal disease in the national, regional, and provincial government hospitals, increasing the PhilHealth package rate for members and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Health and Demography, and Finance.
Men,
740, modernizing the regulation of health facilities and
it's an
services
indication
and
that something
appropriating
is
funds
wrong
therefore.
with
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like
the
your
hospital
pH.
Just me. Every woman that I
Demography, and
know
Finance.
who has slept with more than 20 men, it's almost impossible to be in a relationship with them without drama every day.
To the Committees
And
on
I think
Tourism
it's
and
like
Finance.
that because what she has seen out there with 20 plus guys, it's hard for her to overcome and settle for the one that you might try to settle with. Because you've seen a lot. Just imagine 20 different guys humping. That's
You ever seen Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Ghostbuster trap when all the
I'm missing the point.
That's what a pussy is. It's a Ghostbuster trap. It'll be all them.
the trap got open and they came out.
That's what it is.
To the Committees on Trade,
That's what I
Commerce, and
think. I
Enterprise,
think
Public
that
Order,
the fact
Dangers,
that I have been with over 1 million women makes it very difficult for me to be what I need to be for the queen. But I will say this. I am not one who goes out and dogs people out. I am one, if you
healthcare system appropriating funds, repealing RA 9173, the Philippine Nursing Act of 2000 for other purposes that are marked.
To the Committees on Civil Service, Government Organization and Professional Regulation, Health and Demography, and Finance.
748, and creating a
when
sustainable
you take a
framework for the
bitch from
pension system of
absolutely
the
nothing to
appropriating
Olive
funds
Garden
for other
and
purposes
say,
that are marked.
get another
To the
drink. They be
Committees
like,
on National Defense and
hey,
Security,
get that
Peace,
drink,
Unification,
girl.
and Reconciliation,
So I know that
Government
I'm treating them
Corporations and
good
Public
because they come
Enterprises,
from
Ways and Means and
the
Finance.
bottom of the game.
749, establishing the Citizen Service
the
Program,
end goal,
amending
though?
RA
Like, as far as
9163, the
your
National
queen.
Service
Are you
Training
trying to get
Program
married
Act of
again?
2001 and for other
Marriage,
purposes
I
that
would
are
never
marked.
stand
To the Committee on
before
Basic Education, National Defense, Security,
Okay, so then that makes sense.
fucking
You-
place and say,
You don't have
I
no.
do according to the procedure that is out here now, because one thing you have to understand, and by y'all being engaged, I ain't never trying to cock block. Just notice, the paperwork you fill out
Thank you,
to get a
Mr.
marriage
President. Mr.
license
President, at this
gives
juncture,
the government
distinguished
control over your
gentleman from
family.
the great
Just remember
province
that.
of Cavite,
So,
Senator
if you
Panfilo
want to have a
Lacson is seeking
ceremony
the
where
floor
some
to
preacher
deliver
that you
his
choose
privileged speech.
marries
I
you
move
and you
that he be
guys sit
recognized,
down
Mr. President.
and come up with a plan
The
on what you
gentleman
want to
from
do
Comedic,
for
the
each other,
Honorable
because
Panfilo Lacson
if you
is
love
recognized
somebody
to
and they
deliver
your queen,
his
if something
privileged
happened to you,
speech.
which is
You may
something that
proceed, sir.
can, it's not like we live, you're not going to live forever. If something happened to me, I want her to be able to go with this. You can come up with that paperwork and it's more solid than a marriage license. I don't know if a lot of
Talking
people
about
know
a
that.
valid like a contract. 'Cause we
Yeah, it's
talked
a
about
contract.
really that's marriage is a business.
Distinguished colleagues.
A business of the government, because once they decided to interact into marriage, back in the day, man, woman, God, that's what marriage was about. But now you fill out paperwork, and that paperwork is the devil. Because it's just like when you buy a house. I don't give a fuck if you pay off the house.
Yeah.
Every year, them people like, hey, we still need this.
That's the biggest scam.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't never own this shit. That's how they want with your marriage. You don't never own it.
That's true. Now they have so many different legal binding contracts that you can actually tweak to you know, like those cohabitation.
Because really you just want to be able to get the insurance. Or if somebody gets sick, you know, you want to be able to.
President Bongbong Marcos himself has taken
if somebody passes,
other things like powers of attorney.
it goes to, you know,
powers of attorney.
You can have all that written out where y'all are solid. I'm talking about it's better than the other way, if you ask me, because the other way, if y'all decide to not be married, not y'all, I'm saying anybody, people can get destroyed. Because I tell you what, I'm destroyed. God damn it, when I got divorced, it ain't financially, is I got married and I'm not married no more, and that shit kind of fuck with me.
You got married young.
I didn't get married young, I got married at 30. So me being one of the statistics out here, it makes me feel like, God damn.
But in my case,
I failed.
including that of my
Can you truly get the ultimate respect as a man if you don't have a queen? Do you feel like that?
For one, the
Man,
coordinates
Even men that you know
the
now,
website provides
they older, they
showed
not
us
married.
a
Can you
faster
really
way
ultimately like
to find
respect
shady,
them fully?
even
Man,
those
I'll look any woman in the
projects.
eye and I'll tell
Last
her,
week,
if that
the
motherfucker
president
fuck with
took
you for
aim.
real, he's going to
Today,
show you.
I am pulling the
He's
trigger.
going to show you.
Para
he
sa
fuck
ating
with
mga
you for real.
kababayan,
It ain't even
nakatutok
gotta
ang
be
aking
said.
presentasyon
When
sa
a
araw
man wants somebody,
flood control
he
project
is gonna
lamang.
show you
Hindi pa
he
rin
wants you.
kasama
Now, you still might get criticized
ibang-
because sometimes with the
iba pang
ladies,
mga
they be like,
infrastructure
well, you should have did
projects
this, you should have did
na
that.
punong-puno
But,
ng anomalya.
shut up. Bitch,
Isa-isa
you know I fuck with you.
impormasyong aming
You
nakalap
know
sa
I
mga
fuck
nakalipas
with
na
you.
linggo
I stand
mula sa aming
beside
sariling
you
pag-aaral
in front of the
at
world.
pagsasaliksik.
That is one of the
Nasuportado
greatest
ng mga
badges of
impormasyon
honor
mula
a
mismo
woman can have if
sa
a
mga
nigga is
DPWH
standing next to
officials
her,
at insiders.
or let me say, if
Pati
a man
ilang
is standing next to
contractors,
you
kasama na rin
in the
ang
world
open
like,
sources.
this is my lady.
Una,
What could be greater
ang
than that?
kalakaran ng ilang mga
What could be greater than
kontratista at
that?
mga kasabwat
And it's
nila
my
sa gobyerno.
opinion that men don't like to lead a lady. I don't care what's happening. If this is really your woman, men don't be walking away from their woman. I think women walk away from their man. I don't see men saying, you know what, I'm gone. Man, he sacrificed, he be with you, he show you who you are.
Pangatlo,
I don't know. I just don't think it'd be enough for a lot of women. But in this new day and time we in now, I think a lot of women are going to start bowing their head and hoping they can get a spot on the squad because it really ain't nothing out there. It ain't nothing out there for you. Say it, D. What's the part?
At ang pinakahuli, ang mga tinatawag ng Pangulo na guni-guni o ghost projects na aming nahukay.
So, Darlene,
For over
do you think you've
15
ever
years,
been in a relationship
from
where the guy
2011 to
only legit?
2025.
That's what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? She started out with the word least. That's why I cut her off.
I'm being honest too. At least it felt like it. You didn't make it seem like
That's
it.
the greatest answer in the world. How you feel was everything.
Mula 2023 hanggang 2025.
What do you
Higit 1
suggest
trillion
other than
pesos
marriage then?
ang ating inilaan sa
I'm
ilalim
saying,
ng
like,
tatlong
I'ma
naipasang
tell you
budget
something, man.
measures.
A marriage to me is not going down to the county buildings and
ng
filling
kabuuang
out
pondo
paperwork.
sa loob
A
ng
marriage,
15
if this is
taon.
really your girl, you can
When we are speaking
go
in trillions of
and
pesos,
get rings.
we should expect our
you can
streets
propose
and
to each
low-lying
other,
communities
but you really
to be
need to
flood-free
fill out
when the rains
your
fall.
contract.
Gayunpaman,
If that's what you want to do,
sa paghagupit
look, baby, I love
ng
you enough to
magkakasunod
make
na
sure
habagat at
if
mga
something happened to
bagyong
me,
Krising,
I'm
Dante,
willing to do this
at
for
Emo.
you, or if something happened
Ilang
to you,
linggo pa
you're
lamang
willing
ang
to do this for
nakalipas.
me. But I will
Kasamang
tell a
winasak
woman,
at
if you
inalod ng
leave
baha
me
ang
before I
bilyon-bilyong
die,
pisong halaga
I will
ng
make
mga
sure
flood control
everything you
projects na
came
halos
with
bago
is put in a
at
box.
kapukumpleto pa lamang
And
na
that's
dapat
what you
sana
leave with.
ay
That's
nagbigay
part of marrying
proteksyon
me.
sa
And
ating
if
mga
that's wrong, then
kabahayan
I guess I
at
wouldn't be
komunidad.
married.
Corruption
Yeah,
has
that
been
marriage
so
don't have a lot of benefit
pervasive
for the
and
man.
systemic
You
that
know,
doing
What's
so
wrong with
is
that?
like a
If
piece
you
of
leave
cake.
me, if I don't cut the
And when I
mustard
say
after you
piece of
told
cake,
me
I
I'm
mean
all
that
this
funds
and you love me,
for a specific
I want
project are
everything you come
divided.
with put in a
Shares
box.
vary
And as you
depending
leave it,
on
I
greed.
get to play Orange
Big
Juice
parts
Jones on
swallowed by
loudspeaker.
corrupt operators, both from the public and private sector,
Walking in the
leaving only
rain.
crumbs for actual
Would you
project
suggest that
implementation.
our daughters
Mailan pa ngang
give
proyekto,
babies without
hindi man
commitment,
lang nagtira
like marriage commitment?
para sa taong
If your
bayan.
daughters ain't brought
Ang
up
tawag
right,
ng
they
Pangulong
gonna
Marcos
belong to the
dito,
gang.
guni-guni
And once they're
o
a certain
ghost
age,
projects.
ain't nothing you can tell them.
Mr. President,
Ain't
let
nothing
me
you can
illustrate
tell 'em.
an example of the pie
Some
sharing
daughters really love
in a
their daddy,
severely
but
corrupted
I'm
project.
telling you, street dick is
Nais kong
motherfucker
bigyan
because
din
all these girls
representasyon
out
ng
here
lahat
on
ng
the internet,
kalakaran
especially
sa
on
flood
Kendra
control project
G's
sa buong
show,
Pilipinas.
have prerequisites
the
of what
pillaging
they say you
pattern
got to
is
have.
relatively
But
the same.
here's the truth, how
The
you know they
pie
lying.
sharing
Because it
varies
ain't 10% of
depending
men in
on
America
the
even
level
got that.
of
And
greed.
they fucking.
Ihiwalay muna
So
natin
you
ang mga
just
regular
say
o
this is the
legal na buwis
prerequisite,
at
but the
insurances
truth is,
na
homie
automatic
with the
na
backpack
binabawas
and the
sa mga
PlayStation in it
proyekto.
is fucking most of these
5%
bitches out here.
value-added tax, 2%
I'm just telling the
withholding
truth.
They're
tax,
saying what they
Who
want.
else they
1%
fucking?
para sa
Yeah.
bonds and
Who
insurances,
else did they fucking?
at
You ain't got
1%
no over
materials
$100,000
testing.
a year man
Ibawas na
coming
rin
in
natin
and out your
ang
crib.
allowable
I tell you
contractor's
they
profit
fucking Mexicans.
na 8 to
stupid.
11%.
I'm just telling you, black women is Mexicans out here.
Piso na
There's,
About a boatload.
there are women from third world countries that do all the shit y'all used to do in the 90s. And all that getting advice from another loser chick that can't keep a nigga. I'm telling you right now, these bitches that need papers, that don't know good English, they are on y'all asses.
I don't know enough about
at
this.
iba-iba
But
pang
see,
terminong
what's happening in
binubuo
this
para sa
world,
shares
in
ng
other
mga
countries,
korap.
women are starting to be
Sa mga
looked
halos
at
magkakaparehong
as
impormasyon
villains.
na aming nakalap,
In
ganito
China,
kagarapal ang sistema
I'm not
sa
sure
hatian
about this, but I've been
ng
hearing
isang
these stories.
maanumalyang
A lot of
proyekto.
men are walking
8 to
out
10%
of restaurants
para sa
while
mga
out
opisyal
with
ng
bitches.
DPWH.
Hey, I understand.
Leaving
Swerte na
her
daw
with bill.
kung
And a
pumayag
lot of
ang
these
district
bitches do not
engineer
have the
na
money to
6%
pay the
lamang
bill,
ang
so they
partiya.
have to do
May extra 2 to 3% pa.
to
Parte
swear.
ang district engineering office.
This is what
Kung
I don't know
sa
all this to
contractor's
be
profit.
true.
You said in the other
Nakompute na rin
countries?
kasi ng
Other
district engineering
countries,
office
everybody
ang
is starting to
tutukuin
look at
ng
women as
contractor
villains
mula sa project
around the
at
world
sinisiguro na
because
nila
of the way
na sosobra ito
the wicked
sa
people on
allowable
top wanted
profit
us to
para
look
mayroon pa
at
silang
women by
popobrahin.
empowering
Ang
you
tawag nila
against the
rito,
men. Can you understand
reseta.
what I'm saying? It's a lot of
Reseta
women
dahil
who
ang
were able
presyo
to take
na itinakda
men
ng
to court,
district
who were
engineering
able to
office
allow men.
ay
He jumped on
nakasulat
me,
at
and a lot of people got
napagdesisyonan
in
na.
trouble.
Parang
So
gamot,
now,
Mr. President.
it's starting to be,
Lulunukin na lang
people
ng
are waking
kontrakto.
up like, wow, bitches are really a
5
liability to
to
be
6%
around. So
para sa mga
I'm
miyembro ng
saying
Digital Awards
a lot of
Committee or
women out there need to
0.5 to
understand
1%
when
para
you're
sa COA.
out with somebody
Mr.
like
President,
me, everything
meron
you
pa ngayon
saying, I ain't
tinatawag na
missing
passing
nothing.
through
Every
or
move you
parking
make, every
fee
little, especially when I
na
see a
aabot
girl
sa
do
katumbas
this.
na 5 to 6% ng pondo. Ito ang tinuturing na royalty, ang
The
tawag
little
sa
frustration
lagay na
side or
binibigay
whatever,
sa
especially when it
politikong
ain't
may
about
kontrol
nothing.
sa
I'm
distrito
watching you.
kung
I'm
saan
examining you.
iimplementa
I'm
o itatayo
determining how
ang
much I'm
proyekto.
going to give you in the
Lo
range of
and behold,
70 to
Mr.
200
President,
at the end of the night.
20 to
This is what I
25%
do.
ang
And you're going to
karaniwang
take the
napupunta
200, even though
sa
it's not
funder
enough. This girl was like,
o
what am I supposed to do with
project
200?
proponent.
I'm like, what are you going to do without it?
Mr. President,
I
ang
told her,
matitirang
if you don't want the
pondo
200,
para sa
get the 200 back.
ng proyekto ay
So only the breadwinner
napakaswerte
can cause
ng
conflict?
umabot sa
The who?
40%
The breadwinner.
o 40
So
million
like if
pesos alisunod
the women
sa
you
ating
deal with, can they
halimbawang
start conflict too?
I get the
100
fuck away
million
from you.
piso pondo.
If you cause
para sa
conflict
proyekto.
and you
I'm
ain't
just trying to
got
see
Mr.
if it's a
President,
two-way
nothing but a
street.
There is an
vagina
evident
that
pattern
kids that
of this
came
nasty
through
distribution of
and
public
men that
funds
been through,
among crooks.
how can you cause
Ito ay
conflict with
base
me?
sa
My
mga
life
case
is
studies
peace.
na aming
I'm
pinuntahan
offering you
at mususing
200. You
inimbestigahan
can't show me
sa
somebody who
iba't
gave you
ibang
200 this
dako
week.
ng bansa.
I'm talking about the women I
Partikular
deal with.
sa serbisyo ng flood
You
control.
got no $200.
Hindi na namin sinama sa aking
No
presentasyon
$200.
ang mga
Are you
naikutan
serious?
at
I took
ibinunyag
you to
na
the
ng
Mexican
Pangulo.
store and bought you a
Ang
bed.
malinaw na malinaw.
Them beds
Halos
at the Mexican store
pare-pareho
be kinda
ang
comfortable.
pattern
Them
kung
futon.
paano
They be
minamasakir
having the
ng mga
good ones. Bitch, you got a
kawatan
couch
ang
and a
pondo
bed fucking with
ng
me. What
bayan.
you talking about?
Nauna na po itong inuulat ng ating Pangulo
Did
noong
you say
nakarang
that
linggo.
sleeping with a lot of
Nang
women like
banggitin niya
messed you up?
ang mga items
messed me
na
up.
pare-pareho ang
Yeah,
contract
first one
cost
to look in the
sa kabila
camera
ng
straight in the
pagkakaiba-iba ng
I
specs,
wish I had better.
disenyo at haba ng
I
proyekto.
wish I did.
Panoorin po
But it
natin
ain't no
ang
greater
video.
feeling than fucking a
Pag
bitch who
sinabi,
thinks she getting over on
may
you.
50
That is
project,
the greatest
pare-pareho,
feeling in the
150
world,
million lahat.
especially when the conflict comes.
Pare-pareho lahat. Imposible
When they
yan.
cussing you
It is
out
impossible
after they just
for
talked
one
about the other
barangay,
bitch
even
to
if
cuss
they are
you
the
out.
next barangay, to
Then they
have
turn
the
around and do the
exact
same thing.
same
Fuck you.
project to the exact same amount with the exact same contractor. Imposible yan.
Sa parlance po na ang kakalabasan ay ang mga
It's my world.
sa pondo. Ito po ang tinatawag na
The best of the women don't cuss you out. You know what they do?
Distinct
They
ang
get
mga
the
budget
fuck away from
items
you.
na
Now
makikita
they
sa
destroy
General
me.
Appropriations
Them women that
Act
really
at
stop
awarded
fucking with me and
contracts
cut me
na
off,
may
I lose my
pare-parehong
mind. I'll be like,
para
that
sa
bitch got me.
magkakapit man o magkakalayo.
She wouldn't put up with my
Did what she was
shit.
supposed to do.
Ayon sa aming
I can't
mga
even
sa
sleep.
loob ng
It takes me months
at
to get over
kumpirma
a
ng
bitch to
ilang
do me like I'm
contractors
supposed to be done,
coded
but it ain't many bitches out there like
para
that.
mayroong
It ain't many women out there like that. They keep coming back.
quote-unquote may-ari ng proyekto.
So the
Para sa
women,
mga
the women do the conflict
nakakaunawa,
thing, like you
ang
said, though,
ibig
they,
sabihin
I feel
po
like they
ay
instill it
akin yan.
in the talking stage.
Sa Bulacan First Engineering
but men don't
District
necessarily
na
stop messing
pinamumunuan
with
na
them. Like you said,
magkasunod
you
na
leave her
tinanggal
alone.
sa pwesto
Men just put it
na
in a
sina
different
dating
category.
District
Oh, man,
Engineer
you know you gonna get
Henry
this.
Alcantara at ang
They
I
pumalit sa
should
kanya
leave them alone,
si
but
Bryce
They should too,
Hernandez.
but
They don't take heed to the
Y'all
rest.
should
of
leave
it.
each other
Compartmentalize.
alone.
Say, I'm still
Some people
stab,
like that.
I'm still have
it's my
sex with
vice.
her.
Sapagkat ayon
It's my
sa mga
vice. Look, who
contractors
can stand
at
up here and talk about their real vice?
DPWH
I mean,
officials
like, everybody
na
up here got
nakipag-usap
vices.
mismo sa
People
akin
don't
at
want to
aking
talk about it, but I'm telling you, the
dalawang
most
ito
liberating thing I
ay
did
halos
was
pareho
when
lang
I
ang
told my
pagmamahal
wife
sa
the
pera.
truth of who I was. I
Napabalita
was
pa
so
nga kamakailan
happy
na
that
ang
I
isa sa
got
kanila
that weight off
ay
my chest.
nakakapagpatalo
It
ng
wasn't
100
easy
milyon sa isang
really
casino
admitting who
dito
you are,
sa Metro
but
Manila.
that's somebody who I
Mr.
loved and
President,
cared about. I used to
Sa
lie to.
District Engineering Office
And
na
I
ito,
told her
sa
everything.
ilalim ng pamumuno ng
I would
dalawang nabanggit
suggest
na
people
opisyal,
who want to live
para sa
free
taong
as I do
2024, 28 proyekto
courage to
ang
really say who
pare-pareho
you
ang
are,
pondo
'cause I already
kahit
know you're a
magkakaiba
piece of
ang
shit.
specs, disenyo at haba.
Really?
Distinct.
Do you want to tell the
Babalikan
choir
po natin, Mr. President, mamaya ang lalawigan
some things that can
ng
make you feel better
aming
and liberate
ituturing
yourself?
na pinaka-notorious pagdating sa anomalya
Craig,
ng flood
do you
control
got
projects
dirt?
base
You want to
sa
tell?
aming
How many people in the
mga
chat?
findings. Unahin muna natin ang
It's
kaso
at
ng
least
questionable flood control
9,000,
project
close to
sa
10,000
lalawigan
people
ng
gonna hear you.
Pampanga.
Do you got some dirt?
4 years
You
now,
want to confess right
the
now
Riverbank
and
Mitigation
save your
Project
soul,
in
my
Cagayan,
brother.
Arayat, has been
And one
the
time I
case
was
of a
smashing
failed
this chick and
flood control
the homie
project.
was lying about
Tuwing
smashing
umuulan,
her. So I had her
panay
at
ang
the
aray
studio
ng mga
and I invited him
taga-Arayat
to.
sa pagsabog
Amen.
na hindi mapigilan
You know he was
ng
coming.
pagod.
Amen,
Yeah.
brother.
Mr. President,
That nigga walked in and
binisita
said, "Oh, I'll be
ng
right
aking
back. I
staff
gotta go." I said,
ang
"Oh,
Arayat
so you know
itong
what?"
nakaraang
Amen,
dalawang
brother. Did
buwan
that make you feel
na
good to get the
tinamaan
truth?
din ng hagupit ni Emma.
Brother Dion,
Dulot na
in
naman
front of your beautiful queen,
ilang
is it something you want to unleash that you've been holding inside where you can look your woman in the eye and say, baby, I told you what you need to know. Is it something you want to say on the 50, 150 show, brother?
No, it ain't nothing this nigga want to say on the 5150.
Stop speaking for him, sister. You are already setting a bad example. Go ahead, brother Dion.
All right,
Let
so
God
you know
work
what?
through you.
I'll say something though. But it's actually to what we spoke
A
to
review
earlier.
of the budget
I feel
books
like
shows
the
that
people
we
that we've
started
been with in our
funding
past, even as
construction,
men, it affects
rehabilitation
how
of
we
slope
move
protection
today.
along
You
Pampanga
know what I'm
River.
saying? So
Yes.
it's a lot of mental
Arayat,
pictures that go
Pampanga,
on in your
way
head
back
when you're dealing
in
with somebody.
2018.
And
Let
me
me
and
give
Niche,
a rundown.
we call it
In
engaged at an
2018,
old age.
we already
So
spent
we got
20
engaged
million
at an old
pesos
age,
on a
which means we ain't
project
got to worry about a lot
for
of young people
the
stuff, right?
construction,
But I do got to worry about
rehabilitation
everything
of
that I
slope
did in
protection
my
along
past. You know
Pampanga
what I'm
River,
saying? All of the
Gandating
different
section,
people
Arayat.
and
Kalaunan,
relationships and all of that.
nasira.
And it can get heavy
Since then,
sometimes.
it has
It
become
can get
a
heavy,
cycle.
but I tell you what,
Mr. President,
all that
we
heaviness
use the
goes
people's
away
tax
if
money
you
to
put it
repair
out
it
there.
in
First of all, you put it out
2023.
there because you
For a
hear here with
contract
your
price of
fiance. You putting it out there.
91.6 million
Can't no
pesos.
bitch act like she don't know.
It
Hey,
was
bitch, you ain't on
prepared
shit
again
watching this show right
by
now.
another year's
What I'm trying to
tax
say to
money
you is this,
in
brother. All them
2024.
women from the
This
past, I
time,
tell women
not once,
that I
but
have
twice.
been with
91.8 million
and
for phase
currently
one
with
and
what's happening in my
91.4
world.
million for
God damn it,
phase
you
two.
have a slot.
Take note,
And if you
20
don't
million
accept
pesos lang
this
ito
slot,
sa una
You
at
are
original
fucking up the
construction.
chemistry of the
If the
squad.
original construction cost was only 20
You
million
must
pesos
not
in 2018,
destroy everybody else
why
because of how
did
you
the
feel.
repair cost
The
balloon
team is counting
to
on you to do
350%
what you
from
do.
91 million in 2023
Oh, 'cause the team know about
and
each other.
another
I got a bitch who know how to fix
183
cars.
million pesos
She
in
ain't cute or nothing,
2024,
but she just as
or an
important as the
overall
bad bitch
increase
because
of
this bitch keep the car running.
815%. Aba,
Are you
at nabili
serious?
na ang funder
I tell her, I
ng
don't
Edmary
care if you
Construction
look like you
na
look.
siyang
You
palaging
are
nananalong
important. If it wasn't
contractor
for
sa
you,
Candating,
I'd be at a
Arayat,
mechanic
Pampanga
shop with somebody I
noong
don't trust. I
2023
trust you.
at 2024.
This is what I'm
Naglagay
trying
pa
to
ulit
say.
ng 100 million
Sister
pesos
Niche!
sa taon. Buti na
I
lang.
ain't got nothing to say on the
Pinigil ng
5150.
I ain't got to finish
ang pag-release ng pondo. Distinct then, but in a very
but-
I ain't even got to finish the question.
As I mentioned earlier,
Nisha Darlene ain't
nigga.
saying
No.
shit.
to the
Fuck,
same
hell no.
mighty contractor, Edmary
No, ain't no point.
In total, Edmary
You won't
bagged
raise your energy, G, and we
274.8
won't
billion
judge you,
pesos in
goddammit.
taxpayers' money
Look at
for
your
the
top of your
rehabilitation, repair,
forehead
and
and see
repair
you've been
of
through some
Candating na tila
And it don't
hindi
stop nothing.
nagsasawa
You still
sa
special
pare-repair.
to me and all the
Hindi lang po
fans
yan
of
ang
the
issue ng Edmary.
5150. D, all that
How
shit
can
you
this
was able to do
contractor,
when you was young,
with an
and
unusual
the little
share of
shit you able to
controversy,
do it now
including
at your age
being
now.
delisted
Right, so why would I choose
as
drum?
It ain't nothing weighing on my
PHSU
heart.
builder in 2023.
Cause y'all
Be
women,
trusted
ain't nothing weighing on
to
y'all
build
heart.
its own
We
heartless
men,
collaborative
goddammit, we
project,
be like, God
which has
damn it, I
evidently
can't.
come with great cost
gotta say it.
and loss to the government.
Y'all women, goddammit,
Paulit-ulit
do
ang
this.
pag-repair, ngunit ganito pa rin
Oh my
ang
God.
kalagayan sa Candating Arayat. Arayat.
200 is ridiculed, 200 is
Mr. President,
put down, but
magtungo naman
200
tayo
is
sa
needed.
Hilagang Luzon,
And motherfuckers be
partikular sa
acting like it
probinsya ng
ain't.
La Union,
But
kung
we
saan
already
matatagpuan
know all
ang
them
Bawang
government
River
jobs
Basin,
when you ladies
na
was
kung
able
saan
to pay off that
matindi
car
ang
note and that little
congressional
house.
insertions. Sa
It's
tulong
about
ng mga
to be
concerned
over.
groups and
Men like
individuals,
me will be in
napansin
high
namin ang bilang ng
demand,
flood control
and you
projects
will
na bagamat
stay
wala
in
sa
your
National
place
Expenditure
and honor
Program
me.
noong 2024 ay biglang tumubong parang
Won't be out there in
kabote
the street.
sa General Appropriations Act
I
ng
know you won't be out
nakaraang
there in the
taon.
street.
Halimbawa,
You gotta be able to have
ang
internet to cut
construction
on.
of
Do
flood
this
control
in front of your
structure along Bawang River Basin. Dalawang items lamang na may tig 50 million pesos
weird when I
ang
did
nakakasal.
He almost did it again.
Samantalang,
But no,
ang
that-
bayan ng
What's
Bawang
that tongue stick
ay
out
wala
shit,
pong
Vic? Can you do it?
proyekto
I could,
sa
but
National
Some girls got
Expenditure
amazing
Program.
tongues. I'll be like, how the fuck did she do
Abracadabra.
that? A tongue is so
Sa
long.
naipasang 2024 General
What?
Appropriations
Some girls who
Story.
tongue
We
is
did the
nagkaroon
story
ng
about the girl who
10
won
items
she's in the Guinness
na
Book of World
nahahati
Records.
mula
And a
package
tongue,
1
Wow, how
hanggang
long was
package
it? There's
10
something
Flip it up
crazy.
like a
na may
umbrella.
tig
Some girls with some, they
98
tongue not only
million
long,
pesos
Yeah, that
ang
story.
biglang
it's
umusbong
skinny. You be like,
para
why is
sa
your
Nagilian.
tongue so skinny
Sa
and long? How
kabuuan,
did you do that?
ang
You
10
fucking
packages na
demon
ito
bitch, I love you.
umabot
Well,
sa
well, he doesn't do it often, but when you stick your tongue out,
964
you can just
million
let it lay. It's
pesos.
almost like, you know,
Halos 1 bilyong piso
something else that just when you
kumpara
let it
sa
limp,
dalawang
lay
tig
limp,
50
it's
million
wide.
lamang
But then when you
sa
point it with the
2024
muscles, it goes
NEP.
Do girls need
Sa Bawang naman, 7 packages ang
Lesbians.
lumitaw
Well, it's okay.
na may magkakaparehong
It's okay if they
halaga.
got long tongues.
89
Just
million
it's what you
pesos.
do with your tongue that
Sa
counts.
It's like a
kabuuan,
muscle. It grows.
I got a
and
bitch
it's
with a
stronger.
short,
If
dry
you do.
tongue, but she know how to work that one. With
Mula
short, dry,
zero.
little armadillo built bitch.
Zero budget sa NEP.
Bitch, you just jogged in from Arizona, didn't you?
Sa
Bitch?
aming masinsing pagkalkal.
There she
What is
goes.
that?
That's the winner.
Oh,
Who is
yeah,
that?
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
you see how it's skinny?
That looks
ng
fake.
lahat
She's
ng
flexing that
packages
muscle
na
on it,
ito.
but if she just ripped
Ang
it
Silver
out,
Awards
No, that
This bitch
motherfucker
got a
long.
dog in her body.
But what do
Distinct
we
pa rin,
need that for? Like
distinguished
men.
colleagues.
What?
Ito ang nabanggit kong pork
what do
barrel
we need a
insertions
long
kanina,
tongue for?
Mr. President.
Oh, the
From a
men
woman.
need
From
it.
a
Meron pang mas
Oh,
matinding
well, come
congressional
on.
insertions.
What's she gonna do with
Ipapakita ko sa inyo.
Oh, you mean she? I thought you said
Put it in your ass.
Will you say it again?
That's how they.
Mr. President,
That's how they
kung
used to
flood
get
control
corn out their
projects
ass back in the day.
based on
Hold on.
we are compelled to
Grab the
question
monkey
the
bitch.
feasibility
What if
of
she
the
get
project
caught cheating,
and
and
the
she got a long
technical
tongue like that.
capacity
It's things you
of the
can tell her to
contractor.
do to make up for it.
But what if an elected congressman or a political group claims ownership of the
That
project?
bitch can lick the
Is
bottom
it
of
not
your
both
foot in less
proper
than 3
and
seconds with a
necessary
tongue like that.
to scrutinize
You ever
their
had the bottom of your
motivation
foot look,
and
sir?
examine the
Lick, sir?
extent of their involvement?
No?
And perhaps
You haven't either.
to hold them
Wipe her
You a
eye.
goddamn lie, boy.
Wipe her eye.
I got some perverted bitches in this game, Dion.
apparent, the identities
I'm
of
seeking
the
I get her to do it on
proponents
tape.
of the
Only
initiative,
reason I don't like it because she always make me lay on my back when she lick my foot, and I feel weird with my leg up.
if they claim something as
Y'all both got
theirs,
each other on tape.
should they not also be accountable?
You put it, I'm put it out. You put it out, I'm put it out.
Mr. President,
That's
I
right.
raise the question
I like when my
because of
foot
the
get licked
evident
on my stomach.
congressional
I feel
banners
better
we
about it.
observed alongside
When I
many
put it on
projects
my back with my
in
leg in there, I be like, you trying to punk
both
me out.
in
You
Oriental
ain't no
and
camera in
Mindoro.
there, do you? I was going
Bilang
ahead and
halimbawa, in Barangay
Ain't no way
Burbuli,
the gangster
Paco,
gets your
Oriental
your
Mindoro.
toes licked.
One
Ain't no
ban
gangster to it. Straight submission. It's submission, I admit.
Either position. It's looking
I have been compromised out here, brother.
The whole bedroom scenario is not.
My brother not ill. This man is a Muslim, and he grew up
This project
with a father that
awarded
loves
to
him,
Silverworks
but he
Construction
has
Corporation,
been
again,
compromised.
is worth 95
The nation would not agree with
It is
what
an ongoing
Brother
project
Nail has gone
in
through.
December
Don't put him
2025.
out there.
Hey,
This
Abe
project
is a
so
good dude,
important that it can
but
turn
loneliness
stones and get funding
is real.
under program appropriation.
hell?
He gave people permission to do things so he wouldn't be lonely that day.
Oh my
This
God! See, how
prompts
does
us
he
to
know?
dig deeper. into
Phil
the web.
walked slow than a
As they
motherfucker.
say, social media is a great
He can't
resource
always
of
take
evidence,
B12.
which
He got
lawyers
to get other
fondly
shit
call
done to him to get him
testimony
moving faster.
against self-interest. In one Facebook
Darlene
post, we discovered
is-
a congressional
I'll
representative
shut up, B.
showcasing his midterm accomplishment report, covering the period from June 30, 2022
I
to
was
December
so
31,
happy to see,
2023.
Dion over there. I
He
was gonna say that
openly
for after your
lists
segment, D, but
projects.
they gonna have
Hold
to
your
be
breath.
part of it.
Yo, I
Funded
love that.
What happened to
by
Ronnie?
his office.
You know, but he said
I
he's gonna come
repeat,
after his show.
funded
So he
He
probably
might
already-
not make it.
his
It's
office,
okay.
That's right. 'cause
including
he had
Platinum
a
Exactly.
4
factory.
and River
I don't
Protection
even. I'm
Initiative.
such a loner.
From
but
Aguilas
I was like,
Baco,
I don't want no more.
let us travel to
Ronnie.
Aguilas Nauhan.
Yeah, Ronnie.
Also,
Yeah, Ronnie
in-
Domi. Shout
I
out to
fuck
Ronnie.
with Ronnie. I love Ronnie.
Mr.
Yeah,
President,
I remember I was at his show
Nauhan
and he
is
was
among the
smoking
beneficiaries
weed.
of
He's so big, he's
3.6
waiting in the
billion
front.
pesos worth
The
of
weed was falling on top of his clothes. I was
From the
like,
list of
he didn't have enough time to do this because
Get
too
out
much
the way.
space to clear.
Yeah.
Ronnie Jordan.
Oh, that's funny.
Real talk.
He
I
got
was like,
smoke like this.
Hindi naman po ito ang maswerteng napunduhan. Isa pa sa pinagkakaroon ng mapagtangking congressman ay ang blood control structure
You gotta
sa
put-
batas Philippine upstream. Barangay
You gotta
San
put a
Jose,
bib on.
Nauhan,
you gotta smoke with a
Oriental,
bib.
Mindoro. We took time to visit the project, Mr. President, which he referred
Ronnie gonna
to
smoke now.
as a national
shout out,
project
y'all out here in LA
through
writing, ain't you?
congressional
Yeah, we was out here working on the
allocation.
Virgil Hill show. So
project
that's coming
was
back.
awarded
Tommy
to
Davidson,
Raymond
shout out. Tommy
Builders
Davidson. Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
231
It's
million
gonna be dope.
pesos.
Tommy
At
Davis.
tinugot pa rin ito saan
Ladies and gentlemen,
program.
we're gonna go ahead and get to the part of the show
Dalawang
that
projects na
motherfuckers
po
slow
ito ng
everything
Agila
down. These
na
news
natuklasan namin
talk about
mula sa
bullshit.
bullshit. Isa sa barangay Burbuli.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Sa
She getting a little
barangay
mad now,
San Jose.
goddamn. Just say
Matagal
it,
ko
D.
na rin
If
pong
you say what you've
nagbubusisi
been
ng
through,
pambansang
you'll
budget.
feel better. Get
Ang
it out there,
pagkakaalam
D.
ko po,
You ain't got to
masalimuot
die with
ang
this on
proseso
your
ng
stove.
paggamit
me to
ng
experience
unprogram
such misery.
appropriations
This is hard,
under
but that's a
the
friend.
Live with it, D.
His type of
Purpose
friendship
Fund.
is that.
Live with it, D.
Misery loves
Sa ilang
company, so
items
he wants
under
her.
Your hair will grow
irregular
freer if you got it off your chest.
Hindi
D.
po madaling
That wasn't
ma-access ito.
COVID that was making your hair go
Dapat
out that time.
Yes, it
That was
is.
all the
May
motherfucking
excess revenue
shame
collection.
built up inside of you from people
New
who you
revenue
knew
collection
should not have had the
proceeds
pleasure of
those
doing what they
arising
did to
from
you.
new tax
So that
or
explains
non-tax
your hair.
sources. Or D,
Oh, now
approved
we
loans
know. I didn't know.
para
I
sa
didn't know that.
foreign
Yeah.
assisted
Bless his heart. It's
projects.
okay.
Mahaba din ang requirements dito.
All right, so let's
Mr.
get this
President.
started. This is so
ano
cute.
kaya
I loved
ang
this story.
taglay
I
na
hadn't
agimat
heard
ni
Little
Congressman?
John's name.
What
quite
gives,
some
Mr.
time. And,
President,
with
kung
folks
saan may
a little
multi-million
old school,
projects,
I love Lil John.
Me too, I was
dumadapo
just gonna say.
ang agila.
But you don't, when you
Pero
don't
lubog
hear
pa rin
about
sa
them, like,
baha
what are they doing?
ang
You know, and you kind of like sit there and
nadadapuan
wonder. So
ng
I
agila.
was wondering, and then out of nowhere,
Isa lamang
I
po
saw
ito
this
sa
great
napakaraming
story. So,
banners at
I don't know if you
social
guys
media
know this,
posts
but
ng congressional
calls himself
insertions
being on this
ng
a new
mga politiko
journey, like this
na
physical
naglipana
path
sa
and
iba't
mental
ibang
path to
bahagi
get better.
ng bansa.
And so he really
Mr.
got
President,
into it so tough
ituloy na
that
po natin ang
last
diskusyon
couple weeks
tungkol sa aming mga obserbasyon sa lalawigan ng Oriental Mindoro.
Beach, as we call Muscle Beach.
Muscle Beach, I've been up
Taking
there.
anything away from the good but suffering people of this province on the legitimacy of their
Look, Cal, little
susceptibility.
Okay, Lil Jon.
I want to speak of the billions of appropriations.
They got them Atlanta teeth
And they
now.
in it together.
Them Atlanta veneers. We talking shit about you, Lil Jon.
Oh my God, so
Mr.
excited.
President,
Lil Jon, cut up now.
the
Yep, he
largest
said
share
he's hoping
of
that
the
he
pie.
is
We
inspirational to
naturally
everybody
ask
else.
why.
His trainer was there. That was very
Especially
proud of him. It was
if
good.
such a price
I want to say
comes
this
from
about
the
Lil Jon.
taxpayers'
Lil Jon a real one. We did
In
well
Oriental
now.
Mindoro,
He ain't know
for
me all
example,
that good, but I
we
was like,
wonder
Lil Jon,
why
them
among its
motherfucking
14
glasses be so
municipalities,
cold you got,
one
man.
town
I was
tops
like, because
the
I think it
bill.
was the ones
Sa
with the
pagsalo ng buhos ng pondo,
with the
nauna
radio in it or
ang
whatever.
nauhan.
Oh, nice.
Nauhan,
man,
Oriental
where you get the
Mindoro
motherfucker
received a
back? That motherfucker
sweeping
say, "I'll send you a bill."
55% of the
This
province's
nigga actually took my number
2025
down
flood
and
control
sent them glasses.
budget.
Now ain't that some G
Katumbas
shit?
ito ng 10 bilyong
Hey,
piso
he was a
para sa
delight
flood
the
control
whole
projects
time.
ng
We
bayan
love Lil
ng
Jon.
Nauhan.
Now I ain't gonna lie, here come the silly
Fair
Corey.
enough. Given
Boy,
the
that motherfucker took
coastal
them glasses off. We was
topography
like, God damn! I see why you wear that motherfucker, nigga. No,
Oh, he cross-eyed?
well, that nigga
badly need flood control intervention. However,
fucking love Lil Jon. Lil Jon a real one, dog.
in the last
Real talk.
3 years alone,
Third place in
amounting to
I
approximately
gotta be like Lil Jon. I'm
19
fuck it. I'm gonna
billion
commit.
pesos.
I'm gonna get a
Yeah.
trainer.
He's
I'm gonna
enter.
do it.
This is concerned
Yeah, what you
regarding
mean, like what?
Regretted already.
What you mean, like 6 months? What's a good
even
time, like
before
6
the
months?
provincial
About 6
governor of
months,
Oriental
months, like-
looking like bam.
Ludovic
If you do that for a
Discipline.
year,
and what he
you
alleged
just
as
drinking the
anomalous
right
flood
shit and
control
your doodoo be
projects,
green,
we had already
you
dug
motherfucker
deep
be
in our
aight.
study,
Look around
literally
here.
sifting
53,
through
so he
years
competed
after
with
years
anybody 45
of
and over.
appropriations
Got
for
first place.
this
There you go.
project.
What
Your
he win?
doodoo green, you eating right.
What you win, D?
And with due
Third place, I
diligence,
don't know what you want
the
the
I
money?
immediately
Pride.
dispatched my staff
That's true.
to
There you go,
Oriental
Corey.
Mindoro
Do you know what happened
to
when you go
verify
to
the
bitches' house and you
data
take your
we
shirt off like
gathered
that and you
about
walk around their
Nauhan
kids like
and to
that?
validate
And
the
where,
Oh, like
and where the
this?
medals?
Yeah.
And where the medals?
mindful of political bumps.
Congratulations.
Get your ass in the room. Them kids
My
be like,
directives are
He's
clear.
not.
Yes.
We
He don't even look like
see
Lil
we
Jon.
love it, Lil
right?
Jon.
political
That
color
nigga look like a whole different person.
Where all these females fall?
My staff traversed Oriental Mindoro
Right.
Yeah, he
across
look-
10
he
Who was
branches.
that? Dave Chappelle talked about how he was able to say that and get away with it. Skeet, 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 skeet. When the white people found out what it meant, they was like, fucking nigger got away with that. You got one over on us, buddy. Right. White people with little kids was like, skeet, 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 skeet. We love you, Lil Jon.
That's right.
Oriental
Keep going,
Mindoro
keep it up.
during the habagat.
Don Lemon. I don't know if you
Una,
guys saw that.
sa aming listahan,
When he
ang
was out on the
barangay
street.
Oh, there you go. Look at his eyes. Damn.
That shit crazy.
At least that spring in his eye was still working back then.
That shit look
That is
crazy.
wild. I ain't know who that was.
We scoured the budget books
That ain't no
Get low.
cute
from
picture.
the
D.
National
Come on,
Expenditure
man.
Program,
That ain't
the
Lil
House
Jon.
Gap, Senate version,
He
and
look like he got all lemon on his mouth right now.
Award,
Wait, you said that's a cute
contracts
picture
in
when he was in
Barangay
school?
Mulawin.
Yeah.
Of the 1.9 billion
That shit
pesos
look crazy.
funded,
Look like a
only
character.
810 million
Okay, that's it.
pesos
Bring one
for
in next
3
year.
projects.
He look like he gonna say, stop fucking with me.
The remaining 1.1 billion.
Everybody's junior high pictures look crazy.
I
I'm sexy as hell in college.
Oh, here we go.
Man.
Here we
I'm
go.
gonna
This
hold off for a
one,
little
of course.
time,
Rightly
man.
so.
That shit look
Most
crazy.
of these congressional insertions
Okay, so I don't know if you
were
guys saw when Don
for
Lemon was
issuance
out
of
on that
SARO
street,
or
the
withheld
street, and he
by
was just
Malacanang.
approaching
Save
random guys.
for
and
the
he'll
curious
be
case of
asking
2
them certain
projects
questions, what have you,
worth
right?
about 300 million
Well,
pesos
recently,
already awarded
he
and
got-
ongoing construction
he
with
got
target
heckled so
completion
bad by
in
this
December
dude.
2025.
This white man cursed him out
Mr.
so
President,
bad. He called
sa
him
buhos
every
ng
which
budget
name,
sa
and he
barangay
tried
na ito,
so hard to keep his
inaasahan
cool, he
natin
couldn't, so he had to come out.
na may
He
proteksyon
came
na
out, he said,
ang mga
"Don, let me try
residente
to
ng
back-"
Mulawin
If you watch
mula
that
sa
video,
baha,
it
dulot ng
is.
bagyo.
Well, darling, we don't know what happened. So what
kasamaan
happened?
pala.
What did
Cursed
the
him
dude?
out. He just
Bagat pa
basically
lang.
He
walked
cursed
At
out
hindi pa
Don
man
Lemon?
naitalang bagyo.
Yes.
What did he
Wow.
say?
He called him a fucking moron.
Gumuhuna ang ilang parte ng mga
Just
diking
some random man. But you know, Don
pinagkastusan
Lemon does that when
ng
we go
daang
out
Man on the street,
milyong
yeah.
piso.
It's called Man on the Street.
Inagos
Yep,
na
and
rin
he'll
ng
ask him
tubig,
just a
baha,
question. He
ang
walked right up to this
bilyong
one
pisong
dude,
danyos
and that dude, white
ng
dude,
nasirang
you know, and he said,
flood
he said, "You're a
control.
fucking moron."
If Don Lemon say something to you, he's trying to get some dick.
Oh, look, there it is. And that man.
If Don Lemon choose you, you's a straight cake-looking ass nigga. Don Lemon is not gonna walk up to no real man on the street and try to talk to him about nothing. If Don Lemon walk up to you, he sees straight cake mix. Remember that. If Don Lemon walk up to me and start talking to me, I must do something to defend my honor. Some shit worth going to jail for. Like, I already know he's gonna press charges and shit. Ain't nobody you can really sue and shit and come up. So I ain't got to punch him, but you ever pull somebody's shirt over their head till they fall?
Don Lemon don't do nothing, dog, but
I be laughing when niggas try to fight me in hoodies. You ever get a nigga in a hoodie try to fight you? I ain't gonna even talk about it, but the last nigga tried to fight me in a hoodie, my wrist was broke. I still they just always fall. When you pull that hoodie and bag up, they go, I'm going down.
That's the guy's version of like the women when they pull their hair.
Don't fight me with no hoodie on, dog. You had a handicap.
Grabbing the top of the hoodie. That's the one.
Fight me with a hoodie, I got it.
We are willing to
But if you
submit
look that
our
video
drone
up, it was
shots
pretty
and other pieces of
hilarious, 'cause Don
evidence to
tried to really
assist
get hard on
in the
him.
investigation.
He tried to get hard.
Don was hard. That's what happened.
He wrecked hard.
Don was.
Corey,
Is that the dude who argued with him?
Yes.
He was flirting. You know, he liked Caucasian males. He's married to a Caucasian male.
Well, that guy wasn't having it right there.
What'd he say to him, D?
Why you hard in this interview?
And he just kept going. He was like, I don't watch you. And he was like, no, you do watch me. No, I don't watch your shit. The guy was just going on and
You ain't
on.
on CNN no more, Don Lemon. I remember when Don Lemon was out there when the young brother got killed in St. Louis. The brown kid and Don Lewis was out there telling the police they over there and all that.
Halos 3 buwan pa lamang ang lumipas, Mr. President.
Your moist ass up out of here, boy.
Kabago-bagong proyekto.
Who you talking to? Me, Don? Grab that shirt. You gotta act like you're grabbing it from the side. But then when he lunged forward, you gotta block it and grab it from the back. That's how you win fights if somebody fighting you with a shirt on, dog. A shirt is a handicap, especially a hoodie. Fight me with a hoodie on. I'm scared of Tyson, but if he had on a hoodie, I'll be like, homie, you better calm the fuck down out here in these motherfuckers.
At inaasahang matatapos ngayong Disyembre. Kasabay ng
What
hakit ng
if you fight somebody? Corey, what if you fight somebody with no shirt on?
Fight somebody with no shirt on, they might get your ass whooped. If a nigga know how to fight and he got his shirt off, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem. I know them dirty tricks with clothes.
But what if both you guys were at the beach and both of you had
and
don't
lower
have shirts?
grade enforcement.
It's a real fight. Oh, you fight somebody with baby oil on. You better hope you got KO power. You ain't finna just grab it.
Was y'all getting that power slap contest?
No.
For 100K.
Hell no.
You wouldn't let nobody slap you guys for
I'm gonna tell
100K?
y'all something that's funny. Darlene, I ain't trying to interrupt you a second, but I gotta say this.
Barangay Tagumpay,
I got Chicago in the
Sinauhan
house.
is another
Do you
case
know what's
of
the
flooded
funniest thing that
flood
happened to me?
control.
I am not
Sa
tripping
taong
with this man.
2023 at
This shit is so
2024,
funny. I was
halos
laughing so
abot kamay na
hard. So
ng
y'all
mga
remember what
taga-barangay
happened with me and
Tagumpay.
Lil Real?
Ang
I talked
Tagumpay
about the
na layunin
dude,
nitong
what's the
maging
dude name?
ligtas
He
sa
took
mga
up for
pagbaha dahil sa
on Shay
halos
Show. What's the comic? Carmichael.
2.55
I said something about Carmichael. Then Lil Real said something about me on Club Shay Shay. And then I was shocked because I was like, I ain't never did Lil Real. What the fuck? But maybe that was his little friend. Like that. Okay, fuck it. Anyway, I showed that video of Lil Real in the dress, singing, doing the what was his name, Kwee or whatever. Fuck. I know you know, Just Niche. Anyway, I got a voicemail from Lil Real. And I ain't mad at you, Lil Real. I said what I said. You said what you said. Fuck it, it's over. I'm not mad at you, little bro. I respect you, and I'm so glad your career is where you're able to have, you know, be above water out here in this cold ass LA. Good luck to you, Lil Real. But what I tell y'all this shit, boy, that nigga sent me this heartfelt voicemail. Big bro, I got love for you, man. Woo, woo, woo. And I was like,
ng
All right,
pagbabaon
my nigga. I
ng mga
wasn't mad
share
at
files
nothing.
na magiging suporta
Boy, when
ng
I
buong
tell
fraud
you, I didn't
crime.
even know people could do this.
Isa pa sa nakita
That
namin, ang
message
barangay Inarawan
self-destructed. As soon as I
na
read
Oh,
it.
you didn't save it. Yeah, you have to.
I didn't have, look, when somebody leave you a voicemail,
They can take it back.
I didn't know that. I was like, this nigga
Back and look for it. It wasn't there. Tell you what this nigga
It's
said.
only in your memory.
I said this nigga done self-destructed the voicemail. I didn't know you could do that. That was the funniest shit. I was dying like Mission Impossible.
Sa lahat ng proyektong
This
nilaan
was
sa barangay Inarawan.
Should you choose to be my friend, Corey, we can do that. Other than that, be cool. I was dying. Lorel, you stupid for self-destructing that voicemail. That is some funny shit that people can play you a voicemail and after you hear it, it go away.
You know you want to keep it and let them up in
Hey,
bed.
little nigga, love to you, little black boy. I ain't never had nothing but good wishes towards you, but you talk shit about me in front of the sister. So I'm just saying.
You both got it.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta, hey, nigga, good luck. Get your money. All right, go
That was
ahead.
very sweet. I like that story because I
Gumuho
like real.
at hindi
All right, I'm glad you guys
napanindigan
worked that out.
ang pagiging blood
Wait, what
control
happened?
structure.
Wow.
Ilan sa mga ito ang mga sumusunod
You gotta go
na
get your eyes
ipapakita natin.
Um,
Sa barangay
So there's a new,
Pinagsabagan
speaking of
thought
writing,
because he liked drugs.
28 million piso.
so there's a
ang
new
pondong nilaan,
CBS
pero ang
sitcom in
reklamo ng
development.
mga
Not sure if you
residente,
guys heard of it.
putol-putol
From
ang
Kenya
pagkagawa
Barris,
ng river control.
Blackish creator, of
Malaking
course,
bahagi
and
rito
Mike
ang
Epps,
gumuho
right? So they
ng
are
nagdaang
in the
habagat.
process right now. They
Sa
already got
barangay
the
Melgar,
deal. It's being
nirereklamo ng mga residente
Kenya Barris, the
ang
creator of
mababaw
Blackish,
na
and Mike
pagkakabaon.
Epps. They
Mike
have-
Epps,
and they have-
that's what you was talking about?
That's the show, Corey. Oh
During
my
the
God.
tour, Mike was like, I might have a lick for you. Mike, come grab me out the underground, man.
Might be it.
I ain't gonna wear no dress or nothing, nigga.
No, but here we go.
I'll be that nigga though, otherwise I'll be
gotta
that
be the
nigga,
show.
Mike Epps. Love you
barangay
for all
Aralo,
these years.
meron
Gotta
din
do
ongoing
Yeah,
project
Yeah, hold on. I was about to
Gotta
tell
be
the
in
story.
there.
Okay, so here we go. So anyway, it's a new
Can I
show.
interrupt you for 1 second? When I was on the
Ay
plane, this
nasira
lady
na uli
said to me,
dahil
why
sa
you ain't got
habagat.
on no drawers with your
Mr.
jogging
President,
pants? I was
for
like,
3
oh, you
years,
see that thing? She was like, no, it's
19
pee right there. I was like, go ahead, D, go ahead.
That is
Go ahead.
disgusting.
Go ahead.
Thanks
I
for
just
that.
came out the bathroom.
Thanks for that
You
visual.
can't shake it all day.
Again,
pero
middle
lubog pa rin
name.
sa baha ang mga nakuhing.
All right, so
Ano
anyway,
nangyari,
the two
Mr.
of them
President?
have this show,
Kaninong
right? It's
mabul sa
already in the
inanod
can. It's
ang
in the
buwis
can, but
ng
they do
taong
not
bayan?
have the cast yet.
Kung
But
sa
right now,
Oriental
they're
Mindoro,
experiencing some
gumuguho
major
ang mga proyekto,
backlash the
mamaya po,
moment
Mr.
that this show
President,
was announced,
ipapakita
because
namin
it
ang
is
mga
set
lugar
against
naman
the
na
backdrop of
walang
the wildfire
makikitang
that was
gumuguho.
devastated this area
Hindi dahil
of
sa matitibay ang
Altadena.
paggagawa, kundi dahil hindi
And
talaga
some are
maaaring
saying
gumuho
online
ang guni-guni
that they
o
believe
ghost
it's a
projects.
comedy in bad taste
Mr.
because
President,
of the
sa
project.
kalapit
Now the
barangay,
project's still in the
sa
early
barangay
stages.
Apitong,
They're actually still
isa sa mga
casting. It is
proyektong
about
matyagang
two
hinanap ng
brothers
aking
who
team
move in
ay
their
ang
late grandmother's. They're
construction of
their
Gold
late grandmother's
Dalawang
caretaker
mag-asawang
when their
tubig
plans
river,
fall apart,
Sitio Dique,
and they try to sell her
Barangay
property in
Apitong,
Altadena. The
section,
show will
Nauhan,
mark the return,
Oriental,
actually, of
Mindoro,
Kenya's
na na-award
work with
sa
BET
elite
Studios,
general contractor and
and he
development
hasn't
corporation.
been. I guess because
Ang
he's
halaga ng
usually
kontrata,
streamed. So if you ever seen a lot of his stuff
192.99
lately,
million pesos.
ever since Blackish
Ayon sa
ended, he
dokumentong
hasn't
ito,
been on
mula sa DPWH website,
TV like that. So now he's
completed
excited
na
to
po
do
I seen
that.
that
I'm
brother
excited
out
for them.
and didn't even know that was him.
Napuntahan ng
Yeah,
aking
he's got
team.
I seen him out and didn't know that was him. Because he spoke to me. And I was like, hey, what's up? He probably was like, oh,
Well, they're still casting
Wala
everybody. So just,
Hey.
but people are sweating them for that.
That's
Anyway,
my
what do you
life.
think?
Nigga, I had
sa
seven
kanilang
rivals, everybody. But I
city.
had
You're
multiple
from Altadena.
Ang
people
alam lang
lose
nila,
houses in my
mayroong
family.
gagawin pa lamang
And-
yeah,
ngayong
motherfucker, that day of the
2025.
fire
I
when
was
you
here
came
when
up here with the
Nasaan
baby.
my
ang
son, my
halos
newborn son, y'all need to
193
consider.
They was evacuating this whole area. The homie who run this shit,
Y'all was still
motherfucking
running.
Sakong
Mecca.
lokasyon na
I
aming
think
pinuntahan
Mecca lost two
sapagkat
houses.
consistent
Yeah,
ito
for sure.
sa koordinate
Right in
na
the back,
nakalathala
That's
sa
my life, man. I hope
DPWH
they
at sa
consider
sumbong
me
sa
full,
Pangulo
bro. I give you some
website.
real stories.
Yeah,
Guni-guni,
let's give Craig like a little paper route and
guni-guni.
shit. But I'm saying with me, nigga, look here. No, I'm fucking with you.
tuloy-tuloy na po tayo sa usapang
Give me a
guni-guni.
bag, man. I got some.
These want to be in the writer room, goddamn it, shit. He used to be coming up there with Dion and shit. Y'all have him wait outside. I ain't do that. I said, Dion, come on over here. You the homie, nigga. You from the crib and shit, goddamn. You know, motherfucker, we up on 7-4 side of the game. But what I'm saying to my niggas,
That's the block.
that was a joke.
7-4 was the block. I know what it is.
7-4 is the block, nigga.
Yeah, I know what it is.
So it sounds like a great show idea. I think so. I mean,
That's dope.
It's an idea that all the brothers and sisters are watching. When all of us get on board with something, then everybody else get on board with it. And it might be something of substance. So I hope that it does. Something like that does go through. We need that real shit back on TV.
Man, perfect two dudes to do it, man.
We need the uncle that babysit and do a lot for the family, but beat his girlfriend up. That's real shit in the hood, goddammit. They be like, JoJo jumped on again? I can't believe he did that. JoJo, why do you do that?
The backlash is for it being the wildfires.
it's about that. It's in the,
And
a lot of people out here, man. A lot of people out here like, man, don't do a show because about this area if you're not going to cast people from out here. This is just disrespect. I don't agree with
Well,
that.
they do that for all the shows.
If I was casting a show, I'd be like, we listen to your consideration, but motherfuck y'all. Y'all just support it. That's all.
So they're not mad about
support it
wildfire.
regardless.
They're mad about not using people from.
Sa DPWH billboard.
They're not mad about it being about the wildfire. They're mad because
ng mga residente
they need people
na
from the city
walang
to
flood
be in
control
it.
Well, I mean, yeah,
project na
because
ginawa
look, Altadena
sa
is the
lugar
oldest middle-class black neighborhood in
Ang
in
malaking
Los
tanong,
Angeles.
What if they can't act?
ano
It's the
ang
first-
riverbank
like, I want this shit to be good. You know?
What if they on crack?
Like, get George. Get George. He been there since 62. This nigga is a drunk. He can learn no script.
We got some people out here that's already working on major
Name one!
Mr. President,
sari-saring
Craig, just put Craig in.
It ain't even really about me, but I'm saying I can tell you some stories off air. Where you
magtungo tayo
like,
sa
wait,
susunod na
what?
barangay.
Nigga, that
Mr.
happened on
President.
the. That's
Lula
some
ng
crazy
bangka,
shit. son.
dinagtas ng
Boy, you
aking
got
mga
the
staff
style in your head.
ang
What if
barangay
this locks they
Babatlin
snap?
Oh,
upang
thank
hanapin
you. I
ang
appreciate
The
it.
lowest lockstyle.
Oh, yeah.
They don't even go to his neck.
Yeah.
He motherfuckers start
You
right
held
here.
that in for a long time, too, didn't you? When you saw it, you must be like,
I was like,
"Yo,
Craig
fuck
got
this
braids."
nigga guy."
Because we was watching on the way here, I'm like, oh, Craig got some little French braids. I'm like, oh no, they put them little locks in there. They look good though.
See,
They
Craig,
good
you didn't know
shit.
that shit was gonna blossom into that.
Oh.
When you first started your afro, I was like, fuck this nigga doing?
The Trey Songz. Just gotta make it.
Yo, this is crazy.
Now you look like you be at the crib. Pretty,
Oh, that's crazy.
pretty.
Maxwell.
ayon sa mga residente. Ang
Maxwell
muling
look like he's not
pagsasaayos
smiling.
dito ay nangyari noong 2020
Okay.
na substandard
He
team
just be like,
sa paggawa. So, kanino
Give me a wet rag
napunta
while I leave.
sa ilalim ng
dry.
2020
Ah,
budget para sa
Anyway,
proyekto.
okay, so last week we did bring up
ulit ang pagpopondo
Dwayne "The Rock"
kahit
Johnson
gawa na.
because
Bagong style ito, Mr.
he's
President.
doing major things.
Ilan
Matter
pa
of
kayang
fact,
flood
the
control
newest
projects
movie
ang
that
ganito?
has just been at
Ang
all the
contractor
festivals.
nito
They
na
say that
Darcy
be
and
prepared
Anna
that in like
Builders.
February, that
Naglimis
when the
tulang
award
multo rin.
season comes around, they
Bakit
claim
kanyo?
he's going to finally
Base
win
sa mga
something
dokumento
like
ng
a
kumpanyang ito.
big award
Ito
because it's
ay isang
acting in this
negosyo
incredible
na
place, some sort
rehistrado
of
sa
wrestling. I
ilalim
don't know,
ng
but
sole
we brought up because we
proprietorship
saw his current
at may
picture
address
on
sa
how
Cardona,
skinny he was.
Rizal.
It was kind of alarming people.
Sa pamamagitan
Remember I
ng
said maybe it's
simpleng
for part?
pag-search
It
sa
is.
Google Map
So he
ay
says
madaling
that his weight loss
makita
is for a
ang
new acting
gusali
role
kung
where he plays
nasaan
a
ang
70-year-old
nasabing
man
negosyo.
whose best friend
Subalit,
is an actual live
napuntahan ng
chick.
aking team ang
And
address.
here's the worst part.
Ang kanilang
Well, that's-
inabutan
this was a
ay
good
gym.
Nigga, that sounds like
the
some
good
bullshit.
No, the good movie is out now.
Motherfucker homies with a chicken and this supposed to win awards.
The
Fuck out of here.
The other film is already done. It was a wrestling
Maya-maya,
movie, and you got to look it up. He's got so many prosthetics on.
ang
Doesn't
mga
look like him.
natuklasan
Crazy
naming
look.
proyekto
But anyway,
na gawa o
like the
dapat
big rubbery, so
ginawa
they make you look different.
ng
They make you
nawawalang
look like a
Darcy and
woman.
Anna
Yeah.
Builders.
Yeah, you would say a woman.
Sinuit
to me.
din po natin ang ilang
Anyway,
barangay sa
so
Hagonoy,
he is
Bulacan.
the
Hanggang
reason
ngayon
for his
ay lubog pa rin
slender
sa
build
tubig.
now. He says is to
Gamit
play
ulit
this
ang
70-year-old
sumbong
man.
sa Pangulo
And
website.
He look like Damon
Inugot
Williams.
namin
And he says he's not even done, so I don't know how
I
much
hope
more
that
he can lose.
Damon, that was a joke, nigga. Don't fuck with me, Damon. You know, we supposed to be solid, nigga. I love you now, nigga. We old niggas now.
So I don't know how much more he
But
can
that
lose.
do look like Damon a little bit, like Damon He was
Hagonoy.
on steroids and
small.
stuff.
But he's saying that
Supposedly
he has more to go.
completed
So I
on
was like,
April
what?
19.
He gonna look
Yeah.
sick.
He gonna be looking like Serena?
Is he on the
Awarded
Olympic?
Serena can play King.
Anna
She can play
Builders
King James, King David next to her.
sweeping
What's
prize.
Oh,
that?
Serena, she got a
She
little
looks
too,
just like her
doesn't
daddy now.
she? Yeah. King
Without that
Richard.
weight on her, King Richard. Yeah. She can play her father.
Rock was like an
Nobody
angel.
lives here without singing the blues.
Losing weight. So anyway, moving on so we I know it's getting late. The word-
Protection structure. Tingnan po natin.
So the word of the week is jaunty.
Nasaan na nga ba?
J-A-U-N-T-Y.
Ewan ko, Mr. President, dahil wala tayong makita.
Plus coming out your
Kahit ano
dick.
pang suyod ang gawin namin, hindi namin makita.
Johnny dick ass out of here.
Ang flood control project
No
ng
jaunty?
Darcy
Jaunty
and
is,
Anna.
It sounds like something fun.
Hello, Darcy.
love it.
Ang Anna
Sounds
Say what he
jovial.
and
usually
Anna,
says.
nasaan ang flood control?
That's the back clap sound when a big
Tumawid
person.
naman tayo sa barangay Abulalas, sa bayan pa rin.
That's a comforter that don't smell fresh. Jaunty ass motherfucking bed.
Jaunty
Sinuong ng aking
means
team ang
having or
baha
expressing
sa
a
barangay
light,
Abulalas,
cheerful,
Hagonoy
and
para
self-confident
hanapin
manner.
ang proyektong
Yeah, I'm jaunty, man.
construction,
It's a noun?
riverbank
Craig walked in here. It's an adjective.
Mula sa
When he
Darcy
walked in here, he had a
and Anna
jaunty
na
walk.
nagkakahalaga
Okay,
ng
okay, jaunty.
77.199
Yeah, he struck a jaunty
million
pose for the
pesos
camera.
na naman.
When Nail
Ito
fucked
po
the 50-year-old
ay
woman, he was
tumambad
jaunty.
sa amin. Nakikita
jaunty
niyo
stroke.
kung
He had that
paano
Muslim Nail
ang
laugh when he nutted.
Anyway, so
This how he look normally. This how Nail look normally.
Hindi niyo po talaga makikita, my dear colleagues. Guni-guni lang kasi ang flood control structure or riverbank
we're gonna have a
protection
jaunty exit.
kung saan
What's the
dapat
homie
nakatayo
name?
ang Darcy and Anna
blanking on his name when he
project.
come up here. What's our other Muslim?
Iba rin ang
homie
kaso sa barangay Iba.
RZA.
name?
Tulungan namin ang
Hey, Rizzo,
proyekto
how are you?
riverbank protection
He still be
structure
smiling when he
sa
talk
barangay
like that.
Iba ng Wawaw Builders na
I'm into
natapos
music real
dapat
good.
noong
Roy, I'll teach you how to play the guitar.
2024.
RZA be having the smallest haircuts. I'm like, how you get a haircut that small?
99 million pesos na naman. Pagdating ng
His
aming
lips say,
team sa exam
Jaunty is a
coordinate,
heating pad for
mayroong
Paul.
kasalukuyang tinatay ng instructor.
One day I was gonna smash Miss
Very
Lips, but I
Jaunty.
was like, I know she
May
gonna
kasama
kill
pang
some.
station.
I was gonna smash her one day.
Pero
It was one of the
ang
nights
ginagawang
at the
proyekto,
Improv, and I used to hang up
hindi
there. I
ang
was like,
Wawa
fuck.
project. Sa
Go
mismong
ahead and see what
lokasyon,
this look like with
kung
nothing.
saan dapat
She had
nakatayo
teeth in her
ang
pussy, I
Wawa
feel
Riverbank
like that
Protection,
shit.
ang
What's
nakapalag
you know
ng
what?
contract
The
ay
girl had
Big titties though.
What's the movie called?
project ng
The
isang
girl, she had
First
teeth in her
Star
vagina that was
Builders
keep people from
contractors.
raping her.
para
Yeah,
sa
what?
flood
Teeth
protection
in her
structure.
coochie.
Who did?
Yeah, it's a
Station.
movie. It's called Man
And
Eater or
floodgate.
something like
Oh,
that.
wow.
And so
Ng
yeah, and so
Panfilo
it was a
sa
defense
94.54
mechanism, and it was
million
bite it.
it'll bite
Oh, my God.
only the people
Mr.
that she didn't want in there.
Nawawala
So
ang Wawa
yeah, she was
project.
getting this boy tried to take
Miss
it.
Lips got
Pang-
No, this was on
Ang
Lifetime
ghost
or
project
something.
na ito,
What Miss
kaya
Lips got?
She got
nagmamadaling
Seymour
magtayo
DNA.
ng bagong
She like-
struktura.
What's Seymour?
Remember that little shop of horrors?
Feed me, see.
Feed me, Seymour. Yes.
Wawaw ang binisita,
That's funny.
First Star ang dinagtan. Wawaw ang hinanap,
Venus cock
First
trap.
Star
Better watch your mouth, boy.
Mukhang ang modus na ito.
Better watch your tone.
I'll be ready.
Project ng ibang
He's been
proyekto.
acting a bunch of stuff
Ang
like
masama,
that.
Hey man, look.
Broaden his
walang parang
horizon.
bula.
Miss Lips, I ain't gonna lie.
Milyong
I'm back on my regular
gastos
mind
Oh, it's
now.
called T.
But one of them nights up there at the
Sa
Improv,
barangay San Nicolas
Man
naman,
eater.
she actually
Iba
drove
ang
me because
forma
I had
at
my
kulma
bike. I rode
ng
my
Ghost
bike to
Project.
the Improv. I ain't feel like riding my bike
Binisita namin ang
over the
proyekto
hill.
ng
I started
Wawaw
to be like, fuck,
Builders
come on in, man.
ng halaga
Let me
ay
see what's up with you after I put this bad phone.
77.199
That was the roofie kicking in.
million
She tried to
pesos
roofie you.
na naman ang nasabing proyekto.
We're gonna hit you with that
Sinimulan
chlorophyll
daw
napkin.
nung
You keep
Pebrero,
hanging out with it.
tapos
Miss
nung
Lips
Disyembre
prideful too, but I know if I'd have hit her, she
2023.
wouldn't. She'd have had that quiet
Pero
look.
saan pagsisiyasa
Girls be in my house is a look I give them
2017
when
pa
they
lamang
know to leave.
ay mayroon lang flood
Put it like
control
that,
sa
be like-
lokasyong tinuro kung nasaan ang Wawaw
Miss
I'm gonna
Lips,
go get.
I saw you on that dating show, the new dating show.
ng
Oh, it's a
lugar
new
The
dating
new
show?
na
popular
walang
one, the
nabago.
reality one. Oh my God, I love that
Oh,
one
them
because they
popular
have
Oh, the one
like
that they put on Netflix?
they have older ones.
got
No, it's on
whack.
YouTube.
When they put it on
tinayo
Netflix. Oh.
ng
No, the one
Wawa
on
Builders
YouTube is a new
noong
one with that guy. He's like a funny
2023.
host. He's a tall, slender guy.
Eh, di
But they
wala.
have old people like and a mix.
May guni-guni na naman
You
sa
know, white,
barangay
black.
Reason
Salita.
Justin Niche is
Wow
still
na
relevant
wow
because
ang
of her
wow.
comedy chops. I'm telling
Mr.
you, the
President,
bitches who
makikita
came
natin
out.
ang
See,
isang
Justin
pattern
Niche too
ng
nice
mga
to
proyektong
say, but it's
guni-guni
my
ng
job to
Darcy
say
and Ana
I don't
Wawa
give a fuck.
Builders sa barangay
Them bitches
Carillo,
who tried to
Bulalas,
mimic what
Iba,
she do, they
San Nicolas,
stay in power.
First
It
Engineering
went up
District
and then
ng
it
Bulacan.
just went back down.
Pare-parehong
It
contract
wasn't
price.
true. This ain't no hate. I'm not
77.99
saying this
million pesos.
just because she
Pare-parehong
here,
riverbank
just because
protection
she works
structure.
with me.
Pare-parehong
This Niche,
guni-guni.
just Niche is the real
Very
deal.
distinct.
Them other bitches
Very
perpetrate
distinctly ghost
being the
project.
real deal. That's
Ang mataong
why
nasa
they
likod
be.
ng scheme na ito, o scam na ito,
It's like one day I was at this room called 559 back in the day. It was one of the roughest rooms to work.
Hindi
It
ito
was in
kapapalagan, Mr.
Atlanta.
President.
It was the
This is
hood.
well
It was the
orchestrated by
rappers.
an
They were all
organized
in there.
network of
And while the
people
comics on
who
stage
abuse
trying to fight to
their
come
power.
back with their jokes,
May
Bruce
isang
would
grupo
be
sa
behind
loob
them
ng
like,
First District Engineering Office ng Bulacan na kilalang
you be
sindikato
fighting them dog.
ng mga
Then somebody
substandard at ghost projects. Ang kanilang modus,
That's what a lot of them bitches' career do. And just Niche is so kind, she still be cool
gamit
with
ang
them.
lisensya
But
ng contractors, sila na ang
even if you
mag-implement
kind of
ng
them bitches,
proyekto.
because you
O kung hindi man,
want
magpoproseso
peace and
ng
harmony.
mga dokumento
I want
para
peace, but
lumabas
fuck
na
peace
committed na
when it comes to
ang mga
compromising the
ghost
truth. Listen, if you
My
ain't
office
shit,
is willing and ready to provide the
you
names
can hide
of
it
the
as long as
members
you
of
don't
this
speak to me. But if you
well-organized
ever speak to
syndicate
me and you ain't shit,
inside the
I'm gonna tell you you
Bulacan
ain't shit.
First District
Because you're
Engineering
speaking to
Office,
me. And I'm not going to
including
use our
probable
conversation
witnesses
only for what you
to
want.
testify
I'm going to
against
use
them
the
if and
conversation
when
with
the
conflict
appropriate
inserted
authorities
into it.
will
Because
open
I
a
love
formal
telling people that ain't shit,
investigation
they ain't shit.
into
That is
these
a hard
morally
on for me.
wicked schemes. to
Somebody who really
defraud
ain't
our
shit, you
people
tell them you know you
of
ain't
their
shit, right?
hard-earned
The
taxpayers'
shock
money.
of them
For the
hearing the
information of the
absolute truth
Inikot at
is
siniyasat
worth
ng
whatever
tribunal ang
backlash
ilang mga
come
proyekto
with
sa
it.
Kabikulan,
You know you ain't
South
shit, right?
Peninsula, Western Visayas,
Somebody who you know
at
ain't
Central
shit.
Mindanao.
It's your job to tell
Kasalukuyang
them. You know you ain't shit,
ginagawa pa
right?
ang validation ng
Watch
aming
their
finding
reaction.
para
It is
sa
a reaction as
susunod
if
na
you know they
investigasyon.
mama and slapped her.
Mr. President, my distinguished
See, when
colleagues,
somebody really is the
we
deal and
all
you say
heard
you ain't shit, they be
President
like,
Marcos
fuck you,
Jr.
motherfucker.
in his rare,
But when somebody ain't shit, you be like, you know you ain't shit.
confrontational tone
Fuck!
during his court sona last July 28. Pinalakpakan natin siya ng malakas nang sabihin niya sa ating harap-harapan sa plenaryo ng batas ang
Men
pambansa.
and women.
Just means you funny.
naman kayo.
You be on stage.
And
you be
rightly
holding,
so.
Damn, like
Since
a nigga.
he also said in the same zone
I mean, one day we was in
that
Philly
he
just
witnessed
Niche,
firsthand
and I was watching the
how
crowd
the
because this wasn't no
floodgates of
regular crowd.
corruption
You know,
had
some
swung
nights
wide
them
open
second
in many
shows,
areas.
Man, Philly is so,
Personally
that
inspected.
Philly punchlines,
He
it
so
was
yeah,
like,
directed
it's
yeah.
easy
project,
to
obviously
talented
built
people.
with
But I'm
substandard
saying,
budget
some nights
on not
you reach a
built
crowd
upon,
that's already
wasting
lit, and they just be like,
billions
Don't give a
of pesos.
fuck.
I watched you. You
taxpayers'
handled
money
their ass. I was
drifted
like,
away
I'm finna start
and down
taking people
the
on the
drain.
road who think they
And all
ready
this, Mr.
just to
President,
show them. Oh, you
went
think
straight
you
to
ready?
the pockets
This
You
is for
better
my
really-
satisfaction for you to see.
vile,
You ain't
so
got but
greedy,
8 minutes in
and
front of them.
corrupt
motherfuckers.
record
After 8 minutes, it's
DPWH officials and contractors
Yeah. 'Cause they don't
conniving
give a
among
fuck.
themselves,
Like, Philly don't give a
mindful
fuck,
of the
you
lives
know.
lost
They make you work.
and the properties destroyed.
They make
Tell you,
you
man,
All
I know the
for
motherfuckers. I know the
for money.
motherfuckers who can handle these
This humble
crowds. It ain't a lot of
representation
comics,
just confirmed
and I'm
with
not.
sordid
And these are
details
comedy
what
clubs,
President Marcos announced
which is
the
made for you to
launching of
win.
Sumbong sa
The
Pangulo
room is
website.
But you
narrow.
got a different crowd too,
which
Corey.
greatly
Say that
You
again?
got a
helped
different
us
crowd.
in
I hear
tracking
that.
Yeah.
and
My
monitoring
My audience is
tax
different.
payments
So you
of the
really have to know
non-existing
how to
but
work
fully paid
your type of crowd.
Well, maybe it's my
control
crowd. I'll
project.
just say that.
Yeah,
Because
you
I ain't
gotta-
gonna lie. I
your
heard
crowd
that
is
from a
gonna
lot of
laugh for real.
comedians.
They
We
not
can do
finna
our
give
part
no easy laughs.
in
So if you
leading
ain't
the
funny,
way.
they not.
When Carmen
Under
used to
your
work with me,
leadership
and then she
and
started
the
working with
cooperation
Arnez J,
that
she said,
each
your
and
crowd is way
every
bigger
one
than
of
Arnez
us
J that
in this
crap.
august
And at first I didn't believe it, but I believe it because a lot of people
in
say it
good
now.
governance.
And I know you see a whole lot
We
of
can
different
start
crowds, so I believe
with
you.
an
Niece.
honest to good
But them 5150
and
niggas,
fully transparent
they
deliberation
want you to do
of the
magic tricks.
2026
Fuck you, Corey. What you got this time, Corey? And I be
Yelling
winning.
and shit,
Fully represent
the whole- yeah,
the
all
whole
They be
kinds of
waiting on me to
different-
motherfucker. My own audience wait on me to lose.
Sa isang
If
taon,
you don't, these,
wag naman sana
Them
natin
niggas-
marinig.
This is what I go up to this side of me, look.
Mapagsabihan tayo na
5150,
mga walang
nigga,
iya
what
tayo.
Fuck you, nigga.
Sa haba
What's the
at lawak
percentage of
ng
women
aming
and men
pagsisiyasat.
you think is
May
in the
mga
crowd?
gustong magsalita
say it's-
at tumulong. district engineers na napipilitang pa-implement ang mga dinagsak na project sa kanilang distrito na hindi naman sila ang nagplano kaya hindi naisama sa National Expenditure Program. Subalit, dahil nagmula sa mga insertions ng mga tinaguriang funders sa Kongreso, mga contractors na kapit sa patalim dahil sa bulok na sistema ng hamak na kalagayan, tali ang mga kamay dahil sa kanilang sama nakasalalay ang kanilang hanap buhay. At higit sa lahat,
I was in Indianapolis. This white dude was laughing hard as hell the first 5 minutes. After a while, he was just like,
His girl was so mad. Ang pangalanan ang mga tiwaling opisyal ng gobyerno na tunay na nasa likod ng mga milagro sa flood control.
They didn't leave, but he was scared. Like, I think they stayed because he compromised himself and act like he wasn't having a good time. So she felt better that he was looking like this. But I call people out like that sometimes. I don't really mess with the audience.
When few good officials or regretful men are willing to speak truth to power,
it's a rush.
They must be heard.
It's a rush.
They must be seen.
The truth can make you.
The depth of corruption
there's some people, if you tell
so
people the truth,
overwhelming.
goddammit, I'm telling you, everybody who lives speaking the truth alone. Even your wife will leave.
Blood control, what
your wife wants you to lie to her. Darlene said something about making it sound right during the show.
Greed control.
I know.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Somebody get that mark where Darlene said where she wanted to sound a certain way, and then get this mark right here. Where she said, "What you say?" They never hold up to it. Somebody send me that. Did we play the video of the nigga who won?
A very short manifestation.
Oh, we gotta play that.
What the fuck is y'all doing?
The situation where I come from, Mr. President. I hope you
During the break? We finna go to the break now, ain't we?
Oh, you're gonna play it.
I know I got the piss. Listen, during the break, wait a minute, if we got old boy Cash App, right? Because I still ain't sent him the motherfucking 500. I feel bad.
Who won $500?
Oh,
Ain't they from another country?
we got this new acting out.
We have acting out scenes. We had people act out the scene from Sugar Hill when the old boy father died. And he did the best. We're going to play it right now during the break.
Y'all going to change the movie every week?
No, we don't do it every week. I do it once a month. So I guess next week we're going to come up with the next scene. We want people to act out.
The past 3 years.
Do love basketball to break up.
Breakup scene?
I never asked you to choose. You didn't have to. I play basketball.
But you need 2 for that. But that's good, Niche. No, that's good, Niche. I like that. We might go off what Niche said right there. But we want to see our audience acting because we might be able to use them in one of our little bootleg movies we make.
And you be doing
Tinignan nyo rin po
music
itong
videos?
2025 flood control
Niche, have you ever done one
budget.
of the music videos?
Mr. President, yung binabanggit
Yeah,
po ni
that's right.
Senator,
Maybe God wanted-
pareho po yung amount. Ganito po.
Hey, can we play
That
Maybe
was
God
so
wanted you to look like
fun,
that
too. That was-
during the break, right after
The
the
behind the
goddamn
scenes.
video? Is that too hard,
Ilang mga
guys?
mayors natin. Nandito po si Mayor
Oh,
Bong, si
nice.
Mayor
We need to
Baltas,
send him
Mayor
his
San Miguel
paper,
Bulacan.
man. I'm sorry.
Nandito po sila para
What is it?
supportahan
Where's it
ang
at?
Senado para-
Is he at Dr. Maji? I won that 500. We love you, Dr. Maji. Good job. We're going to play your video during the break. We got the video queued up. Can y'all find Maybe God wanted you to look like that?
Mr. President, gusto ko lang po
All right.
put
Make sure
into
you
the
play
record
them 2
that
videos.
we thank the gentleman from Cavite, Mr.
And we
President.
we got a beat.
Looking forward to seeing
We
him
gonna
here
get
in
the
the
beat.
Senate dahil
We
alam
gonna get the
natin, Mr.
song
President,
ready.
may
We'll be
pangyayari
back.
na dito sa ating
Right after the video
investigation
go off,
at
Maybe God wanted you to
mapapanagot
look like that.
ang
5150. We'll be right
And
back.
again, I appeal to the members of this august chamber to help not only our great province of Bulacan but also all provinces in the Philippines. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Pangulo. May I give the floor to our minority leader who is seeking the floor, Mr. President.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Before I recognize the Minority Leader, the Chair would also like to thank Senator Lacson for his bombastic privilege speech and congratulate him.
Here's your God.
Minority
Yes.
Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Aside from congratulating and commending Senator Ping Lacson, I was discussing this with him earlier.
For a while.
We indeed commend him because he's under the weather. He's
And I
not
lost.
actually well, but he came over to deliver his
The only
privilege
woman
speech.
who ever
although
truly
his
loved
doctors told him to rest and not.
I lost
and
my
not
sons.
To go to work today, but still he did.
I lost my baby.
you see the importance of what he has to deliver. So,
money?
I know for a fact that Senator
I lost
Lacson has
myself.
never been known to evade any interpellations. But because of health reasons, I would like to move that all the interpellations forthcoming on this privilege speech be done in our next regular session, Mr. President.
My baby.
Yes, Mr. President.
What does the majority leader say?
We are in full understanding, Mr. President, of our good colleague who is more than willing to entertain questions, Mr. President. We all know that. And he's more than willing to entertain questions, Mr. President, by Tuesday, Mr. President, when we resume session. Mr. President, there are a number of senators who would like to make a short manifestation. May I move that we recognize the gentleman from Tarlac, Senator Papakino, Mr. President.
The gentleman from Tarlac, Senator Papakino, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Unang-una po sa lahat, nais ko magpasalamat kay Senator Lacson sa kanyang presentation. At alam ho natin na napakahalaga ng issue na ito na malaman ho natin kung saan napupunta yung pondo sa flood control. At nakikita naman po natin na bilyon-bilyong piso na ang nawawala na dapat napupunta sa taong bayan. So Mr. President, upon the suggestion of the Minority Floor Leader, I will hold off my interpellations for the next session and instead just manifest my support and congratulations to the good gentleman from Cavite. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Aquino.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next to make a short manifestation is the gentleman from Palawan, Senator Erwin Tulfo. I move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
Senator Erwin Tulfo, the gentleman from Palawan, is recognized.
Mr. President, this representation fully supports Senator Ping Lacson's call to demand full accountability for the disturbing anomalies in our flood control projects. Kahapon lamang po sa Senate Blue Ribbon Committee na pinamunuan ni Senator Marcoleta na siwalat ang sandamakmak na ghost flood control projects. Kawalan ng master plan at pagpabor sa ilang mga probinsya, gayong hindi naman po kasama sa listahan ng mga flood-prone areas. Nakakapanlumo dahil sa kabila ng bilyon-bilyong pondong inilaan sa flood control projects na ito, ay marami pa rin sa ating kababayan ang nalulubog sa baha. Sa DPWH pa lamang po ay meron na tayong inilaang halos 996.5 billion pesos o halos 1 trilyon, Mr. President. Ito ay mula sa GAA sa ilalim ng Flood Management Program. Hindi pa po kasama rito ang budget na inilaan sa DENR, MMDA at iba pang mga ahensya para rin sa pagkontrol ng baha. Ulitin ko po, this is nothing less than a grand robbery of our nation. It is for this reason, Mr. President, that I also filed the Senate Resolution number 31, which seeks to investigate reported abuse of flood control programs and related projects. Senate Resolution number 70, which seeks to investigate illegal construction of structures and waterways in Palawan. And Senate Bill number 769, which seeks to institutionalize Metro Manila Drainage Master Plan as a long-term strategy for drainage infrastructure development. Mr. President, harap-harap na po ninanakawan ang taong bayan
September
dahil
12
sa
and
kakulangan
13th,
ng pananagutan.
5150 in the house, no doubt we gonna be in your town. Richmond Funny Bone, get your tickets. Down there September 12th and 13th. Y'all come support your boy Tory. You already know what I'm gonna do, man. No disappointments if you're standing on something. 5150.
Thank you, Senator Tulfo, Majority Leader.
President, next to make a short manifestation is our Deputy Minority Leader, Senator Risa Ontiveros. I move that she be recognized, Mr. President.
The Deputy Minority Leader, Senator Risa Ontiveros, recognized.
Salamat po, Mr. President. Mr. President, I applaud the sponsors' courage in bringing to light these harrowing and urgent issues of large-scale corruption.
Funny Bone,
Kaisa niyo po ako
September 12 and 13th. 5150 in the house, no doubt we gonna be in your town.
The Philippines is
Richmond
not
Funny
poor.
Bone, get
We
your
are
tickets.
plundered.
Down there
Could not
September
agree
12 and
more.
13th. Y'all come support your boy
Pilipinas po
Tory.
ay
You already know what I'm
isang
gonna do,
mahirap
man.
na bansa.
No
Biktima lang
disappointments
tayo
if
ng
you're
kalat,
standing on something.
sistematikong
5150.
pagnanakaw. Dahil sa korupsyon, ng kaunti, patuloy na naghihirap ang karamihan. Sa estimasyon mismo ng gobyerno, nasa 20% o 1/5 ng kabuoang budget ng bansa ang nawawala taon-taon sa korupsyon. Katumbas po yan ng tinatansyang 1.6 trillion pesos na ninanakaw mula sa mga Pilipino kada taon. 1.6 trillion. Kahit ako po ay nahirapang maintindihan kung gaano kalaking pera yan. Chineko po, at sa 1.6 trillion pesos, pwede na tayong mamigay ng tig-1 milyong piso sa 1.6 milyon na tao. Nakakalula po. Lahat na yan habang nalulunod na ang mga karaniwang Pilipino na lulunod sa taas ng presyo ng bilihin, sa trabahong hindi sapat ang kita, sa kalamidad at sa kawalan ng tugon at serbisyo publiko. Mayorya po ng mga Pilipino ay kumakayod ng tapat at nakikipagsapalaran ng patas. Insulto po na ang buwis na kinakaltas at dapat ginagamit para sa kanila ay inaanod lang sa baha ng korupsyon. Hirap na nga ang Pilipino, nanakawan pa. Kung ang karaniwang Pilipino po ang magnakaw, kulong agad at pwedeng masira na ang buhay. Pero ang pagnanakaw ng mga opisyal sa pamamagitan ng korupsyon, parti-parti lang po, parang parti na po ng buhay na tanggap ng lahat. Hindi ko po yan matatanggap. Nakakaasa po si Senator Lacson sa pag-usisa sa isyu. Salamat po, Senator Ping. Mabuhay po kayo at magaling po kayo. Salamat po, Mr.
Senator Pia Cayetano also said
staring off in space. You won't get yours based off your face. Hell no.
Kapasalamat tayo sa kanya na pinabigay sa very detailed. Bulacan din, kaya Senator Joel, bagyo-bagyo na lang, di ko sasabihin taon-taon kasi kung ilang beses tayo daan ng bagyo, ilang beses din siya tatayo at mag-i-express ng lungkot, galit, walang patapos na bagyo. Walang patapos ng relief efforts. Samantalang pala itong mga relief efforts natin, hindi na pala kailangan gawin ng magawa ng ito ng maayos. I personally am shocked that pwedeng mangyari ng
God has a plan for all of
hindi
us.
naman kaya
Maybe his
paulit-ulit
plan for you
na
is to
binabalikan lang ang
show the world how bad it can
substandard.
get.
Tapos,
But you still
pala
have
sabi
purpose.
nga ni Senator Ping, may
Next time
standard
someone
na
says beauty is in the
substandard.
eyes of the beholder, you look that demon in the eye and you say the devil is a liar, for I am here to spook.
Now that napapunta
Boo!
siguro is
Yeah!
na ang paglalabas ng mga contractors na sakot dyan. Hindi ko ako involved sa hindi ako familiar dun sa budget ng LWA, pero I'm familiar with the projects sa education, health, at kahit kung ano po paulit-ulit natin sinasabi sa state universities, pati sa mga officials na
Howling at the moon, wolf monkey side of the day.
na yung pangalan ng listed na siya, pero nabigyan pa rin ng project. Paano ba nangyayari yung mga ganun?
Your repulsive looks help me repent from my sins. When the doctor brought you to your mother, she said, look out below, Planned Parenthood ain't got a damn thing on me.
Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, the gentleman from Pampanga was also affected by flooding. Senator Kiko Pangilinan is also seeking the floor. May I move that he be recognized, Mr. President?
Senator Kiko Pangilinan is recognized.
Maraming salamat sa ating karatig lalawigan ng Bulacan, kinatuan ng Bulacan. Sa Pampanga, totoo po yun. Itong nakaraang bagyo, matapos yung pagbabaha, 16 sa 18 mga barangay sa hometown ng aking tatang, my father, lubog. Pati ang mga bayan ng Pampanga, lubog din. At nakakagalit nga itong naging expose ni Senator Ping Lacson. We laud him for his consistency in with a fine-tooth comb binubusisi yung ating budget, yung General Appropriations Measure. Mr. President, actually, baka maaring sagutin next week pag magaling na po si Senator Lacson dito sa aking simpleng katanungan. Sa ganitong katinding trilyong pisong halaga ng pagnanakaw sa gobyerno sa ilalim ng Public Works, ang magiging tanong ko sa Martes sa privilege speech ni Senator Lacson ay, bakit hindi pa nagre-resign yung Secretary ng Public Works? Yun lang po. At naway maisagot sana ng maayos. Kung hindi man ni Senator Lacson, baka dapat yung Secretary of Public Works ang sumagot. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Pangilinan.
Mr. President, next to give her manifestation is the distinguished lady from Antique, Senator Lauren Legarda. I move that she be recognized, Mr. President.
The gentle lady from Antique is recognized, Senator Legarda.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today in support of the privileged speech of our esteemed colleague, Senator Ping Lacson, and I echo his outrage at the corruption that continues to stain our flood control programs and many other public projects. Billions and possibly trillions of pesos are lost. Substandard works are
Hello.
and yet year after year the floods still come
Testing.
washing away homes,
Testing HIV.
lives.
Travada for prep side of the game. You dig what I'm saying? Bitch got Travada for prep in her purse. Forgot her purse was open. You be like, bitch, what the fuck is this?
Pending measure which does not
Tried to set
only
me up,
punish
didn't you, bitch? That's why I
wrongdoing,
never ate your
but
pussy.
seeks
Look here.
to prevent it
5150, we gonna try standing up this week, you know what I'm saying?
in planning, budgeting,
Hot as hell, the
and service
screen
delivery
hot
by
in the
protecting
motherfucker. Darlene Glass about to
whistleblowers,
get
by
fallen.
making agencies map their
yeah.
own corruption
God damn
risks,
it.
and by teaching
me the
integrity
beat.
as early as our schools. This is a long manifestation, Mr. President. I request that
We about to freestyle
6 pages
with Niche and Dion the whole while.
I
We don't
do.
never care what happened. We just about to flow and see how it go. Freestyle rap on the motherfucking 5150 show. Listen to me now. Every nigga you fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
Every nigga you fuck, you might as well be married to the dick.
I do.
Every nigga you fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
Every nigga you fuck, you might as well be married to the dick. Listen,
I do.
Every bitch I'm fucking, I'm ducking.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
I'll be shucking and jiving. You don't mean shit to me. I just need you to lick wee.
I do.
I come to your house late at night. I know your roommate is a dyke. Act like she ain't licking your ass. That's why I nut so fast. I hope that bitch was in the dough. And I get to fuck both of you hoes. 5150 motherfucking show. Freestyle. Watch this shit grow. Check it out.
I do.
Every nigga you fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
Every nigga you fuck, you might as well be married to the dick.
I do.
Every nigga you fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
Every nigga you fuck, you might as well be married to the dick. Craig Fact.
Hey. the moral. This bitch was clever like she was raised by Zorro. I mean, shit, I don't really know what to say. So I go the other way. To another chick, gotta listen. It's all about submission. Fuck that tradition. I need some ambition. Cool chick, it's cool with me. Being in the pulpit, preaching this bullshit for real though. Yeah, and I'm a shocker like an ill dough. And when I say it, the bitch will really feel flow. Coming from my tongue, cause I'm ill dough. And I'ma stick it to that bitch like her dildo. Yeah.
Fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
Every nigga you fuck, you might as well be married to the dick.
I do.
Every nigga you fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
Every nigga you fuck, you might as well be married to the dick. Who wants some?
I do.
Thank y'all for watching the show tonight. I'd say it was a good show. Me and Corey really didn't fight. Even though he's delusional and always thinks he's right. That's okay. Nisha in the house tonight, and we all give her praises because she's the best. Even though she's here on the West and she's from the Shy. Fuck it up, D. That's all right.
That's all right.
I do.
That's all right. That's all right.
Till death do us part.
Every nigga you fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
Every nigga you fuck might as well be married to the dick.
I do.
Every nigga you fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
Every nigga you fuck, we about to see Dion flow on the shit. Give it to him.
I do.
I don't know if they want some. I'ma keep it well done. If you really want some, you gotta get up off some. Shorty thinks she really thick.
Yeah.
She really feeling it.
Yeah.
While she jumping on the dick like a pogo stick.
Yeah. Pogo stick, bitch. No need for you to even trick. Your job is to suck and lick. Your ass so damn thick. Every nigga you fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
Every nigga you fuck, you might as well be married to the dick.
I do.
Every nigga you fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
Let's see what Just Niche got to say about this fucking and husband lick. Give it to him.
I do.
If that's the case, I want a divorce. These niggas be lying, of course. But he done slipped through the cracks. He's my man, and I got his back.
Yeah.
Fuck these niggas, cause they ain't on shit. It's me and Dion, we getting with it. Give me my money. Give me some bread, then lay your ass down, come and get this head, fucking shit up, slapping holes in the face, funnier than everybody up in this place. Self-serve, it's spinning for a Grammy, bitch. I can't stand me. I'm going too crazy with this motherfucking special. These hoes wish they could be me. Okay, I'm playing.
These shit that freestyle good like a real comic. Knocking on wood.
Till death do us part.
Nigga, you fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
Every nigga you fuck, you might as well be married to the dick.
I do.
Every nigga you fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
About to let the homie Craig Facts get this motherfucking freestyle cipher lit. Yeah.
Don't exaggerate, elaborate, just get in your place. I don't play around with bitches, I got voice for the bass. And when I talk, you better listen. It's my world, you know it, and I'ma really show it. I'm big as a Samoan. Minus the weight, I don't hate, I concentrate. If a bitch ain't listening to me, she will get her place alleviated. Yeah, I generated friction. Yeah, I'm all in your jurisdiction with this motherfucking fact, not fiction. Craig Facts is the name. Pass it back to Corey, that's the man full of game.
I don't give a fuck what them bitches be saying. I pay that money, so bitch don't be playing. I want your throat open wide. I want your nut inside. Get on birth control, take a plan after pill. Your pussy stank, bitch, ill. 5150 freestyling on the mic. 5150, I know you like this shit. We be talking each and every motherfucking week. Motherfucker, it's the knowledge that you seek. See, Corey Holcomb, you can say what you say. When it comes to giving game, nigga, I don't play. You bitch out of line, fucking with your mind. That's why that bitch be boiling you swine, cooking you food that's killing your life. Cooking you food, she's not a good wife. Cooking you food, you fucked her cousin twice. That shit was nice, yeah. Every nigga you fuck is your husband, bitch.
Till death do us part.
Every nigga you fuck, you might as well be married to the dick. Oh.
Go crazy.
Craig said I do in this bitch.
I do.
5150.
I don't.
I do.
I won't.
I do.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, Jaunty bars. Jaunty records.
5150. Freestyle bars. Y'all know we ain't playing. You got another one? Somebody got one?
Always.
You ready to? Dion, you want some more?
Let's go.
Let's see what Dion got to say. This is his first time on the motherfucking 5150 show. Nigga, just flow.
I'm about to flow one more time. Craig gonna throw me the dime. And we gonna go ahead hoop. Matter of fact, go get us some shoots. Shake it. Bake it. I'm not gonna take it. If you give it up though, I'm cool. Ain't gonna act a fool, yo. The last time I told the story, y'all didn't even know me.
Yeah.
Now I'm with my baby Just Niece.
Yeah.
And we stand by Corey.
They got a room out here on the West Coast. I'm about to do the most. About to wear that bed out. Step outside and just boast all the skin. They ain't your friends, but I don't give a fuck. Stay together, y'all win. And I got your back. This bitch, you ain't got no brothers. I smacked her ass because I wasn't scared what happened next. The bitch got checked. 5150, freestyle flow. 5150, anybody want to go?
Hey. Guaranteed I motivate. Every time I speak a word, you niggas gonna grow today. Yeah, fuck feeling low today. Yeah, get on your feet, put on a motherfucking show today. Yeah, and hop along for the ride like a stowaway. Yeah, be on my boat full of quotes. Yeah, my nigga take notes. Nothing but game coming out my brain and my throat. Yeah, 5150, the legendary chat room. You a buffoon, and your bitch got meat coming off her ass like a baboon. I'm just saying it's a wound that cuts real deep. Yes, I've been a creep, about to buy a Jeep so I can off-road sleep. Fucked up, said some real shit. Now I'm about to pass it back to Corey with the illness.
If you've been in two movies, you done took Dick Rowe in the ass. In the past. You ain't even got gas. Cause your booty hole is like bam. I be telling the truth. I want the youth to know what's up. If you in a motherfucking movie more than 10 times, your asshole got fucked. We talking about the girls that done had dick up in them alive. Tell the truth, no virginity is what them niggas got. Here goes some snot. There. Yeah, what's up?
Hey.
5150 in the house. We do this like don't nobody else do this. You know what I'm saying? In the house, my man Dion. Southside Chicago, am I right? All motherfucking day. Just Niece.
Hey, self-serve. We submitted it for a Grammy too.
Go ahead, whatever.
We submitted the album. We turned the special to an album. Submitted it for the Grammys. Let's go. So yeah, for your consideration, Grammys. Yeah, best comedy album, 2025.
Darlene OGOT in this motherfucker. Got them shoulders out on the linebacker side of the game.
I want to dance, but it's too hot.
Craig Facts.
God.
Looking like a nigga who go to the store for old niggas in this bitch.
Craig look like a hockey coach that don't play hockey.
I be Corey Holcomb.
Hey.
5150 every Tuesday night.
Mr. Stroker.
We do the shit right. Fuck with us, cause we fuck with y'all. Chat room goons. Love y'all. We up out.
We up out.
Oh, hold on. We got the motherfucking shit Bill talking about. I'm on my way to Richmond. I know that much. And I'm on my way to
Dapat
Richmond
po'y
this
merong
weekend.
mananagot dito at dapat
4 shows. Get ready to go. Get them tickets. You already know. We got the show coming up and goddammit. Oh, Addison, we already know that's coming. That first week in October, you know what I'm saying? I got that show coming up with my man in New York. But anyway, we good, man. You know what I'm saying? Get on the website, find out what's happening. Richmond, Virginia, this Friday and Saturday, I'm on my way. Y'all make sure y'all get down to the club. We up out. You dig what I'm saying?
Hey.
We back now with the Train the Lame Hour. This is 5150 shit. Trying to kick it to these motherfuckers who don't know no better. It's not go-getters. They wear big-ass sweaters trying to fight the other team. Y'all know what I mean? Hey, Shay, check it out. We love you, boy, but you gotta learn. The people you don't like to listen to is the ones that you should yearn. Check it out, man. When you went on OnlyFans on me, fell for the Snow Bunny's trap. They lost respect for your shay and took $100 million bill back. I heard you passed up on the pussy and put dick in a dookie hole, and now you're feeling kinda goofy. Had to put the new house on hold. Next time you're feeling kinda horny, just play these bitches and don't talk too much. Cause all you dumb ass athlete niggas be fall in love with hoes you can't trust. Cause I know better than believing a girl
check it. Well, if Shannon put them weights down and check the hoe, he never have to pay that white girl some dough. He joked out and loony, chicks look like Mickey Rooney. Them poison bitches from Belle Biv DeVoe's do me. Yeah, don't let them young bitches make you broke. She tryna slit a player's throat. Yeah, boxing mouth blown like some smoke. I didn't mean to choke. It's 25 a cheek, he's paying like a sheik. You better ask R. Kelly your money's something like a Jeep. When you hit it, after she hires a lawyer and goes public, there's really nothing you can do with it. See, they don't have to buck break. When bucks break themselves, a new book on tricking better make them shelves to store them. We don't have to save homes, we hoard them. It ain't no fun loving women the same age as your son. It ain't no fun loving women the same age as your son. It ain't no fun loving women the same age as your son. It ain't no fun. Your
sexuality is really endowed. You should have kept Hollywood's dick in your mouth. The streets recognize, and women do too. You really prefer boy boo-boo, my dude. Let me put you on game. You must not know. Never trust these funky ass hoes. Silly of you to associate with a bitch, unless it's a hooker sucking dick. Over 50 years old, you should know better. Them muscles ain't making her pussy wetter. How the hell could you be so damn lame to a 19-year-old bitch's game? Everything that she say is gonna be evil. Old niggas, young bitches, ain't your people. That's why I don't listen to a damn thing they say. Bust down, bitch, I'm willing to pay to play.
One for the money, two for extensions. If he had a black girl, she would blast him in her mention. But since he's fucking Caucasian, she gon' get him for his pension. Then turn the kids against him and marry your teammate for attention. Then back up from me when you start struggling, looking bad on YouTube juggling.
Loving women the same age as your son, it ain't no fun. Loving women the same age as your son, it ain't no fun. Loving women the same age as your son, it ain't no fun. Loving women the same age as your son, it ain't no fun. Loving women the same age as your son, it ain't no fun. Loving women the same age as your son, it ain't no fun. Loving women the same age as your son, it ain't no fun. Loving women the same age as your son.
Providing for the election of party list representatives to the party list system, appropriating funds therefore, otherwise known as the Party List System Act, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
Electoral reforms and people's participation.
758, recognizing individual rights over one's likeness and identity, regulating the creation and use of deepfakes to disclosure, consent, and platform accountability, providing remedies and penalties therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Aquino.
Science and technology and public information and mass media.
759, an act to modernize the national business development services ecosystem by amending RA 10644, the Go Negosyo Act, Senator Aquino.
Trade, commerce, entrepreneurship, economic affairs, and finance.
Senate number 760, amending RA 11337, the Innovative Startup Act by expanding the definition of startups, strengthening interagency coordination, establishing a startup program secretariat, providing additional measures to promote innovation-driven enterprises, Senator Aquino.
Science and technology, trade, commerce, and entrepreneurship, ways and means, and finance.
761, an act to modernize the development of MSMEs by amending RA 6977, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for Small Enterprises, as amended by RA 9501, the Magna Carta for Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises, Senator Aquino.
Trade, commerce, entrepreneurship, economic affairs, and finance.
Senate number 762, establishing a program to formalize micro and small enterprises to simplified registration, transitional support, and access to government assistance, Senator Aquino.
Trade and commerce, entrepreneurship, banks, financial institutions, currencies, ways and means, and finance.
763, establishing a national supplier development program to strengthen MSME participation in domestic and global value chains, creating a supplier development fund, and providing incentives to anchor firms in support of Tatak Pinoy strategies, Senator Aquino.
Trade, commerce, entrepreneurship, and finance.
764, establishing regional research development and innovation communities to strengthen regional innovation ecosystems and implement RA 11293, the Philippine Innovation Act.
And they want to control us just like a dictator.
Affairs, trade, commerce, entrepreneurship, and finance.
765, ordaining the promotion of social enterprises to alleviate poverty, establishing for the purpose of poverty reduction through social entrepreneurship.
शायद वेस्टर्न मीडिया की तरह नेपाल की ओली सरकार ने भी सोचा होगा कि काठमांडू में जो स्ट्रीट प्रोटेस्ट हो रहे हैं वो सोशल मीडिया बैन के खिलाफ प्रदर्शन है और कुछ गोलियां कुछ मौतें नेपाल के जवानों के गरम खून को ठंडा कर देंगे। भारी गलती। पीएम ओली सरकार के क्रैकडाउन के 24 घंटे के अंदर अंदर पूरी कहानी अब नेपाल में बदल चुकी है, क्योंकि जो गुस्सा था वो सोशल मीडिया बैन से ज्यादा करप्शन, नेपो बेबीज और सरकार के एब्सोल्यूट इकोनॉमिक फेलियर के खिलाफ था। सरकार ने अंदाजा नहीं लगाया था कि उनका एक्शन, उनकी गोलियां 19-20 मौतों की वजह से उनके घरों को आग लगा दिया जाएगा, उन्हें हेलीकॉप्टर से अपनी जान बचाकर भागना पड़ेगा। खुद प्रधानमंत्री ओली 24 घंटों के अंदर उनको इस्तीफा देना पड़ेगा। काठमांडू के ऊपर मंडराते हुए हेलीकॉप्टर हेलीकॉप्टर्स प्रोटेस्टर्स के ऊपर गिरते हुए टियर गैस, नेपाली युवाओं के साथ अब पूरे देश का हो जाना इस बात का संकेत था कि सिर्फ होम मिनिस्टर, एग्रीकल्चर मिनिस्टर के इस्तीफे से नहीं चलेगा, प्रधानमंत्री ओली को जाना होगा, तभी जाकर एक बड़ा बदलाव आ पाएगा नेपाल में। और याद रखिए, यह सिर्फ एक पार्टी हेतु या एक लीडर के खिलाफ प्रदर्शन नहीं था, पूरे सिस्टम के खिलाफ नेपाल के युवाओं का आक्रोश है। इस बात को आप समझ लीजिए कि कैसे ओली, प्रचंड और देवबा तीनों लीडर्स के घरों में आग लगा दिया गया है। ये तीन दिग्गज हैं जो नेपाल के पॉलिटिक्स से करता धरता रहे हैं, रिवॉल्विंग डोर पॉलिसी मान लीजिए, लेकिन 30 सालों तक इन्होंने ही नेपाल पर राज किया है। लेकिन आज नेपाल का युवा कह रहा है, आप किसी भी पार्टी से हो, आप कोई भी बड़े नेता हो, बस हमें अब नई शुरुआत चाहिए। देशभक्त के आज के एपिसोड में समझने की कोशिश करेंगे नेपाल के इस जेन जी रेवोल्यूशन का जो मेन प्रोटेस्ट का मुद्दा था, जो डिमांड था, वो क्या था। सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पर बैन तो एक चिंगारी थी, नेपाल में इससे और गहरी समस्याएं क्या हैं, ओली सरकार का रवैया कैसा रहा इन प्रोटेस्टर्स के खिलाफ, वो बैकफायर क्यों कर गया, क्या मंत्रियों के इस्तीफे के बाद, प्रधानमंत्री के स्टेप डाउन करने के बाद शांति बहाली हो पाएगी, या फिर पार्लियामेंट जिस तरीके से आज जल रहा है और मुश्किलें आने वाली हैं नेपाल के लिए। क्या इन प्रोटेस्ट के पीछे कोई पॉलिटिकल हाथ है, कोई इंटरनेशनल विदेशी पावर है, या ये स्टूडेंट ड्रिवन, यंगस्टर ड्रिवन था, और क्या इस रेवोल्यूशन के बाद अब नेपाल श्रीलंका और बांग्लादेश के रास्ते जा रहा है। नेपाल में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोनार्की खत्म हुए और नया संविधान लागू हुए अब 10 साल हो चुके हैं, लेकिन आम नेपालियों की जिंदगी में अभी भी कोई खास बदलाव नहीं आया है। इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ अभी भी स्लो है, फॉर्मल सेक्टर में एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज ना के बराबर हैं, मजबूरन हर साल हजारों नौजवानों को, नेपालीज को देश से बाहर जाना पड़ता है रोजगार की तलाश में, और वहां भी कईयों को सिर्फ मीनियल जॉब्स ही मिल पाते हैं। इसके ऊपर जब लोग इतनी दिक्कत में हैं, उस समय रूलिंग एलीट जो है वो करप्शन में कंप्लीटली लिप्त है, जनता से उसका कनेक्ट टूट चुका है और अय्याशी की जिंदगी राजा महाराजा के तरह नेतागणों की चल रही है। ऐसे हालत में जब सारे पॉलिटिकल पार्टी से भरोसा उड़ गया हो, आर्थिक हालत तंग हो गई हो और एग्जिस्टिंग सिस्टम से फ्रस्ट्रेशन होना फिर लाजमी ही है। इस गुस्से और फ्रस्ट्रेशन को नेपाली युवा बीते कुछ समय से सोशल मीडिया पर शेयर कर रहे थे, वहां अपनी आवाज उठा रहे थे। हाल ही में सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर हैशटैग नेपो किड्स और हैशटैग नेपो बेबीज जैसे ट्रेंड चीजें चल रही थी। इन हैशटैग्स को यूज करके लोग पॉलिटिकल एलीट, उनके बच्चों के लाइफस्टाइल, उनके लग्जरीज, उनका आम जनता के रोजमर्रा के प्रॉब्लम से कट ऑफ को हाईलाइट कर रहे थे, फिर चाहे वो टिकटॉक वीडियोस के जरिए हो या फिर रील्स के जरिए हो। कई बार देखा गया है कि जब विपक्ष, मीडिया, कोर्ट सब फेल कर जाते हैं तो सोशल मीडिया सच्चाई दर्शाने में मदद करता है। और नेपाल के युवाओं ने सवाल किया कि भाई इंस्टाग्राम और टिकटॉक पर ये जो नेपो किड्स हैं, ये जो पॉलिटिशियंस के बच्चे हैं, ये इंपोर्टेड गाड़ियां, फॉरेन हॉलिडेज, ये जो शो ऑफ कर रहे हैं, इसका पैसा कहां से आ रहा है। तो पॉलिटिशियंस हो, उनका एरोगेंस हो, उनका करप्शन हो, उनके बच्चों की अय्याशी हो, इस वजह से एक डीप डिसकंटेंट नेपाल के यूथ में हफ्तों से बढ़ रहा था, लेकिन ये डिसकंटेंट अभी भी ऑनलाइन था। लेकिन पिछले हफ्ते नेपाल की सरकार ने एक ऐसा कदम लिया जिससे यह गुस्सा सोशल मीडिया से बाहर निकलकर सड़कों पर आ गया। 4 सितंबर को नेपाल की सरकार एक डायरेक्टिव लाती है जिसमें फेसबुक, इंस्टाग्राम, रेडिट, एक्स, यूट्यूब जैसे 26 सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर बैन लगा दिया जाता है। सरकार का कहना है कि इन कंपनीज ने ओपनली सरकारी ऑर्डर्स को मानने से, देश के कानून को रिस्पेक्ट करने से मना कर दिया है, इसीलिए सरकार को मजबूरन ये कदम उठाना पड़ रहा है इन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ नेशनल सिक्योरिटी। अब नेता की सिक्योरिटी है, नेशनल सिक्योरिटी है, आप समझदार हो। वैसे तो नेपाल की सरकार कुछ टाइम से ही सोशल मीडिया पर अपना कंट्रोल जमाने की कोशिश कर रही थी। ऑनलाइन हेट, फेक न्यूज, साइबर क्राइम और मिस इंफॉर्मेशन जैसी चीजों को रोकने के लिए ये ऑफिशियल वर्जन, ऑफिशियल एक्सक्यूज यही है, पर असली मकसद तो अपना पोल खुलने से बचाना था जो रोज सोशल मीडिया पर खुल रही थी। आज हर सरकार ये पावर चाहती है कि उसके एक इशारे से कोई भी सोशल मीडिया पोस्ट गायब हो जाए। ऐसा आज बांग्लादेश में, इंडिया में, पाकिस्तान में होता है, तो नेपाल ने सोचा हम भी एडवांटेज ले सकते हैं। एक कंटेम्प्ट केस के हियरिंग के दौरान नेपाल के सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी सरकार को यह आदेश दिया था कि बिना फॉर्मल रजिस्ट्रेशन के वो किसी भी सोशल मीडिया कंपनी को नेपाल में ऑपरेट ना करने दे। इस आदेश का हवाला देकर नेपाल की कैबिनेट ने सारे कंपनीज को नोटिस देकर 7 दिन का अल्टीमेटम दे दिया कि 7 दिनों के अंदर अंदर अपने कंपनीज को नेपाल के सरकार के साथ रजिस्टर करो, एक ग्रीवांस रिड्रेसल ऑफिसर अपॉइंट करो, नहीं तो हम तुम्हें बैन कर देंगे। अब यूएस की बड़ी टेक जायंट्स ने इस ऑर्डर को इग्नोर कर दिया और नेपाल की सरकार को एक्सक्यूज मिल गया एक्शन लेने का। 26 के 26 सोशल मीडिया साइट्स को ब्लॉक कर दिया। वैसे में ही लोग सालों से नेपाल के पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम से फ्रस्ट्रेटेड थे और इसके बीच में सरकार ने उनसे उनका एक्सप्रेशन का एक और जरिया भी छीन लिया। उन्हें यह बात मंजूर नहीं थी। साथ ही साथ सोशल मीडिया के जरिए, याद रखिए, नेपाल के युवा अपने बिजनेस जो कि मोस्टली टूरिज्म रिलेटेड होते हैं उसको प्रमोट किया जाता है, एडवर्टाइज किया जाता है, नए कस्टमर्स मार्केट्स को एक्सप्लोर किया जाता है। ऐसे में सरकार का ऐसा एक ब्लैंकेट बैन एक्सप्रेशन तो छीन ही रहा था, लोगों का फ्रीडम तो छीन ही रहा था, लेकिन साथ ही साथ लोगों के पेट पर भी एक लात मार रहा था। तो डिसकंटेंट बढ़ना तो भाई बहुत स्वाभाविक था। सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर बैन का ऑर्डर आते ही बात बिगड़ना शुरू हो चुका था। नेपाली युवा इसे एक करप्ट ओली सरकार का फ्री स्पीच को खामोश करने के लिए एक बड़ा कदम, एक फॉर्मूला की तरह देख रहे थे। इसी बीच हामी नेपाल नामक एक संगठन सामने आता है। ये एक एनजीओ है और उसके 36 साल के फाउंडर सुदन गुरु, जो अभी तक तो सिर्फ ह्यूमैनिटेरियन रिलीफ का काम कर रहे थे, अब वो डिस्कॉर्ड जैसे प्लेटफॉर्म का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, डिस्कशंस ऑर्गेनाइज करवाते हैं और मंडे 8 सितंबर को काठमांडू में प्रोटेस्ट की परमिशन देते हैं। फिर इसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने सोमवार के प्रोटेस्ट के लिए बैनर्स, पोस्टर्स, डूज डोंट सर्कुलेट किए। इन पोस्टर्स में पीसफुल प्रोटेस्ट की बात लिखी भी गई है, जिसके लिए लोगों को वाटर बॉटल, कॉलेज बुक्स, बैग्स ये सब लाने को भी बोला गया था। जैसे जैसे ये प्रोटेस्ट और प्रोटेस्ट की बातें गिने चुने एक्टिव सोशल मीडिया साइट्स जैसे टिकटॉक, जिसे बैन नहीं किया गया था थैंक्स टू चाइनीज इन्फ्लुएंस, या वीपीएन के थ्रू बाकी जनता को मालूम चलता है तो बाकी ग्रुप्स भी साथ आने लगते हैं। लेकिन पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज और उनके यूथ विंग्स को खास तौर पर प्रोटेस्ट से दूर रहने को कहा जाता है, क्योंकि, और ये बात जरूरी है, शुरू से ही इस प्रोटेस्ट का आइडिया सोशल मीडिया बैन से बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा हो चुका था। अब ये प्रोटेस्ट फुली एंटी करप्शन मूवमेंट, सारी पार्टीज के खिलाफ एक मूवमेंट का रंग ले चुकी थी। फिर आई 8 सितंबर वाली वो सुबह जब हजारों की संख्या में प्रोटेस्टर्स काठमांडू, पोखरा, चितवन जैसे शहरों में उनके सड़कों पर उतर आए। सबसे इंटेंस प्रोटेस्ट काठमांडू में देखने को मिले। यहां सोमवार सुबह 9 बजे तक मालतीघर चौक पर हजारों युवा इकट्ठा हो गए थे। स्कूल और कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स अपने यूनिफॉर्म्स में, हाथ में प्लैकार्ड्स लेकर गाते गाते, स्लोगन्स लगाते हुए मार्च कर रहे थे। जब रैली 10:30 बजे ब्रिजेश्वर की तरफ निकली, तब तक तो सब कुछ कंट्रोल में था। अब यहां कहानी के 2 वर्जन हैं। प्रोटेस्टर्स का कहना है कि पुलिस ने उन्हें आगे बढ़ने दिया। युवा प्रोटेस्टर्स ने अपने हाथ ऊपर करके दिखाए कि वो निहत्थे थे, लेकिन फिर अचानक पुलिस ने उनके ऊपर गोलियां बरसाना शुरू कर दिया। सरकार का कहना है कि मार्च के अंदर से ही एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट्स निकलने लगे, जो उपद्रव करने लगे, वायलेंस करने लगे, आगजनी करने लगे और पुलिस को तब गोली चलानी पड़ी। लेकिन जो भी कारण हुआ, उसके बाद जो होता है उस पर डिबेट नहीं है। उसके बारे में बहुत सारे रिकॉर्ड्स और वीडियो, मोबाइल फुटेज है। हम सब कुछ यहां दिखा भी नहीं सकते हैं क्योंकि इतने दर्दनाक वो फुटेज है। टियर गैस, रबर बुलेट्स और अल्टीमेटली शूट एट साइट ऑर्डर्स भी दे दिए गए। भीड़ समझ नहीं पाती है कि कैसे रिस्पॉन्ड करे। कुछ लोग गुस्से में पार्लियामेंट की तरफ दौड़ते हैं, उसका गेट फांग कर पार्लियामेंट में घुसने की कोशिश करते हैं। कुछ लोग सिक्योरिटी ऑफिशियल से ही उलझ जाते हैं और कुछ लोग फरार भाग जाते हैं। लेकिन जब तक ये कियोस और कंफ्यूजन खत्म होता है, कम होता है, तब तक 19 लोग तो कंफर्म्ड मारे जा चुके हैं। 400 से ज्यादा लोग घायल हो चुके हैं। इनमें से कई लोग सीरियसली घायल हुए हैं। कईयों को तो सीधा सीधा सर पे या सीने पे गोली मार दिया गया है, जो ह्यूमैनिटेरियन लॉस के खिलाफ है। और बहुत ज्यादा जो शॉकिंग चीज था कि एक 12 साल बच्चे को भी गोली से पुलिस ने मार गिराया। बस फिर क्या था? इस बर्बरता के बाद, इस खून खराबे के बाद, जब इस खून खराबे की खबर और फैली, प्रोटेस्ट ने एक अलग ही फिर रंग ले लिया। अब बात सोशल मीडिया पर बैन या करप्शन या नेपो किड्स के बारे में नहीं थी। अब तो सीधा सीधा गुस्सा प्रधानमंत्री के.पी. शर्मा ओली के खिलाफ था, उनके होम मिनिस्टर के खिलाफ था। आखिर इस सरकार ने एक दिन में 19 लोगों की जानें ली थी, बच्चों पर गोलियां चलाई थी। इसे माफ नहीं किया जा सकता है। मरने वालों की संख्या 2006 के प्रोटेस्ट से भी ज्यादा थी। याद रखिए वो प्रोटेस्ट, वो महान प्रोटेस्ट जिसमें किंग ज्ञानेंद्र को स्टेप डाउन करना पड़ा था, जिसे एक पिवटल मोमेंट कहा जाता है नेपाल की हिस्ट्री में। यह कत्लेआम नेपाल के इतिहास में एक काला दिन बनकर दर्ज हो गया। लोगों का गुस्सा उफान पर देखते हुए पहले तो होम मिनिस्टर ने अपना इस्तीफा दे दिया शाम आते आते। रात तक सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर भी बैन हट जाता है, लेकिन तब तक बहुत देर हो चुकी होती है। नेपाल ने अपने इतिहास में आज तक कई मूवमेंट्स, कई प्रोटेस्ट देखे हैं, चाहे वो 1950s की बात हो, 1990s की बात हो या 2006 की बात हो, लेकिन कभी भी नेपाल के स्टेट ने, नेपाल की सरकार ने एक दिन में इतना बड़ा क्रैकडाउन नहीं किया है। कभी भी एक दिन में 19 लोगों की मौतें नहीं हुई हैं। ऐसा कुछ नेपाल में आज तक किसी ने देखा न सोचा था। जाहिर सी बात है कि अब जो गुस्सा आया उससे ओपिनियन कंप्लीटली स्प्लिट हो गया। कुछ लोग प्रोटेस्ट्स और इंटेंसिफाई करने की मांग करने लगे, वहीं कुछ लोगों ने कहा कि हम बहुत ट्रॉमेटाइज्ड हो चुके हैं, अब बातचीत कर लेते हैं। लेकिन तब तक जो स्टूडेंट्स थे, जो यंगस्टर्स थे, वो कुछ सुनने के मूड में नहीं थे। होम मिनिस्टर घटना की जिम्मेदारी लेते हुए रिजाइन तो कर देते हैं। शाम तक सरकार एक प्रोब कमिटी भी ऑर्डर कर चुकी होती है, जो काठमांडू और बाकी जगहों जो वायलेंस हुआ था उसकी जांच करेगी। देर रात तक प्राइम मिनिस्टर ओली खुद बयान देते हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, हम प्रोटेस्टर्स के खिलाफ नहीं है, लेकिन उसमें इन्फिल्ट्रेटर्स घुस गए थे जो इसको पूरा वायलेंट बना देते हैं और पुलिस को गोली चलानी पड़ी। हमें इस जेनजी के डिमांड्स के साथ कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, हम उनके खिलाफ नहीं है, मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग हो चुकी है। लेकिन ये सारी बातें अब बेकार हो चुकी थी। सबको पता था कि ये जो गोलियां चली थी इन्फिल्ट्रेटर्स की वजह से नहीं, सरकार की वजह से चली थी। ये प्री सैंक्शनड प्रोटेस्ट थे, सरकार को पता था प्रोटेस्ट होने वाला है, प्रॉपर इंतजाम उन्होंने नहीं किए थे। और इन्फिल्ट्रेटर्स पर ब्लेम लगा के कोई फायदा नहीं है। गोलियां चली हैं, बच्चे मरे हैं, बदला तो लेना होगा। 9 बजे की सुबह तक प्रोटेस्टर्स का डिमांड क्लियर हो चुका था। उन्हें सीधा सीधा प्रधानमंत्री का इस्तीफा चाहिए था। ओली वाज डिक्लेयर्ड अनफिट टू लीड और उनका रेजिग्नेशन इस प्रोटेस्ट की कोर डिमांड बन जाती है। साथ ही साथ देश के पूरे पॉलिटिकल एलिट जो डायनेस्ट्स बनकर एक के बाद एक पावर में आ रहे थे, रिंगा रिंगा रोजर्स खेल रहे थे, सबको कुर्सी खाली करनी पड़ेगी। इसी के साथ एक इंडिपेंडेंट, ट्रांसपेरेंट और इम्पार्शियल वॉचडॉग इंस्टीट्यूशन की स्थापना की भी मांग होने लगी, जो